We're back. It's another Saturday. It's another RP Live. Of course, we had the Oaks card for you yesterday. What scenes we had in here. Look at this trophy. Tom Park took it home yesterday. Who's going to be the big tipping winner this afternoon? We're going to have loads of fun. Dave Orton back with you. It's Derby Day. Platinum time. Will the crown reign supreme for Sir Michael? 4:30, that's our final race. Just concentrating on Epsom today with Betfair along the way. All the sportsbook and exchange action. You can fill your boots. We're going to have great fun. Some tricky races out there today. Get involved, like and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, that's the way to do it. You can say hello to us. We'll give you a shout out if you're on Facebook Live. Get the chat going up. And of course, anything on Twitter. Hashtag RP Live. Who's in the studio? Well, remarkable scenes. We have a full house today, as promised. You've probably seen a few things floated on Twitter. But back for the double header. In fact, we're using you loads, aren't we, at the moment? Quite rightly so. It's Natalie Graeme.
Yeah, everyone else wants to be on track. Not me, because this.
It eluded you yesterday, didn't it?
This is going to come home with me today.
You're confident?
Yeah, very confident.
I've heard some of your tips this morning. I'm not so sure, to be honest. You've drifted out on Betfair like a running.
I'm actually being brave. I'm just going for bigger prices. I think today is quite exciting betting-wise. We can get some big prices maybe each way. No, it's cool. I mean, it's Derby Day, Dave.
It's not for everyone, Epsom, is it? We're going to beam into the track again. Lee Motters is going to come and give us an update. They have had showers. We should tell you that this morning. It was heavy, it was light. Conflicting reports all over the place. But Kills is there for us as well. He seems to think the wind will make it like it was yesterday. Will they come over to that stand side? What a race the Oaks was yesterday. Now let's move down the panel. The Big Bear joins us back again. And how are you feeling today, first and foremost?
I'm a little bit nervous today, actually, Dave. Yeah,
well,
because
I'm not surprised.
It's the biggest race of the year, and the best horse in Britain is running. There's at Crown, and let's hope that he doesn't fluff his lines.
Because you'll be in a lot of trouble.
He will be the best in the world. Just give it time, that. But today's just one step on the ladder, isn't it, Dave?
There's a lot of people out there today, I would imagine, keyboard warriors, and even at the racecourse on their phones, that will be waiting for you to have your egg on your face.
Exactly. But it's very rare nowadays. I mean, I'm a bit of a veteran now, but it's very rare.
Don't say
that I get nervous about horse races. But when it comes to potentially superstar horses running in the Derby, the biggest race of the whole year, even that gets me a little bit nervous, Dave.
Okay, and you should be more nervous because the man sitting next to you is making his debut on the show. We're not beaming over to Dublin today. Barry's with us.
It's not my debut on the show now, thankfully. It's my debut in studio on the show.
You've been in the studio many a time. We should say that, shouldn't we, over the years?
I have over the years.
We've been waiting for this, haven't we?
Yeah.
Pandemic hit. And he's always, if he's not with us, he's on track. Of course, you were on track yesterday, weren't you?
I was there in Epsom yesterday. It was fantastic. Great day's racing. Quality fillies, obviously, in the Oaks. And there's a lot to talk about there in itself. No, but it's great to be in the studio and see everyone in person. It makes it so much better, and it just feels right.
So listen, get your questions in, get your feedback. The great man's here with us. Usually, the person sitting in that chair at the moment is feeling a little bit of pressure because I say you're pressing the buttons for Barry. Over we go. The only person that can possibly mug it up today is the great Lord himself. And it's a Mac as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
there's sure to have been plenty of bloomers. That.
There is. Of course, the charity's going well, isn't it? We had Mark Horowski on yesterday. He went for some crazy out of the ballpark prizes. He didn't quite get it right. Today, the money back special is in the very first race.
It is.
We might need it,
Yeah, this first race, money back special. If your horse fails to place, you get your cash back as a free bet. That's on exchange and sportsbook up to a tenner. Check out the T's and C's on the website for that. But it's starting off with a tricky little race. It has to be said. Mr. Big Stuff has been really well supported. It was 6-1, is almost halved in price, into 7-2 now. Blue Trail, a 5-1 chance. 6.4 in the exchange. 6-2 Norton's Cross, that was 10. That's come in for really good support as well. So there's plenty of money knocking around in the opener. Like I said, it is the money back special race, so make sure you avail of that. Cash back up to a tenner if your horse fails to place in the first three.
Brilliant. We'll get you're happy with that?
That's good, isn't it?
You were listening?
I was genuinely listening.
Do you not usually listen?
Interested. Yeah. Get your money back.
Took Barry to come over for you to actually listen to the
his eyes, you see. He's got lovely blue eyes.
Yeah, you get on with Barry well, don't you? Yeah, unlike them. So we're not sure what we're going to get today with the Bear and the Brawler, and you'll see what I mean about that, the Belfast Bomber. All right, who's opening it up? Raymond Allen. G-Rod is odds on to win the tipping challenge.
Yes, thank you, Raymond.
This is what I mean,
Raymond,
right?
Thank you.
Raymond, you can have 2-1 off me, G-Rod. Challenge.
It begins. I tell you what, Frizzy Red comes on. Great stuff with Barry in the studio. Frizzy, as you know, is one of our regulars out there. Absolutely. We're going to have some fun. This is what it was all about. Believe it or not, this is what this show was supposed to be. So we're back. Last year, limited numbers, of course, at Epsom. It's a complete sellout there today. Who saw the Queen's jockeys doing the line at a Guard of Honour? That was
Beautiful,
great,
wasn't it?
And some of the jockeys, you forget who rode a winner for it, don't you? I mean, even the Weaver Shark was there, wasn't he?
Yes,
That was remarkable. Jason, Darryl Holland, people like that. Obviously, Willie Carlson, we saw AP there, didn't we? Barry Garrity. And the trainers as well. Haggis was there, Hendo, Balding, and Gozzi as well, your uncle. Was he livid yesterday?
I'm sure that the Master of Clearhaven was very disappointed with that second.
You put her up as a would you have laid Emily Upjohn yesterday? We were conjecturing about this.
And what
yesterday.
price?
Well, I don't know. I mean, she was. What did she go off in there? What was the bet for
6-4, was she?
See, it was one of those. I said if I wasn't really of the mind to do it, but I can see why people might have placed later because she was either going to win or blow out. I thought we weren't sure.
I couldn't believe how big she was. I saw her yesterday for the first time.
Is she a whopper?
She is absolutely huge. She's bigger than all the colts I'd say running in the Derby today. She was massive, beautiful filly.
Wow.
Remind you of Acapulco. Remember Acapulco?
Yeah, that's the one we always say, isn't it?
2-year-old.
The Wes Ward
Does she
Godzilla.
win the Arc?
Does she win the Arc? Well,
Is she the
we'll
Arc
have to see
favourite
what
then?
happens with.
Yeah.
There's
She's
a
the Arc
Graeme
favourite
on
on the
today.
sportsbook. Is she the Arc favourite?
Well,
Yeah.
she was 6-1 yesterday.
Any 3-year-old filly, with that sex
The
allowance and the
allowances,
age, it's like a Degrudery.
I got on her at the Arc a while ago, so
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm on Baid for the Arc.
I know this. This is I mean, it's a bit of Rodway rubbing off on you there with the controversial statements already, isn't it? All right, we're going to have some fun. We've got to start looking towards the first race. Get involved. Let's see your tips. We've got loads of time in between the races to chat. Often we're going over to places, but this time it's all in-house. So let's hear. We are 4:30 for the Derby, all being well. Is Desert Crown a play or a lay? We want to hear from you. We'll be talking about Derby memories. People going to Epsom, what you think about the rest of the card. Will they come stand side? That's the question. We'll get you the time straight after the race and everything as well. So, Barry, this is it. First in-house trade.
In-house trade, yeah. So I fancy box to box here. 1 off 78 in Salisbury. It's up to 81 now. Henry Davis claims a valuable 5 off it. He's reduced his claim down to 5 from 7. I just thought that was his first run of the season after being off for 159 days. I thought he'd go really, really well here. And I'm going to back him win in place. And I'm happy to be a price taker here. He has drifted out a bit, but at 11.5, we're going to have 25 quid on him at 11.5, and we'll just confirm that bet. And then we're going to look into 5 places, so you can bet 3, 4 or 5 places on the Betfair Exchange, and just a little 218, which is just nearly 5-4. We're going to have 25 quid there as well. We should get matched pretty easy. We'll just confirm that, and we're matched at 220. So that's best price execution. We put in 218, but because it was 220 to bet at the time, we get matched at the bigger price, best price execution. So yeah, I'm with box to box here. Now he's 2 in the race, obviously Hugo Palmer.
Yeah.
His other one seems well fancied as well, but I like box to box.
He says he can't split them, doesn't he? And, you know, if you're racing in your members club or you're racing post today, great racing post today, the front cover. I also like to pick it up, don't I? Look at this. The race of legends. Of course, it's a race that makes stallions as well, isn't it? Who's going to be the star? Cannot wait. Of course, Leicester with his statue there. Sir Michael Aidan. We'll talk about it all. But listen, he's got 2 in here. Harry Davis has been lauded rightly so far as well. He takes the 5 off. I think Harry, when he gets a ride like this on a Saturday, his agent means business with this claim, doesn't he? They don't want to waste it, basically. And I can see that. I have to say, there's been money for him as well. Stall 2. Interesting, because they came obviously into the middle. Usually stall 1 can be a bit of a coffin box at Epsom. As Parky said, Tom Park was on the show yesterday. Tuesday, won the Oaks, albeit by a whisker, from stall 1. It hadn't been done for many, many a year.
Yeah, suddenly you get 2 classics and 2 in a row. You got Adiyar from stall 1.
Absolutely.
It's because a lot of this stat stuff is all nonsense, isn't it? You know, people just roll it out there. Oh, the horse not won for this long, and then suddenly you get 2. Because essentially, you know, it doesn't really matter, does it?
But there will be people out there saying, well, how can it not matter? You know, only Adiyar was the first since Oath in 1999. Why no? And it wasn't just in the Derby; it was over a mile 4 as
Yeah,
well.
but when you're doing those
Terrible
stats, do you not have to like also drill down and see what prices horses were that left from those boxes? Like there could have been 10-50 to 1 chances running out of those boxes. Like
Who knew that you'd be getting on so well?
No, I'm
All
just-
this work was for you to come into the studio.
I don't think you can dismiss stats out of hand, but you have to drill down further than just be lazy and say, oh, look, no one's won from that stall in over 20 years.
Yeah, and you've got to be realistic about the derby as well. Like today, we can talk about it. There is a bit of dead wood to get rid of. Like some of them that actually.
Well,
They haven't,
Stan Moore's supplemented one of what was it Keels said this morning? Owners with more money than sense. I mean, what's he doing there? It's crazy, isn't it? But you're right. So my point being, if you were worried about the usual dodgems, we didn't see it yesterday at Epsom, did we? Because they had the whole of the straight to fan out. My worry about it today, if the rain has got in, you've got to get that rail. We see it in the meetings away from the big ones at Epsom.
How much
It's a
rain was
nightmare.
there?
Good question.
Wasn't a lot, was there?
No
I thought
one
they
really
predicted
seems to
15
know.
or 13 mil.
Even
It
Andrew
didn't
Cooper wasn't sure about it when we were hearing
Kills
from
was
him.
there and he said not a lot, didn't he?
Well,
Is that
no,
right?
yeah, but
Yeah,
Lydia,
it was very
Lydia Hislop in
precise.
particular tweeted this morning loads of rain. I then spoke to Lee Motters, who's going to come. Great Lee yesterday, wasn't he? He's going to come back on again. He said it's heavy and then nothing.
And
it's
then
heavy
nothing.
and then nothing.
Yeah, and then the sun comes out, doesn't
The
it?
times will tell us what the ground is in the first. We've heard what Barry likes.
Good horses go through anything, Dave. And these are good horses today.
You've put up a random one in the first, haven't you?
Yeah, it's not very strong on Betfair, is it? Well, Tarja Lola, he's a big old price, isn't he, Barry? You'll have to scroll down. Not very easy on
like
that,
I'm gonna
Max.
have to
He's,
scroll
he's,
down.
he's struggling
Look
now.
at
See,
mine.
I've got him already. Suddenly realises that Matt's not quite so easy to control.
He won't be giving burners after this show.
No,
All the time I used to curse G-Rod and say, how hard is it to work a Mac?
It's
can't be
quite
that
hard, isn't it?
difficult."
It's
That's
quite
not
hard.
easy, yeah.
So-
38 on the exchange.
It's a massive price, yeah. Tarja
38 on
Lola.
exchange is not a massive price. I mean, look, tell us about Tarja Lola then.
Yeah, well, last time out he ran at Ripon, didn't he? And I should have won. Nothing ever really wins from off the pace at Ripon.
No, it
It's very,
doesn't.
very difficult to win from off the pace there. And the leader went off in front and he got the run of the race and Tarja Lola was caught out the back and he rattled home a few more strides. He'd have got up and won from last pretty much. And I thought it was an outstanding performance to come back
a couple of
close.
undulations, isn't it, Ripon?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So you're Tarja Lola, right?
But
So we've got.
he's a funny horse, Dave. Like he'd be on and off the bridle the whole way. He's wearing a visor for
Well,
the first
Epsom
time.
can be good for horses like that, can't it?
Yeah,
Because
it
you know
could
it
be.
it makes them want to go.
interested.
It does. It
I
keeps them
think he's
interested.
a bit of a hound, you know.
Well, they're on their way down to the start. The sun is shining at Epsom. You'll be able to see that out there. Of course, your second screen experience, but the raucous reaction is in here today. It's going to be off the charts. So great numbers yesterday. Viewing figures were brilliant. The reaction to the clips, absolutely fantastic to have you with us. Let us know you are out there. We will give you your shout out. That's for sure. Right, we've had two tips. Before we hear from me and you, what really matters, we need to get the lucky 15 on, don't we, Barry? That is very important.
We certainly do, yeah.
And again, look, this has caught him off guard. He's usually
You watch him struggle here. This is the biggest task of the lot. Here we go.
Barry, he's not going to want to come back into this.
Listen, it's so simple, even I can do it, so that has to say something. So first leg of our Lucky 15, we're going to go in the first race and we're going to go box to box.
Oh, look, what's he
Without
done here?
Wikipedia. I just wanted to make sure that Wikipedia was working okay, so we're going to
thought
take
you were
box
gonna
to
be a pro
box.
with
We
it.
need Wikipedia on this show, let me tell you.
All right?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, name.
G-Rod wasn't joking when he said these aren't easy to operate. Sure he wasn't.
See, you should have got him a mouse, lad.
The
You should have got him a mouse.
other thing is, they usually
Come on
input
yourselves
it in
while
as
Barry
well.
struggles on Betfair.
When I did it, I was like, but it is
Second leg is
We're hearing
Majestic
there's a
Glory of
mouse
15
connected to
to
it if you
2.
wanted to use it. Apparently it's behind the other laptop, Barry. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's no good for producers. For goodness sake, they've hidden the mouse from you as
That's
well.
okay, that's okay. We'll figure it out. It's not that
Can we
difficult.
put Barry's Lucky 15 up on screen, guys? That would help, wouldn't it, when a money-back special offer is? Because we can often get that up there, can't
Yeah,
we?
Majestic Glory is our second
There
leg.
it is,
anyway.
as if by magic. Look, here it comes. Majestic Glory in the 235. Mutasabek, who is, I think, well, me and Barry agree this is already won.
No, that'll get beat.
Yeah, he's my nap today.
Yeah, my nap too, Barry. I'm napping him.
Modern News will
Absolutely.
win that.
oh, I quite like that 3-year-old living the
The
dream.
last leg is Live in the Dreams.
Oh, Adam West, Batman.
Yeah.
You love Adam West.
Love
don't
Adam West. Yeah, I spent a bit of time down at his yard a few times. Batman. He's a good trainer, Batman.
you? Yeah. Can you
Particularly
get?
good on.
Can you get the
sprinters.
mouse from Barry? It's behind the other screen.
Yeah, there
Is
it
there a
is.
mouse there?
You have to plug it in the side.
honestly.
I think.
Oh, lads, this is
There? Oh, yeah.
Hey, there we go.
It's a lot easier with the mouse.
a lot
Anyway,
easier
you
than
could
this.
see the lucky 15 out there.
We thought we'd let him struggle
So
first.
we're doing a pound each way, Lucky 15. Obviously, 6 doubles, 4 trebles, an accumulator, and the singles we're going to do it £1 each way. It gets us £3,258 if it comes in. So fingers crossed. We're due one of these to come in for
Well-
the charity. It's not even for us. It's for the charity.
And it
like.
would be typical the way that's panned out. I mean, even Nat was better than that. But which is
quite good.
You were terrified, weren't you, of
Yes.
doing it the first time?
I
For
was
anyone that doesn't know, I'm not just having a swipe at her. She was genuinely anxious about the job.
Because you told me about
But you
10
did it
minutes.
extremely well. You did, and Barry likes it because it means that people are learning. And this show is about education as well. As you're just getting there.
Yeah, I've learned
And it'd be
loads
sod's
about
law
that.
that's now going to land. We want one to land, of course, because it's for the charity.
Well
for
child this
charity.
month.
Well child, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. All right, now is your moment to shine.
Yeah, okay, so I do think Mr. Big Stuff is the winner for many reasons. Tyler Hurd taking off that useful £5. He ran pretty well at Newbury, but if you watch the replay, he really didn't get the clearest of runs at all. Hopefully no such problems today. Of course, there always can be in these fields at Epsom. But I think I'm going to be kicking off with a winning start. But Dave, I have to tell you about a bigger price each way, and I can see it there. 29 approachability each way for Charlie Mark Johnson. Look, he needs to improve for this season on debut handicap under Jason Hart, but he shapes as though
He caught my eye. Do you know
One-
what? We're pretty much agreeing on this
Are
first
we?
race. Yeah, we are.
right.
Yeah.
Let's get it in.
Which is going to annoy you, isn't it, with the trophy in mind? Because it will have to, that will be.
He was a
win
pace
each.
angle as well, approachability. I thought he could get off in
Just
front.
always are, aren't they?
The biggest thing with approachability, what I was looking at though, is his entry at Royal Ascot in the King Edward's
Okay.
Group 2. If they think he's actually got any credibility or engagement in Royal Ascot, he's got to be doing well in this, hasn't he? If you wanted
He's
to run
form
him
at
in
Westover, actually. If you look back, he's got form at Westover.
Who, of course,
obviously
is
finished second to
no,
Cash. Yeah, he's
no
got
back marker
number,
in the
yeah.
Derby, is he? Westover, of course. At 4:30, it's Derby time. No horse in the last 10 years has won this first time out. That put me off slightly. But I guess it's from the firm that, well, it's that cliche, they know how to get one ready. But you'd have to be slightly. I mean,
I
he's
think
the only
each
one
way
with
is a
sharp combos.
safer. It's just a safer and probably a slightly better bet because I do think Mr. Big Stuff is the likely winner. But I can't resist those prices on approachability.
The rider is a bit of a concern for me.
Warhorse is
on,
very
on
warm,
the
isn't
favourite.
Tyler Hurd.
He's never ridden. He's only ridden 4 times in the last 5 seasons at Epsom, according to these stats. He's got no winners
Stats that you're giving credence to for once.
at Epsom. Yeah, and this is a huge day, isn't it? This is the first race on Derby Day for a £5 claimer like Tyler Hurd. I mean, the horse has got a huge chance, but I was slightly concerned about Tyler doing the business on him. But
Yeah, why do you think
we'll
they
see.
are claiming? Because Holly Doyle obviously rode him last time. In fact,
That's right, yeah.
Holly's obviously got to ride for Archie Watson in this, I get it. But you would imagine they would have had their pick of the jocks from the agents, wouldn't you, with this chap?
I would have thought so.
He
Yeah.
obviously need to claim off him, but I don't know. He found a lot of trouble that day, didn't he? In Newbury,
He was mullered late on.
I know he could be a bit tricky. Ride this.
I didn't
He's
think
still
he
a
was-
maiden as well.
Apparently, he is not the most straightforward. So
Yeah.
that would then relate to and the jockey as well. You
Maybe,
could
maybe
turn that
he
into a
knows
slight
him well.
negative.
Maybe he's been in there at home and got to know him. We don't
Maybe.
know, do we? We're just speculating.
My
But-
words are actually in the form book for this chap, just to let you know. The senior analyst in the part
dear,
amongst
dear.
the panel here has actually
dear.
written about
What have you
Mr.
said?
Big Stuff before. Now, Al Kareem, of course, who's also beat him at Nottingham 2 back, he's gone on to rate quite a bit higher, hasn't
yeah.
he?
Cole Burks.
He attacked Al Kareem that day, 2 furlongs out, and he looked the one to side with, I wrote. He conceded race fitness to that rival, though, and had been a bit keen early on, which just saw him get outstayed. He's on a good mark, which we saw last time out. A lot of people in the London Gold Cup were cursing, weren't they?
I don't think he was unlucky. I didn't think he was unlucky.
He wouldn't have won. He wouldn't have beaten Israel, but he
Definitely
definitely would
wouldn't
have placed, I think. I initially didn't think he was. I watched it back. They're going in anyway. Stall 13 for Mr. Big Stuff.
Warhorse has got very warm.
What have you tipped him anyway?
Marines.
We're both going for
Oh, you're
Mr.
both
Big
on
Stuff.
Big Stuff,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
right.
I wanted to go for Blue Trail,
Cool,
but
he's
I'm
very
not
warm.
totally
Warm as
convinced.
well.
Who's that? That's
nine.
Mr. Big Stuff. He's very warm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
Warhorse is a wash, isn't he? All right.
It's
this
quite
is gonna
warm
be
out
fun.
there, though, isn't it? Yeah, it's quite a warm day.
Yeah.
Good luck wherever you're playing in the 235 then. The first of 5 races we're bringing you on RP Live this afternoon. Real celebration today. Let's have some great fun.
Woo,
Good
who's-
luck. I'll tell you what. Oh, no!
Blue Trail.
Blue Trail's gone without the jockey.
What?
What?
William Buick stuck in. I mean, Barry, obviously that's 1,000 now. That's absolutely ridiculous. And he's playing havoc. It's like we're at Cheltenham.
Oh,
We've got a
Dave,
loose
almost
horse
clipped
up there. This
heels
is
then.
madness.
Dave,
This is
almost
Donkey
clipped
Derby
heels.
stuff. It's sweeping up front with
Gonna
Ollie
take
Doyle, which has
sweeping
been
heels.
carried
Short
wide.
combo then.
And that means O Herbert's Rain, another big player on the inside from stall 100, James Doyle. Will he get home? That's the worry. James wouldn't have wanted to be in front for sure. Mr. Big Stuff's got quite a nice pitch, but he's a bit wide. Looking for some of the other ones as well. Accessibility out the back. Warhorse is a bit keen. Who else have we got there? What's this up the front as well in the balding colours? This is Swilcombe
Swilcombe
Bridge.
Bridge,
yeah.
And Hayley Turner, who was all over the mainstream media this morning. Hayley Turner talking about Her Majesty. What's this? Box to box going well, Barry. He's
Yeah,
got
in
a lovely
4th
sit.
position there, has a nice hit. Mr. Big Stuff is 11-4 favourite on the exchange, 7.8 box to box, 7-4 Knowlton's Cross travels well, just in behind on the rail there, and the one in the yellow is Sweeping.
The
think he's
loose horse
55.
continues to cause havoc. Gee, you're right out the back as
I'm
well.
I'm just following Mr. Big Stuff. Just right behind him, David Egan. Big Stuff's got a great position under Tyler Hurd, hasn't he? But it's going like a dream for Tyler Hurd.
Ordinarily, you would think you would be caught a little bit wide, but as they turn into the
Not
home
a
straight,
bad
we're
thing here,
expecting
Dave.
them to
Stick to the
fan.
rail, are they?
Richard Kingscote, what a day for Richard
Don't think they're
Kingscote.
gonna-
That's fine. Now, don't forget there is a fresh strip of ground. That's why in the derby they don't tend to come across. The jocks fancy it. It will be up to James Doyle
Oh,
here,
good
who
move by Big
leads. They're
Stuff.
sticking far side. That is a massive
Whoa.
news,
My
horse
basically.
doesn't look good.
Look at
Yes.
this. I'll tell you what, and this is once again, the hold-up horses are absolutely a million, aren't
He's in
they?
trouble, Big Stuff. He's in
Oh,
trouble.
Herbert's Reign is going for it.
Oh,
Swilken
come
Bridge looks
on.
the only danger. Mr. Big Stuff is struggling to go to pace. Looking for something else on the inside that's finishing. Warhorse, the Sandown run, Norton Cross, absolutely nowhere. This has
The
been
front two between them, I
a
think, Dave.
very eventful race, but
Wolves
nothing
is
has
flying
happened in the
now.
home straight. Box to box, finding it a little bit tough as well. Looks like this is going to be a winner for the
Swilken.
Baldings. Oh, Herbert's Reign on the inside is just going to get outstayed. The Baldings, I think,
this
are
is
going to
flying
do it.
on the
Look at Haggis is
outside.
absolutely
Look at
flying.
that.
Grenoble. Haggis has got there, has he?
Oh.
Whoa! Well, I can tell you that Blue Trail came home in front.
Crikey, is that going to...
Without the jockey mind.
Tell
Without
you
the
what,
jockey, yeah.
just when you think it's going to be a
Hayley
straightforward
Turner.
day after the Oaks,
That wasn't ideal for so many horses. There. One nearly clipped heels with a loose horse. It was a right mess, wasn't it, coming out?
unbelievable scenes here in the Racing Post Live studios, and the four have gone across to get it. He's definitely held on Swilken Bridge, hasn't he?
Yeah,
He has, yeah. The result must be true as well. Swilken Bridge. wins
Hayley
from
Turner
Grenoble.
wins the first race.
He's won 2 of the last 4 of this, so 3 of the last 5. Baldings won.
And for
1.27,
for
7
the
to 2-1.
Massacala colours, of course, in the Derby.
What happened?
We're looking at the start now. If you're wondering about Blue Trail, I mean, we're going to have to see what Williams says to Lee and our guys on track, and DJ and Chris Cook and those guys. I mean, I have literally no idea.
I don't think he's
What?
ready to
He's
go.
not ready to
They're,
go.
look, they're looking across, aren't they? There's a problem.
There's a problem there. Yeah.
Oh, look, he's got his. What's going on?
I don't know.
Something.
He's let
just let
his
it
That
go.
is-
Do you think maybe something with the saddle?
Is he
That he
injured?
knew he
Something's
cut. Has the
happened.
saddle come back there even?
That is weird.
Barry, you might be right.
The
actually.
saddle might have got
Can you
loose.
see how floppy the
on the
sheet
horse.
is? Maybe, yeah.
We need the horse person on the panel to tell us what's happened
Well,
here.
it's my eyes, not
She's
my
a million
knowledge.
to tell us as well. Okay.
Not sure what happened.
Buick
I've got to
definitely
put
went
my
like
mic down
that.
a bit.
Go.
He let the horse go.
Go.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, he accepted it, hadn't he?
Went, just
yeah.
go.
He knew he wasn't getting.
Second traded at 2 to 7 and running 1.27. So
It's tap round.
But they're like, should the jockey, if he knows he's not going to get away, should the jockey be sent to start a look? You know,
If you watch
Don't-
it back
don't
again,
start.
from what I could see, William was resigned to the fact it was going to happen. He's actually got his head down like this. He's doing it.
why did he let the starter start the race?
Well, they were all looking at him. He probably couldn't have started here, I'd imagine not.
Maybe
No.
not. I suppose it's quite low.
This is the first race on
Is
Derby
this why
Day.
there's a steward's
Steward's
inquiry?
inquiry.
Of
course
is it
there
just
is.
between the
yeah,
first
no,
two?
that'll be it. Yeah.
That was like a Grand National, wasn't it? Not a great start to the day for William Buick, says our own Maddie
I
Plough on
don't
the
know,
live racing news desk.
Maybe the starter's at fault. Someone's at fault there, surely.
Well, I'll tell you what, Sheikh Mohammed's back on track, isn't he? We're hearing as well.
Is he?
He's gonna be, apparently, he was there yesterday.
Yeah.
So all's well. So he's going to be a bit livid about that. We thought that's why Manobo was getting so much attraction yesterday. He probably ran. He just ran a stinker, didn't he? Okay, we are
Isn't that
off
amazing?
and running.
The jockey cams, aren't they just
Brilliant.
fabulous? Did you see it yesterday for
Holly.
Holly's Oil?
Yeah, absolutely
On Nashua.
brilliant. All right.
Really cool.
Well, we're off and running. That was, I mean, we
saddle looks-
finished with the Oaks yesterday. I didn't think I'd seen a finish like it, and I probably won't again for a little while. Let us know if you're on Emily Up, John, and when you think you're getting it back. But that was just as dramatic. The first thing to say is they've stuck far side. They must be happy with the fresh strip of ground, the guys.
Yeah.
James Dodd has not come off that rail.
No, the first
So
two,
we can rule that one out.
most of the way.
And if you're on Barry's favourite sprinter in the dash, just another bottle, who's drawn in one, you'll be happy to see that they might go, because they tend to come towards the high numbers, even if you're low in that. It takes a minute to win it at 3:45. Who wins that? We're looking at it now. Okay, look, let's concentrate on the winner. He's done it in a very game fashion. Absolutely flying was Tom Marquand on Grenoble, who reversed that Sandown form readily with Knowlton's Cross and Warhorse last time. He'd have got there in another stride. But these balding horses, targeted at the race, I imagine. Hayley Turner was always in pole position, wasn't she?
Yeah, lovely big grin on her face in pictures, which is always nice to see. The horses get a nice big pat down the neck. It's funny, isn't it? It's like one of those races then, like Barry alluded to before, but then you look back at Swilken Bridge and you go, Ah, yeah. Ran well here from Ultimate Start. Went close over 1 mile 2. 4 put out the handicap. So you're to and fro, but when you actually look at it, you think, yeah, it was a good shout, yeah?
You tried to make all in Goodwood. He traded trees on that day in Goodwood when he tried to make
well
all.
clear that day. Yeah.
What £4 at the handicap form-wise? Funny race.
Well, there were a lot of races at Epsom like that, Dave. You know, you get 2 horses who get clear and then they don't come back.
So you mark up Grenoble, and what was the other finisher? There was another one as well, wasn't there? I can't remember what it was for. Was it
Warhorse.
Warhorse?
Yeah, Warhorse.
He's a right nutter, Warhorse.
Yeah, but he was so sweaty in the preliminaries. So
I
he
backed
did
him
well,
at Donny,
didn't
and then, of course, I opposed him at Sandown. He comes over to the top and wins. Knowlton Cross was a bit disappointing as well. Mr. Big Stuff, yeah, disappointing. Caught wide, didn't pick up, though, and they're gonna struggle to find a big track race for him, I think. They might be able to go small track and nick one, but I think, all right, I concede that. He's a bit tricky, fair play.
Yeah. Just not that good, Dave.
No, all right. Who got the closest there? That's the question. Probably
Not me.
Barry,
It was
wasn't
the
it?
battle of the brutals there.
But yeah.
Not me.
Yeah.
My approachability
The
again.
trophy
just
stays with
couldn't
Dave Orton for the
pace.
minute over here. All right, we're off and running. Let us know you're out there. What did you make of that race? Who was on Blue Trail? Man, what did you think happened out there? I can see if I can open up the chat as well. Of course, there's a poll. Who is going to be on YouTube? The 2022 Derby winner. Click that. Let us know. We'll get that out. Before the start, a few people asking, Tom's not here today. We had a great day yesterday. Parky did, by the way, G. Yeah.
Parky did.
Yeah, he did, actually, yeah.
What, before or after he got robbed?
I shouldn't laugh. So what actually happened there?
I don't know.
We went out for a couple of beers, which happens after the show here. You need to, when you spend an afternoon with these guys, you need to just have one. And especially with the producers
isn't it?
as well.
We
It's
need
our
one.
brightest
We
job.
need one after you.
I was the first to leave, I'll let you know. I knew Parky wasn't going to be the first to leave. And I got a message from him last night. Maybe we should text him and find out. He said, my phone's gone.
So how did you message him? So was he miss his phone?
It must have been when he got home.
Right, okay, yeah,
I
because
don't
he doesn't
know.
live
He
in
lost his
London.
phone.
He won the trophy and lost his phone.
Well,
He
you're
lost
lucky-
his phone.
So perhaps it's
Someone
going to be a
robbed him.
poison
He got
chalice
robbed.
this trophy. We don't know, but something happened.
He got robbed on the way home.
No, he didn't.
He did, I'm not whining.
He did
No, he
use the
didn't.
word rob. Yeah, he did, yeah.
Yeah, someone-
Well, we have to hope he's all right, first and foremost.
He's
but-
all right. He's all right. I know
Well,
he's
so
all right.
otherwise you-
Physically, he's fine, but he's,
My word.
he's without his phone and a few other valuables. I'm told.
We're hearing that Buick might have to pass a concussion test as well before his next
Is
rides.
that what was wrong?
Well, I don't know, but this
he
is
was
what's coming
doing that,
in.
wasn't
so
he? He was doing that. Whether he got
hit in the
Say
head.
that
got
again.
a whack on the head.
Oh,
by another horse, I'm hearing he got a whack on the head.
oh,
He
luck-
probably Blue Trail went up then, didn't he? I'd imagine.
Oh,
Well, that makes
there
sense.
was a bit. That would be why he was going like
Well,
this.
he went like
obviously.
that, didn't he, in the
oh,
stalls?
lucky that he let the horse go then.
So
could have been a
because
lot
it
worse.
can, in all
couldn't it?
seriousness, it can get
Yeah.
proper hairy in there, can't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's not. I would imagine of all the, even though you're going around the Gamble at Epsom, it's the stalls that make these jockeys
That
worry,
sounds-
isn't it?
that sounds
So
pretty
look,
nasty.
hopefully Williams all right to take the ride on in the Derby. Is he on Walker
He's
Stars?
on, no, Nation's Pride.
Nation's
Nation's
Pride is the
Pride, quite well
supplement, of course.
fancy,
Yeah, all right, listen, we're going to go down all the Derby runners for you. Barry will be updating us on the market as we go. There is the result on screen for you then. The Baldings and
there we
Hayley
go,
Turner.
there
We can see Dave now.
We'll see what happened to
Oh,
Bill
okay,
Buick
we're
here.
watching it on
Oh,
the
we
screen.
got-
Oh, it's
Oh,
accessibility.
it's the other. It's
Paul William.
Oh, Jesus.
It's your outsider.
Right, so he's
yeah.
got him
What
right in the head.
nutter he is.
Oh, he's lucky that he let the horse go.
Paul William. Oh, so he's actually come off the. He's been proper kiboshed.
Oh.
The stalls handlers are there looking a
Approachability,
bit
yeah,
bewildered. He's
Right.
he's
He's
good. He
dazed.
can't ride.
Oh, yeah.
He's actually done the right
Oh,
thing.
Days
did
and the
the
horse
right
has
thing.
just
Yeah.
gone, yeah. So he's come under starter's orders, but
Yeah.
Oh, William. That was a right nasty
Oh.
trick.
Yeah.
He just went, wash,
This
straight
is
over.
the champion jockey elect, of course, winning rides all over the place at the moment, and that was a dramatic start to Derby Day at Epsom. My lord.
It's not nice, is it?
No, there'll be a few people screaming at the telly, no doubt, Barry, wouldn't there, as well, when that sort of thing happens? And thank goodness they showed us what actually did.
yeah, great to see that we got to have a look at what actually happened in real time. It's just one of those unfortunate incidents. No one can legislate for that.
Yeah.
Many times I've never seen it happen before. Horses
Well, the
head
way
come
it
back like
came,
that.
'cause it would have been. Approachability needs to be far enough back, and then when he reared up, he just properly went that way. And just got in, it was
he's
really
whacked him.
lucky, wasn't it?
Thankfully, I think the brunt of it, the helmet would have caught the brunt of it. But
Yeah, you hope so.
obviously he's
Normally, if they
he's
really
dazed.
just go
This is what happens when you come into the studio, man.
That's insane.
You
That's
won't be
just
back. Barry's supposed to be in for Rod Ascot the last 3 days. Who knows what's going on then? Oh, it's great to have Barry in, isn't it? It's great to have you with us watching. The numbers were off the charts yesterday. We know we're going to get better today as well. Let us know where you're watching in the world. We had Trinidad yesterday, Australia, New York.
Yeah, we love
All
our
over the gap.
international viewers, don't we, Dave? We love our
Barbados.
international viewers.
Yeah. Is that because they can't throw muck at you? And now, well, let's get this straight, right, okay? Because one thing that... Twitter is, we're talking about a divided nation, aren't we? Politics and, Brexit and all that sort of thing. But actually, when you actually get out there in the street, as we're seeing with the Platinum Jubilee celebrations, there's a lot said about it on the... Did you hear the booing yesterday? There's a bit of booing going on.
Was there?
There was. You were at your street party, of course.
Yeah,
You were playing waving your flag. weren't
We
you,
all
and
know
that
that
stuff.
I'm one of the great patriots.
But Twitter is not the barometer that a lot of people think it is. And it's insufferably, when you go racing with these two, and Barry in particular, I need a bit more love when I go, please, because everyone loves to come up to G-Rod and try and buy him a drink. Does that happen to you all the time?
No.
No.
Feel
it's just
free.
G-Rod.
Anyone?
So a lot of people think he's very controversial and all that sort of thing, but he's a big cuddly bear, really. And so you are...
Yeah, I mean, it was great. It was great. Well, I went to Brigadier Gerard night about a week and a half ago at Sandown. Yeah, and had some great conversations with some viewers of the show. So
Dante Day, which is where I'm trying to steer this to, because we saw Desert Crown in the flesh.
We did.
And it's fair to say it created a bit of an impression on you, didn't it? Which is surprising after the amount of bottles of Chablis you had.
yeah, it was quite a day, wasn't it, Dave? Yeah, but
Brilliant
it was a great day and a great performance by Desert Crown, and there's only better to come. I'm absolutely convinced.
Yeah, and we'll just get this out of the way before we go back to a little bit more about William Buick, because of course William's got some history with concussion, hasn't he? So we'll get back to that in a second. This is the best horse. Go on.
Yeah, this is the best horse in Britain.
I can't. Is in Britain.
You definitely
Well,
said
so better than Baid.
Well,
He's better than Bade, yeah.
What you think? So what he's going to show this year will be higher rate. He's going to end the year.
He will end the year rated higher than Bade. What do you reckon, Barry?
I think it's a massive shout. I think, what are you staking on it? You're staking your reputation on it. Like, words
his
are cheap.
whole professional reputation.
The reputation is already in tatters. It can only go one way, Barry.
There's
It
your
can only
answer.
go one way.
There's your answer.
Has he even got a reputation? Well, he's got a reputation, all right. But like I say, people love to see you on track because you do send to, you get an opinion, you stick to it. You saw this chap in the flesh, and he was a massive drifter in the Dante, wasn't he? He went out to 4-1. And all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And
That's because he was putting
peed
at
up.
the wrong price, wasn't he?
What I liked about the Dante, we're talking about the Derby favourite, of course, for Sir Michael Stat, is they went right down the middle, and I thought that was a tactic for the Derby. You watch that race back, he comes 4 wide of everything else down York, and I can see him he's obviously, what is he, still 13 today?
12.
12. He's going to come down.
He gets
he's
a clean
going
run
to do
at
that
him,
clear run, isn't
and
he?
he gets that clean run at them down the outside. I don't think
The Authorised, the Camelot, they keep the good ones wide.
Why
and they
can't
just
he
go
just
for the
be
right.
an amazing, like he wins the Derby, we're all like, yeah, way, woo, woo, what a great day. And why can't Baid still just be the legend that he is? Why does one have to be better than the other?
Ask G-Rod.
That's what racing's
No,
about
but
now. That's
these
what
two
racing's
are-
about. It's
but they're
about
not, but they're
who's
not,
a great
they're
horse.
different. They're different.
We want to see the
different.
champions against the champions.
Well,
That's
Barry's
what
hoping
makes
that's
it.
going to happen because you've obviously
Yeah.
backed him for the art.
I don't think he'd be
happen.
higher than
It happen.
Baid. Baid's amazing.
Of course, Hookham's brother.
Yeah.
They now
Yeah.
share great, the Group 1 honours, don't they?
I don't
all
know.
right.
I think if Desert Crown wins every race between now and the end of the season, that Baid will still have a higher rating than him.
What are the official ratings?
Like every race that he runs in, what are we looking
I
at
do.
from here? Like he could. So Desert Crown, Epsom Derby.
He goes the Derby. I reckon he goes the Eclipse. You reckon?
I would have had him
Maybe
King
Bay Bridge
George.
might go
I think
Eclipse.
he'll go King George.
I think he'll go King George.
I thought he'd go King George.
I think he'll
Like,
go
who'd
King
you
George.
get?
He could go Eclipse, then international. If he wins the international, that's
If Bay Bridge wins
That's
the
it.
Prince of Wales, he goes the
he
Eclipse,
definitely goes
surely.
international, surely, because he's already won at York.
He's got Bay Bridge. He's got Bay Bridge, who is the absolute
Yeah, Bay Bridge.
bee's
will,
knees.
Bay
isn't
Bridge
it?
will go for
Bay
the
Bridge
Eclipse
is a better
now.
horse than Desert Crown.
No, don't be ridiculous.
What you're saying, though,
So ridiculous.
I know there's no
will be-
chance of it, but I
a lot
hope
of people
they.
will be thinking he's a bit mad. Very rare for a Racing Post Racing on a second start for a horse to go 120, right, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Did Frankel even do that? I'm going to say he didn't.
No,
No, he
definitely not.
obviously ran.
But his
raced
second
more
start
than
would have been
two-year-olds.
as a 2-year-old.
Not
Yeah,
in, not so the calibre of race he was in. We see this all the time, don't we? In jumps races, even if the outrank outsider runs in a Gold Cup and they crawl along and it gets beaten 20 lengths, he'll still get the RPR of his life.
Baid is rated, I think, around about high 120s on RPRs. You can look it up for me, Dave.
I'm going to.
Right, now Workforce, I think, was beaten in the Dante on his second start, trained by the same trainer after just one run. Very similar profile to Desert Crown. I think he ran to 114 or something in the Dante. It might have been even lower. Desert Crown's already run to 120, so he's already a £6 better horse than Workforce, trained by the same trainer at the same stage of their careers. Workforce went on to be rated 130 plus. Desert Crown's definitely better horse than Workforce. Workforce is a better horse than Baid.
He's got £9 to find with Baid on RPRs.
Yeah, so
Baid's only had 2 starts.
Baid's 129.
He's officially rated 125.
Desert Crown will
100%
be rated 130 plus by the end of this
Bridge
year.
at the moment because he looks. I mean, what I like about Desert Crown today is I think it, and this is what Stout does. He was talking earlier this morning. If you saw that good piece on RTV, that Rishi Prasad managed to get in his conservatory somehow. Good work,
yeah,
Rishi.
it was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, very good. He doesn't let people in. He talks about the work that Shergar was doing pre-Derby, and apparently they've never seen anything like it. Now the vibes about Bay Bridge, albeit after Sandown. And when the money for Bay Bridge on the night was insane, wasn't it?
He's good.
Apparently he's doing that sort of work, Bay Bridge. Now, if Desert Crown has been... They know what they've got. And when Stout says he doesn't have to improve much, if at all, from a Dante going on, it's exciting times, isn't it? What sort of price do we think he will be, Barry, having looked at the ground there? They're sticking to the far side. I'll get the race time for you.
5 to 2.
5 to 2. It's going to be solid.
Around 5 to 2 mark, I can't see him.
Also, Bay Bridge's RPR 126.
Okay, and
126,
there's a lot of runners in the Derby, though, of course, which means when Camelot was 8 to 13, shot the old man scared.
The best horse doesn't always win the Derby,
as we well know.
Also, it's kind of weird that, not weird. That's probably a stupid thing to weird is the wrong term, but this Derby, there's no standout superstar from the 2-year-old division. It's all coming from these trials races. So basically, we're just trying to pick the best trials race.
Yeah.
To get, when we're looking through our form of all the runners.
Yeah, we are,
So it's kind of a little bit different in that way.
Look at this, Robin Gamble. Great name, isn't it, for someone watching this show? Watching in Barbados.
Lovely.
Whereabouts are you, Robin, over there? Are we Sandy Lane or are we Garrison Savannah? Commander von Roerich, one of our absolute stalwarts, says, my heart is in Greek Islands, but my feet are here in London. That's fair enough. I've got the Greek Islands.
Easy to leave your heart in
Commander.
Greece.
Commander's a shrewd old chap. Shall we bring it back? We digress slightly. We know you love it when we do that, but we're talking about the Derby favourite. Let's start building up some Desert Crowns, can we, out there? Let's hear it. But you can see the market on there for the Princess Elizabeth Stakes. It's a Group 3 for fillies and mares. I really like one in this, Barry, and the market suggests I might be right. It's Bashirkova. Hang on a minute. I did Bashirkova. Bashkirova. I think she's going to win this.
Yeah, she's 11 to 4 at the moment on the exchange, 3.65. If she wins, she has to turn that form around with Mrs. Fitzherbert.
Yeah.
And I don't see any obvious reason why she's going to do that. They're both going to improve for the run. And Mrs. Fitzherbert is a filly, I think, who's definitely on the up. But Bashkirova is favoured into 5 to 2 now. Was just briefly there, 3.5, 3.6, 4.6 Mrs. Fitzherbert. Potapova is 7.4. Majestic Glory, 9.2. I like Majestic Glory in it. Obviously, third in the Fred Darley to Winter Beauty over 7 furlongs. I think the step back up to a mile is really going to help her. She's in a first-time hood as well. That Wild Beauty form. Wild Beauty wasn't beaten that far by above the curve either last time out. So at 9, we're gonna look on the sportsbook actually. We'll have a little toggle over to the sportsbook, and what we're going to do is, because there's additional places on the sportsbook in this race, it's 4 places to each way punters on the sportsbook. We're going to have 25 quid each way. Majestic, currently 15 to 2. Obviously, the exchange, she's 9 on the exchange, which is 8 to 1, but it's a win-only market. Want to avail of the 4 places here, so what we're going to do is 25 quid each way. Majestic Glory, first time hood. Andrew Balding double on Derby Day. That would be nice.
Stolen thunder there, I was about to say. And we've seen the doubles going in left, right and centre on this show, of course. Andrew Balding, absolutely. 3-year-olds do win this race. He's one of 2 3-year-olds in the race, along with the outsider rolling the dice.
That's the other thing, she's a 3-year-old filly, so she's getting all the allowances.
Yeah, she is indeed. And, of course, Flash Betty as well. And David Probert, he's just Mr. Solid, isn't he, now? How many times do we do these shows?
Did I not say that he was the best jockey in Britain about 6 months ago, and everyone laughed at me?
Well, I don't think so.
Think it's the way you say
Sure,
things.
that's what happened.
Well, Enzo used to come on this
You
show.
probably
didn't
did,
he,
but
Tony
that was the height of the National Hunt season.
Well, that's when he was winning
That
all
was
his
when he was
races.
winning all the weather races.
That's when we were,
What's he
talking
on in the
about
Derby
King
Day,
George.
Probert?
Just like-
What's he got? It'd be Massicola, wouldn't it? You would imagine. What's he got? Let's have a look.
What's nice
He
though
won't win
is
the Derby, Dave.
is when he won the all-weather finals. He won the championship on all-weather finals day. He was so sweet. He said to me, I just hope it can continue into the spring, into the summer on the turf, and he has. So it's great. He's
he's just good,
consistent,
isn't he?
and he's a
Just a
he's
bit of
good
housekeeping from the
jockey.
first. Blue Trail declared a non-runner. I know a lot of you out there are seeing that. We're seeing that as well. That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, that is
Well,
interesting.
what else
I
do you
would have
do?
thought he would have come under rules.
So there's a rule 4 now, I presume, is there? If he's been declared a
It
non-runner.
was not fair if
must
you
be.
backed and then someone got basically
Normally
hit in
Barry's
the
got
head.
time to deal with all this stuff. He's in the studio.
Now it's getting very complicated.
On
isn't
the
it?
flip side
So-
of Barry being in as well, normally when we go to Barry, we can have a sip of water, can't we? We can, we're listening, but we're doing other things and all that sort of stuff. And now this is a different discipline. It's keeping me on my toes, which is great. So I'll
It
probably need
foxes everybody in the studio. The amount of people that say, "What do you do if you need the loo?" And I just say, "Cross your legs."
that. Yeah,
Hope for the best.
We're about to test
Don't
Barry's
drink too
bladder.
much water.
Yeah,
We've had a couple
nobody's
that have had
touched
to
the
run
water
for it.
yet.
So
Loads of people-
non-runner Blue Trail in the first. You'll all be very happy with that, no doubt. It's probably the right decision.
So-
isn't
so
it?
Everyone
It's
would
a
give him money
very
back.
charitable
Yeah.
decision.
Everyone would have given money
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
All right. So look, the right decision. Hey, it's a diamond jubilee. Not diamond jubilee. It's a platinum jubilee out there. I've got a lot of stick for saying that.
You're
the other day.
thinking of the Diomed.
I am exactly.
You put the words together.
We're hoping to talk to Chris Waller in this studio soon, of course, who will be winning the diamond jubilee.
Can you please
That's
tell us,
quite
Dave?
ascot.
Can you please tell us how Bashkarova is going to reverse this form with Mrs.
No,
Fitz?
do you know what I think it is?
No problems.
Here, come.
You
Let's
don't think
listen.
I'm just picking this out of
Let's
thin air, do
listen
you?
to the what is it? Senior
analyst, as you
Let's
well
listen
know.
to him.
Logic, yeah.
Yeah.
Senior analyst, as you well know.
Okay, I'm all ears.
I was lucky enough to speak to the jockey that was riding her that day, and they thought she would need it. She was a big drifter. She was put in about 9-4, I think, when the 48 decks came in. She SP'd at 7-2. I think she's going to come on for that. Zambak has come out of the form, made the form look all right, isn't it? Mitz Fitzherbert, I think, was better suited to Goodwood. I know she found a bit of trouble, and she pounced late, but Bashkarova went for it plenty soon enough for a filly that was thought to need it. I got told they liked this filly a lot.
Surely.
She
they thought
was
she'd
first
be-
time
She was a
out as
12 to
well.
1 chance.
She was first time out as well, but all I know is this has improved.
Just
is
that
what I
when
was
we
told was
first
right.
went up with this race, the market had it wrong. Like Bashkarova was put in a 5-2, and Miss Fitzherbert was a 6-1 chance.
And Tom
She was
Segal
never
went
gonna
for
be
it.
a
Has
6
Keel's
to 1
gone
chance.
for this as well? I'm not sure.
Keels has gone for.
You should know.
I do. I know. I'm just thinking. I'm thinking. I think he's gone for something different in this. Oh crikey!
You'll know if you're watching the Sizzlers. Cheers, Nat.
Gone.
The way I read,
Long time
Let's
ago.
get a social up. I'm going with Tom Segal nipping this. There we go. Miss Fitzherbert. Yeah, she was. I guess it was. I don't know. She looked pretty exposed going into that race. She was 12 to 1, of course, wasn't she?
Do you think in the market-wise, just actually talking about the actual market and the way the betting is, it's William Haggis, it's Tom Marquand. They're saying the slight up in trip, slight is very, very slight, but they're saying that's all a positive, isn't it?
For
Bashrakova. So it's so I think I can see why people are marginally siding with that little bit of extra distance. I say the ground's perfect. William, Tom's riding out of his skin. It could just be that, but really, it's hard to split them, isn't it?
you were trying to
On face value.
goad me a little bit by saying, "Come on, tell us how this form gets reversed." You were jumping on that. Are you gone for Fitzherbert?
yeah, I think
That's why.
Mrs. Fitzherbert will win. But the way I read that race at Goodwood was they didn't go very fast. Bashkarova had a better passage through the race, got first run. Mrs. Fitzherbert was in all kinds of trouble. He had to switch out. Then he showed Mrs. Fitzherbert showed a really good turn of speed to go and get Bashkarova and beat her quite comfortably, going away at the finish. So I just could not see how Bashkarova can reverse the places. Unless, of course, like you say, she badly needed to run and needed to run more than Mrs. Fitzherbert did.
And I think all the rain that's fallen will be in Bashkarova's
Yes.
favour as well. Miss Fitzherbert's interesting. I keep thinking that this is a George Scott horse because she's related to Mole Davis, of course, in the same colours. He used to, or maybe still does in training. Big moment this for George Rook as well, isn't it? Who shone that day.
Yeah.
His Stop the Young Jockey is going up. This would be a big moment for him. He's in 6, she's in 2. Having looked at the first race as well, I'm happy with the draw in 2.
Capable trainer.
Capable
yeah,
trainer.
very good, yeah.
Yeah. Potter Pover's in here for Sir Michael and Ryan. Oh, Tuesday, yesterday. I mean, Only
Yeah.
Ryan's going to get the head on the line when he needs to, isn't he? It was, and that was remarkable, really. He got going a bit too late on Soto Sizzler, and didn't he get Tuesday absolutely right? And this horse has long been thought to be better than she's shown. She's quite solid in the market, Barry, isn't she? I thought she was going to be a bit bigger than this.
Yeah, she's steady away there at the moment. I suppose the form of the race, is it a bit questionable, the form of that race in Kempton?
Yeah, I don't think it was a great race. Yeah,
No, I wouldn't have it down as a great race.
Roman Mist,
But it's stouty, isn't it? Improving him first time. Roman Mist is in the race as well, isn't it?
Chieveley Park fillies as well. So
She's been a bit disappointed, but she's got Saffron Beach form, and like I say,
Potapova ran her best race first time out last season, then sort of went backwards.
Fair enough.
And then, like this time, she didn't win first time out, so I'm be a bit concerned. But yeah,
well, we're
Technique
5
is
minutes
interesting.
away from the second race.
Technique is interesting, Dave, right?
Yeah.
Because she was given an absolute stinker of a ride last time out. I think Hornby was on it, and he should have beaten Noonstar. I mean, that Noonstar is useless.
Now that leads, see, I can't split the top two, so I've actually looked at a horse called Technique in this. But you're right, my argument for Technique is slightly flawed because Technique should come on from the listed race that Noonstar won. And what has Noonstar done since? That's twice been really disappointing.
Yeah,
In much better company, mind.
And yes, in much better. I was there at Haydock, much better company. But
She was
still,
poor at
though,
York,
Dave,
wasn't she?
she's been
We
disappointing
were there
since.
at York that day. I mean, that was the day we were there. Can you remember seeing it?
Yeah.
Since that Nottingham win.
Not very well. Technique, right, that day.
I quite like Technique.
I think that Rob Hornby thought he was going to get her, and then he left it too late.
Now, Technique has got course form. Well, didn't she run in the Blue Ribbon trial last year?
Ribbon?
Ribbon. It's Ribbon, isn't it?
Excuse me.
It's not blue ribboned out there. Let me tell you, anyone that says ribbon shows their true colours in here. It's blue ribboned. I remember I was told that very early on. It's blue ribbon. The blue ribbon is the Gold Cup at Cheltenham, of course, isn't it? And it's the Derby. The blue ribbon is the top.
Technique ran in the Oaks.
Snowfalls Oaks,
didn't she go close in the trial before that though?
Yeah, but she ran.
Yeah, she did work
She was
won it.
seventh.
She looked like she was going to win it. Uncle Bryn was in the race, Pythagoras,
That's right, yeah.
and
was
she's got
seventh.
the course form, is what I mean.
In the Oaks, his daughter Master Craftsman. She was unlucky at Nottingham, but like I say, I can't frank the form because Noonstar has been disappointing. So Technique's my pick, but got a massive one for you, which could be absolutely what can you say, like brilliant or hopeless. Like
One day, one of these will come.
It could either be amazing or this could be
Hero or
disaster. I could be hero or just zero with Statement on stable debut, and it could be
Tumbleweeds
a
blowing across the
massive.
Hold on, let me just scroll to the
I
bottom.
know.
Yeah.
It could
This
be,
used to be with Martin Mead, didn't it?
it could be a massive shock. It's not going to win. I'm just talking about a cheeky each way. For those of you that like big prices, a new Shrewd Yard, best fresh, as we know, and a massive price.
They paid a bundle for
It's
this.
not my tip, guys. I'm just saying.
Too late.
My tip is Technique.
You've just made a statement. You need to find a better technique with
Wasn't
tipping, I
being
think.
fired the guineas, Mother Earth's guineas.
Yeah, and they paid bundles for this. It is a breeding operation, I think, isn't it, Hillen and Partner? But they bought it for Ballyhinch Stud, who bought into Bay Bridge, of course.
Yes.
They got rid of it. Yeah, exactly. That was quietly done.
That was
during,
clever.
That was during Cheltenham, I think,
But
wasn't
they
it?
stand a sire, don't they?
That's right, exactly. New Bay.
Yeah.
They do indeed. Great knowledge, you see. And that was released during Cheltenham, I think, very hush. Apparently, tables.
Yeah,
got
I
something
missed
to do
that,
with it as
yeah.
well. Yeah. Is that blue or PR blue we're hearing? No, it is blue ribond. I'm telling you out there.
Really?
Blur.
Is it?
Blur
I just
ribond,
thought you
they're
were
saying.
being
No,
very
no, I'm
posh,
not.
being the Platinum Weekend. You had marbles in your mouth there, saying ribbon.
Listen,
I've
it's
never,
easy done on
ever-
this
I've
show.
never heard it called ribbon.
It's blue. Right.
Never ever heard.
Let's
of
open
You'd be
this up to the
laughed.
floor.
I think you'd be laughed at if you said that
You're
publicly.
making.
I said it publicly.
Can
I'm
we,
in good company and said that. Let me tell you. Oh, the blue ribond.
can we clip this up and tweet this on Twitter, please?
Yeah, because
See if anyone recognises
yes.
it.
I'll
She
tell
ran
you
in the
what,
blue
we should do
ribbons.
2 tweets. Me saying blue ribond and you saying blue ribond. Who do you think's going to get the most stick?
Blue Ribond.
There you are. I mean, yeah, you shouldn't say it.
You're saying it like ribbons.
Ribond.
Like,
He is from
James
Chelmsford.
Bond.
James Bond.
He is from Chelmsford. The pronunciation
It's
is
a
not
blue
your
ribbon.
forte.
Ribond.
Right, we are. What are we? 2 minutes away from this. They're going down to the start. We see this so much at Epsom, don't we? That just getting through the crowd, the jockeys just take their time. Getting to the start is the most important thing.
Is this
Epsom.
your money?
Oh, I've got the wrong
This
race.
is really strong.
Look, I spoke to Stevie and I said,
Really strong.
can you come on the show? We're trying to get him back in the studio, Stevie Dono. You remember he did it with me.
Telling us
and
about
Neil Hubbs.
Barbados, the racetrack.
It was the John Canoe moment. He couldn't believe what he'd taken part in, Stevie Dono, when he came in here. He thought it was just going to be quite a studious sort of show, and then we're screaming, at the first race. He absolutely loved it, and he's been a friend to us
There's
since.
too many studious racing shows, aren't there? Every racing show that I watch is so stiff and dry. I'm like, Jesus, can someone say something different?
Well, this is what this show's all about, isn't it? And let me tell you that William Buick has been assessed by the doctors and he's cleared to take the remainder of his rides today. Thank goodness for that.
That would have been a horrible way to miss on Derby Day, wouldn't it?
And
You'd be livid, wouldn't you?
if any jockey's got business going into the Derby this year,
Well,
it's
yeah.
William, isn't
Has
it?
he picked right this year?
Well, that's the thing, isn't
knows?
it? He's on, of course, the supplemented Nation's Pride. Has been like, will he stay? That would be my worry about him. But we're going to go through, each runner in the Derby. We've got plenty of time after the minute to win it dash at 3:45. More social on the screen. Tune 2020 HWTL. Majestic Glory. Balding Horses running into form. You're with Barry then.
Yeah.
Not a bad place to be. Thank you, Will, in the studio for putting that up. There's quite a few people going for Majestic Glory as well, actually, I can see.
So what's Barry's? So you're tipping this is Majestic Glory, Barry?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I thought you were with Fitzherbert.
No, I'm just saying, Miss Fitzherbert, I don't see how the favourite will readily turn the form around with her, but
She's
I thought
improved.
that
She's improved.
Majestic Glory stepping up to a mile
I just
would
want
trump
to
the both of them.
clarify so that we know who to give the trophy to later.
Oh, well, don't worry, they're counting out there. Don't
Good,
worry,
good.
it sits
Keep
by
counting.
me at the moment, which is after my day yesterday, a surprise. But
Placed horses only count for this purpose of this
countbacks,
competition.
yeah, absolutely.
We can't let Barry come in and steal the trophy.
We were winding up.
At least he's
Mark
back
Orosky
2 weeks'
yesterday.
time.
He didn't get a sniff of it, old Mark.
Yeah, but he's just trying to get the bigger prices.
Well, he
Sometimes
has to
I
play the
try and
game
do
like
that.
Harry
It's
does,
good
you know.
fun.
That's his MO, is Mr. Horosky, isn't it?
Yeah.
He loves to go
loves
for
a big
and
price.
It was the horse that, of
Because
course.
when it works, it's such a great feeling. Like,
What's the horse that you tipped to Ian Williams yesterday? What's it called again? The memory's gone. The one that Mark banged in on Guineas weekend.
the one
Come on, Cap Francais.
that was Cap Francais.
You were supposed to help me out there.
I did.
Cap Francais,
It's
anyway,
usually
that was...
a bit longer.
Mark does get a big shout in, as does Barry. Still waiting for you to have a big shout price winner going. Yours are usually short prices.
That's nonsense, Dave.
Waiting for me to have a big prize winner?
No, don't worry, I'm pointing at the bear, don't worry.
that's okay.
Most of his winners, as we know, are skinny. And having said that, we're tipping the first two in the market here, G. So Barry, and technique is the top tip then, not statement. They've stitched you up with statement.
They have. Technique is my pick. I just said it'd be a big price if people wanted to bet on statement, because there
You
is
know what
a bit of
If statement wins now, it won't have as much shine on it as it would have done, because you played it down. You're trying to get out of it already.
Are you thinking of throwing in one for the trifecta queen? Have you not got one, one extra
I
one
asked
for
you
us?
to find a combination trifecta of the Derby. You're going to do that for us, right?
Yeah,
Surely.
Find us a trifecta.
Surely the exotic queen, Natalie Green.
The viewers expect, when they see you now, they just expect a trifecta now.
Because you've somehow landed them. Forecast, it was
one
ridiculous.
after the other.
We needed that on Midlands National Day
I've
as
done
well,
a few
didn't we?
actually, haven't I?
Yeah, the almighty three. All right,
Go on,
great
then.
stuff. They're going in then.
Oh,
Let's
little
hope
lady.
for a nice even start, please, here. We've had the finish, of course, of Emily Upjohn, my lord, on Tuesday. Then we followed on.
Rolling
with
the dice,
Will
isn't it a
Buick
bit
getting a
slow?
terrible whack in the head. Blue Trail running around like Mad Moose, headless at the start. And, of course, thank goodness, William is all right to take his rides. And he had, and of course he did have concussion, didn't he, with that fall. He had that summer off, do you remember? A couple of years ago. Because he had
Come
a
on,
terrible
rolling
fall,
the dice.
So that
It's
was all
just
concussion.
get a bit of shoving and pushing going on here, and we've still got statement.
I want to
to
share
go
the commentaries
in.
today as well, actually. Nat, do you want to take this one?
No.
Why not? Come on, you are a very versatile, adaptable,
I don't want to be
broadcaster.
jack of all trades, master of none.
That's me.
like Ross Briley.
Did you hear me screeching yesterday?
Yeah, that was noticed actually.
Yeah,
There's a
that's
bit of
what-
feedback on that.
Screeching.
It was during my brilliant Oaks commentary. All we could hear was a high pitch, and
They're
it's
off.
off. Not again. I tell you what, one has missed
slow.
it, and it's Potapova. I saw one fly back. I thought, goodness gracious me, it's Ryan Moore this time, whose time it is to fall out of the stake. Let's
is
have a look.
fast and furious.
Statement out the back for Nat Green. That's the top tip, of course. Look, Flash Betty up the front for Mick
Miss
Shannon, who
Marbles.
won the first race. Holly Doyle, of course, up
Really
there as
fast.
well. Miss Marble is up there for SDS.
Technique's
Sylvester
good.
Masuda very keen. Roman Mist in third is there. Vasker over on the inside. Beautiful pitch. Looks like Mrs. Herbert is going to try and get first run on her this time. She goes all right. Technique on the outside. Majestic Glory for Barry in the first time. If you wanted to see it settle, Barry, it's fine.
Yeah, she settled nicely in the hood there, Majestic Glory, but your favourite is Harden, Bashkarova at 3.1 now, 4 Misfits Herbert, and it's 8 Roman Mist. That's travelling well.
What about my technique? She's good here.
Well, it might not be a bad thing. She's going
Your
to get clear
technique's
run.
out to 80.
Miss
great,
Fitzherbert
Barry.
is going for first
You're
run over
gonna
Bashkarova.
need a
That's not
helicopter
what
here,
happened,
Dave.
of course, at Goodwood.
Yeah.
Majestic Glory catching the eye. I see what Tom Marquand's going to need an out here, guys.
no, he's
They're
gonna
now
get
coming
out.
off the rail. They're not doing
Come
what
on,
James Todd did.
Fitzherbert.
They want to come down the centre, look. The jockeys have all
Come on,
told them. Potter
Fitzherbert.
over on the inside. Bashkarova is absolutely coming. Miss
What's that?
Fitzherbert's
Potapova.
legless. The Goodwood fluke is being played out here. Bashkarova's hanging down the camber. This is going to be a bit of a surprise, this, isn't it? What's this outsider? No, it looks like
This is
Roman
Roman
Miss is
Miss.
doing it. Roll the
Roman
dice.
Miss.
Goodness
Bashkarova.
gracious, come on, Bashkarova! Tom Marquand, the improving filly. That Goodwood form turned massively.
Oh, it's
on
a
its
right
head.
old
Roman
battle.
Miss is the danger. Statement flying, Potter over there, but this is all over. This is one of the best bets of the day. Bashkarova does it. She has improved. It's a 1-2 for Cheveley Park. Roman Miss proved that not to be a float last time for Tom Ward. And flying home into fourth, that looked like
Statement was fourth.
Nice shout, that.
Yeah, technique was disappointing, but statement good and fourth. I mean, not the dream, Dave. But
Insufferable.
One day,
Gamble landed.
one day you will listen, Graeme Rodway.
Insufferable.
It may be a day in the future, but one day you will. Game performance, that, Barry, wasn't it? They attacked her on either side. She kept fighting.
Yeah, Potapova, after falling out of the stalls, traded a low of 2.2 on the Betfair Exchange. The third traded at around the 5-4 mark as well. Roman Mist, who's ran an absolute cracker, but Gamble landed really. The money spoke volumes for her, and it's a 1-2 for Cheveley Park Phillies.
Not bad, is it?
Happy days, and look who's off and running. I'll absolutely love it. This is great. I needed that one. And it's sometimes when you talk to connections, it plays out. And let me tell you, it doesn't all the time. But Stevie who wrote this at Goodwood. We tried, like I tried to say before you interrupted me about that, we are going to get Stevie back in the studio soon. He thought he could come on that day at Goodwood, and then Agus needed him to go and ride what he told me was a very nice filly who will probably just need it. And that has been borne out. I mean, she's much the best at the line. I think she's hated the Canberra as well, hasn't she? She's hanging all over it, isn't she?
She's well on top at the line.
Well on top.
Big, isn't she?
Miss Fitzherbert.
Roman Miss was no help to Richard Kingscott. That hung all the way across as well.
That
Took
was
him
a
while
big
to pull
run
his
from
whip
that, though,
through.
wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a good run.
Yeah.
God, Potapova did do well, really, didn't she?
It's got a mixed bag, this race.
Slowly away.
You probably go for the Duke of Cambridge now at Royal Ascot, you'd imagine, G?
Yeah, probably, yeah. It was interesting that Ryan came up the far rail, was it? Well, certainly more towards the far rail than everyone else.
Weird, isn't it? Because in
7
the
from
first
12
race,
for the Duke of Cambridge.
7-1.
7 from 12, yeah.
Who's the? Let's see what we got. Fab
That's
for that. I'm trying to remember what it will be. Of course, he's got Haggis has got Lilac Road as well, hasn't he? The thing that turned the what's the stout horse called that we backed that day when we were at York? The good one, Villa de Grace.
Villa de Grace.
And so Haggis has got a line on these fillies. She's a big, stocky sort, isn't she? I like her. Obviously, I've got the win out of her, but I think she can progress a bit.
Well, yeah.
It's quite a fun race, isn't it? The
She
Cambridge
won't mind if
Stakes.
it runs down. Duke
Saffron
Cambridge.
Beach, lights on.
Saffron Beach,
alcohol-free,
lights on, another Cheveley
Bashkarova,
Park. Yeah.
Mother Earth.
Very quick on the pedal on the
Potapova,
pedal there, Nat.
Sacred, Statement. Oh, it's cracking,
Did you
isn't
get
it?
4 places? Did you go to the 4-place market with your statement?
Yes, but I'm happy-ish. It's just
You take her out the race. Look at her at the moment.
Yeah.
She's last at the minute.
Yeah, she's good.
at 300 grand they paid for her. Adam Ryan, Shrudy. Another one that's been in this,
a lot of money,
had the
isn't it?
shine. Majestic
They'll be
Glory,
pleased with
Barry,
that.
sort of ran down the camera a bit, didn't it? And nothing
Ran no
under the
sort of
bonnet.
race, very disappointing.
Yeah,
I don't know
all
what
right.
they're going to do with her now because they've stepped her back up to the mile. She doesn't look like she wanted that. The 7 furlongs, she looked like she wanted the mile last day in Newbury in the Fred Darley, and it's back to the drawing boards with her.
You can see why they like Potapova, can't you? I mean, she
And
tried
that was
to
a
do it.
first-time hood. She might have rejected the hood as well
Possibly,
a little bit, but she
possibly.
did settle okay.
Hoods are, I don't know, they don't really do it for me, Hoods. I've
Look
got
at
to
Richard
tell you
Kingscott here on the
Yeah,
third horse. Like he's
really
just whipping his
getting
right
across.
hand. It took him a while to pull it through, and there he just got it through there, but it probably cost him second place.
That's
the
what I
way
mean.
his filly hung.
She was brave this winter, wasn't she? Because she was attacked. Potapova, like I say, you can see why she's a bit of a morning glory. It's there, isn't it, with her? But she's fallen out the gates there. What's it costing her, G? 3 lengths?
Potapova, yeah.
And people will fall for it again, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know where they go with it. They might go for the Atlantis States or whatever it is at Sandown on.
Nice rangy type, isn't she?
There'll be a race for her.
Potapova?
She's
big girl.
well, like a barrel. Why am I thinking about a barrel?
I'm not really
Barrel
sure,
chest.
Dave.
Come on, this is your job.
I wouldn't say she was a barrel. No, she's
got a
rangy
big
and
barrel
she's got
chest,
a nice neck
thick
on her.
set.
Barrel chest.
Good shoulders.
You're sandwiched by
Maureen?
some thick-set individuals today, aren't you?
They're just flying, aren't they?
They say with the fillies they want to have the backside of a washerwoman and the head of a lady.
Yeah.
That's what they say, yeah. You'd hear
It's a
John Magner say that
combination of
himself.
G-Rod and
Yeah.
Nat Green.
The actual terminology is the arse of a washerwoman.
You can say that.
Can I say arse?
You
Yeah,
can
the arse
say
of a
it.
washerwoman and the head of a lady.
I'd be a great filly.
Nat said sweaty balls yesterday, didn't you? Which is interesting when you were talking about gelding,
I
of
took my
course.
sweaty balls yesterday.
Which actually, afterwards at the show, we were saying that's actually quite an interesting theory.
I was just saying
You
when
don't
they
think
get
about that, do you?
gelded, Tom Park's asking the recovery, and I said actually relatively quick. But obviously, what you don't want to do is have the operation and then work them so hard they get, because obviously that's where they get sweaty. So just to up foaming up and getting sweaty, and you don't want. They need a bit of time to heal. So then I started saying sweaty, and Tom's like laughing. I'm like, yes, I'm talking about sweaty balls.
This is probably not the place for the conversation, but I haven't actually never really inquired about a gelding operation. Do they actually, or do they just snip the part where produces the sperm?
No, they do take the.
Oh, they take the balls and all.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Well, they
the
sort of
cruelest cut of all, they call it. But sometimes the one that improves us. And you wanted to geld us
I
all
was
after
threatening
the show
to give
'cause we were-
Dave a gelding operation yesterday. He's giving me so much stick.
Good fun weekend, isn't it? And just noticed the trophy right at the moment, right next to me. Thank you.
Oh, you picked the favourite,
And
Dave.
I'm about to
You
go
picked the
2-0 now.
favourite.
I'm
There's
about
only
to go
3
2-0.
races left, so this is a must-win for me. If you beat me, I can't win.
You should be used to that by now, man.
This is a must-win.
Let me tell you, this is something. This was the biggest certainty of the weekend coming up, and I don't mean that this horse is going to. I think this horse will win. This was a certainty that this horse would go off favourite, Barry.
You reckon, yeah?
We
Because
called it.
Modern News was put in at 6-5.
We called it. We said it was totally the wrong price. Did a feature show on Thursday. All of us in agreement. We said, how is this not favourite? Mutasar coming up in the 310. There it is. And sense is prevailing. Modern News on the slide. In it goes.
Yeah, 2.94 now on the Betfair Exchange. Mutasar. Modern News is 3.2. I haven't traded considerably shorter than that. The last time I looked, 2.18. Can you believe Mutasar traded that on the Betfair Exchange? 7.4 Magellan. Magellan.
It's a hard one to pronounce.
It's
That.
really hard,
Is
isn't it?
8.8. Finest Sound 16, and it's 22. Escobar. Yeah, I'm with Mutasar in our lucky 15. Modern News, I'm a layer at that, but it's out to 3.25 now to lay at 9-4. Like when I'm doing my card, this is a 5-4 chance, 6-4, and I'm saying I'm definitely taking it.
All-out lay, isn't it?
All day long, all day long.
Why?
I was disappointed with it in the Lincoln. Really disappointed. Now I backed it in the Lincoln. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He's a
Remember
beaten
that?
favourite at this track last year in the Woodcote when I backed him. Now maybe it's just me. Every time I back him, he gets chinned. But I didn't think he acted on the track last year if you went back and had a look at that run. I just thought, first time up this year, Mutasar won in Thirsk. He got no look in running last day, and he's mown down lights on, laid on. I think he'll take a hell of a lot of beating in this, and at the prices, that's what was informing my opinion. So, like, I wanted to lay Modern News, but I don't want to lay him at 3.3. You know, if I was laying him at 6-4, yes. Mutasar now, would I back him at 2.94? Probably not. He was a 5-2 chance when I was fancying him. So, for the purpose of this, Dave, I think with obviously responsible gambling is so important to us, and it's something we have to practice and not only preach about. So, for the interest of the charity in that, I don't think I'm going to chase out Modern News to lay it at that price. So we'll just let this race slide by, but I'm with Mutasar over Modern News, and I don't think anything else comes into
Is
the race.
Mutasar a Group 1 horse, do you think?
Hang on a minute. Is he, you're suggesting he's going to need to be a
I'm
Group
telling
1
you
horse?
that Modern News is a Group 1 miler.
Right, let's go. You think he's got... What was second to Bade? Remind me that Real World. You think this is Real World,
Love Real World.
It's probably better than Real World.
Well, he has had 4 defeats in his life, G.
Yeah, but he's won 6 of his 10.
He's been beaten in Maidan. Ugh.
Mutasar
so
is
was Real
entered
World.
in the Group 1, though, at Goodwood.
So was Hookham, I
In the
suppose.
Sussex
That was
Stakes.
Hookham, yeah. That Maiden form, you can throw that out. His last 2 wins.
He is
very
flattered by the Windsor run. Modern News. Who's with me?
Why
Who's
is
against me? Let me know. Keep the socials coming in.
Why is he flattered?
He's Tempest is the horse he beat.
Yeah,
Bell Rock.
It was a
Bell
terrible
Rock
race.
didn't run.
rubbish
Bell
race,
Rock is
race,
not
yeah.
a wins horse, and whoever's doing our handicapping needs to have a look at themselves about that. It's not a 116.
And it was a 2's on chance in Windsor.
He was very impressive. Watch the last couple
It
of
was a 2's
furlongs.
on chance beating 3's.
Watch the last couple of furlongs. He went
You've been
through the
sucked
line
into
like
this.
an express train. He
You've
went
been
through
sucked
like he's a Group 1. He's a Group 1 miler. He's going to prove it here.
Nat, are you with either of us, or are you looking elsewhere?
No, I am. I mean, I can't just, like I say, when you give it the bigger price all the time, there's a reason why it doesn't always work out. But Mutasarbeck, he just looks type open to further improvement for me. Excellent Jim Crowley on board. I love that. I just like the way that actually went to the line last time, to be honest with you. Beaten by net, by Lights On. And we just talked about Lights On, haven't we, a minute ago. And you know, did get a better alcohol free. There's loads I like about Mutasarbeck, but also I've got to give McGallen, God, it is a hard name, isn't it? McGallen another chance for John and Thady Gosden. You probably think I'm mad here, but for goodness sake, it's a Dante runner-up.
It is a hard race. It's a hard name to say because
Hurricane
you'd think it would be Magellan, wouldn't
I
you?
know.
But it's McGallen.
McGallen.
They thought this was their best 2-year-olds. That's what I was told
Well,
when
yeah,
he was a
by
2-year.
Kingman.
John had a slow 2-year-old year that year.
Yeah, he did.
Was it who retired? Someone retired. It might have been Palace Pier was the saviour, wasn't it? Because he didn't have any good 3-year-olds. That was Magellan's year, I think.
Yeah, I
wasn't
mean,
it?
Uncle John said himself that he had a rubbish bunch of 3-year-olds last year. He said that.
Magellan is a horse that hasn't quite.
Disappointed in the Huxley when favourite. Like,
He hasn't
eaten out of
met
sight.
expectations
Awful.
yet.
Yeah, so what was the excuse
Awful.
for that? What happened there?
I was looking. I couldn't quite. It was almost just too bad to be true, really. I mean, I've got to.
Well, it came up against the best horse in training. My favourite horse in training, Solid
But
Star.
I put it to you,
broke
Mutasarbeck.
it.
I put it to all these Mutasarbeck fans here, right? That I watched that race last time.
You were in for some grueler if Mr. Sabak wins here. You
And
know
I
that,
can,
don't
I
you?
can
Yeah.
tell,
Yeah, he is.
I can tell you, Mutasarbeck, right, got out in enough time to go and catch Lights On, and he didn't do it.
He didn't.
He did. He had enough time to go.
He's mowing him down. 2 strides by the line. He's ahead in front.
If he was a proper Group 1 horse, he'd have gone and got Lights
Look,
On.
it's all
He
been
didn't.
so civil up to this point between the Bear and the Belfast Brawler, as we're calling Barry today, because let's get it up. Anyone who hadn't seen this yet, this came up on Twitter. Look at that! Look at this, the head-to-head that is.
It's so good.
Betfair, Barry, of course, in the studio with the big bear. And you've seen it throughout the season. Look at this, Rodway versus Orr. It could have been Orr versus Rodway there, Barry.
You're giving a bit of weight away there as well.
I think I am.
I tell you what, Barry, he's making you look like Will Buick there, isn't he?
He's looking good.
Slim Will Buick.
Absolutely. You could have been in the Queen's Guard parade there. We would have not thought he was an imposter. Maurice Flitcroft and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, all I can find really on McGallen is he just can't have been right. Tory didn't look happy a long way out, which is true. I mean, for me, I just have to completely ignore that Chester run where they hated the track. I mean, Chester is, oh God,
Marmite.
it's tight, isn't it? It's Marmite, it's tight, it's left-handed, it's like a...
This is a chap that ran in the
Typical
Racing
circle,
Post Trophy, or the Vertim Futurity, as we now call it, as a 2-year-old. He's got your beer form, things like that. But Magellan, yeah, I don't know. There's sort of, is he a rock and a hard pace, Magellan, a bit?
He just
Do you know what I mean? Twilight, as we call it.
Well, like Uncle John said himself last season, he had a bunch of rubbish 3-year-olds. Magellan was one of them. What was the horse that he had the other day, Uncle John, that was one of his better 3-year-olds last year that went off quite short and got beat? Anyway, they're all rubbish, and this is one of them.
It won't win. All right. Okay,
I think it'd be
you heard it
hard
here.
to beat.
We should have
Mr.
had. We should have had Green versus Rodway as well, shouldn't we? It's only
No,
taken
that's all
everyone.
right. No, because it's only like, just a horse I
You
wanted
two are
to.
usually like that, aren't you? But this is
Yeah,
how
we
you take
normally
on.
have chronic buddies.
All right, so we have gone down the panel. Myself and Barry think that this will be Mutasarbeck's turn to shine. Should be favourites. Seeing Tom Marquand being with great big grin on Tom's face, of course, up against his wife in the Derby. We've got a son and father and son in the Derby. Great, coming up at 4:30. But Damon Moffat, one of our shrewdies out there, says, I still fancy
Yes,
Modern News to
Damon.
beat Mutasarbeck. He's with the Bear. You ever met Damon?
No, I
I
don't
think
think
I
I-
have met Damon
I don't
before.
think I have.
David, let me know
I
if I
think
met
so,
you at that
anyway.
point to point that time. I think it was you, wasn't it? Came up to me and he said, what's going to win the Derby a couple of years ago at a point to point, then went into the crowd. That happens to me quite a bit. Actually, I was at a point to point the other day on Sunday. Some bloke was walking the course and I was just standing there with a sandwich and a beer, like you do with the kids running around, that sort of thing. Kingston Blunt, point to point, if you're out there, let me know who it was. And he went, all right, Dave, and just kept walking on. And my mate went, do you know him? I've got absolutely no idea who he is. And I went, no, how you doing? All right. It's okay.
That's-
Might have been Damon.
Yeah, that happened to me at Cartmel on Monday. Yeah, I went to Cartmel, obviously Monday. I had a great time. Great time. at
How much
Cartmel.
airtime does Cartmel get on this show? It's
really
madness.
Yeah, brilliant.
Did you see
day at
Jerry's back
Cartmel. And I saw Jerry's back, absolutely bolt up.
That
yeah.
was remarkable.
That's
So how did you find it? It's great.
It was a
track,
great
isn't it?
place, amazing place. Yeah, great funfair. Kids absolutely loved the day.
Love it.
We have sticky toffee pudding. And
Of course
it was,
you do.
and it
The
was
home
a
of
super
sticky toffee
day.
pudding, Cartmel.
Yeah, and
I love the sticky toffee.
Yeah,
pudding.
I love
So
it.
Get up to
good.
Cartmel.
I've had a bit too much sticky toffee.
They
as you can
win
see.
sticky toffee puddings, don't they? The jockeys
They
and the
do,
trains
yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, they give them
We,
sticky
So
toffee.
we
good.
sponsored a couple of races up there, and I went to it. Just amazing place.
It is.
Very difficult
Did you
to get
stay
in
up
and out
there
of.
as well?
So difficult, and the roads are so
Yeah.
narrow. You just kind of sat there.
It's a bastion of Englishness, they call it. It's like going back into the 50s, isn't it? You know, pea and ham soup, that sort of thing.
Bookies
Great
love
old-
it. Well supported
Yeah.
track.
Nothing wrong
They
with
always
pea and
hold good
soup.
money at it.
No,
yeah.
absolutely. It's a very posh point to point, basically, isn't it, Cartmel, don't you think? The old Roman wall, isn't it? Am I
Oh,
right?
a bit mean to call it point to point.
No, point to points are brilliant. What are you on
Nothing wrong with
about?
point to points.
No, I love it. No, but I mean
Jeez.
for the course, it's just unique, isn't it? Like
Watch this space with point to
there's
points, isn't it?
there's
We won't
huge
tease too much.
spaces between the jumping. Do you see what I mean about that?
Yeah, it's a long way
the
home.
horse,
Isn't it?
a certain type of horse takes to Cartmel.
Yeah, like Jerry's back.
And people in the middle of the course, of course, we see that at Epsom today. Our very own Paul Keeley is on the hill, isn't he? Taking some bets.
Oh, yeah, he is,
Is he on the
isn't he?
hill? Keel's on the hill.
He's on the
today?
hill with Andy Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what- if you
Festival
wanna-
racing.
Brilliant.
Absolutely. We know that people take us to the course. You're watching on your phones if you can ever get Wi-Fi at these courses. But go and say hi to Kills if you're there.
I
You can see all
believe
his
he's going to
footage
write about it on Monday. Now that would be an article worth reading.
It's coming up Monday. You will be able to read about Kills taking bets.
That'll be a bit of fun because Andy Smith's a real character.
Yeah.
Festival racing he trades under. Anyone on Twitter would know him, but you know you'll have some fun. And Andy takes an opinion as well.
For sure.
Yeah,
Oh,
he takes
those
an opinion. If
two.
he doesn't fancy one, he could blow a gasket on the laptop in the back of the joint.
And it's fair to say, I think they might have had a bit of a meet-up last night because Kills was
I'd
sweating
say they
Guinness
did
this morning.
enjoy a beer or two as well.
So great. We can't wait to read about that on Monday with Kills. All right, let's hone in. Any more tips out there? Let's try and build some more up because we've got a bit of time until the next. We love this about these shows when we just do one meeting. Oh, I'm seeing a picture of Kills. Let's see if we can get that up. As I'll try and, oh my Lord, I'll try
Keel's
and...
taking bets.
We're getting it ready,
Brilliant.
actually. Okay, well done,
Yeah.
Ben Blackmore, our social manager out
brilliant.
there. Doing sterling work today, Ben. Ben, who did Ben fancy as Derby? Walker Stars, was it? I can't remember, Ben. Remind me who you fancied that. I'll sort of give you a shout. Can we get it up? Oh, look at that.
Aye, aye.
Oh, look at that
Tweed.
jacket.
Tweed.
Did you
Yeah.
lend him that?
Day
Nat?
like today.
No, he was really proud of it because that's his, I think that's like a golf red little polo neck underneath. He's like, oh, it looks good, doesn't it? And he did. He looked so sweet in his little red and his tweed jacket over. Oh, bless him.
Doesn't look too busy there.
No.
No, don't know.
And did he say on your morning show yesterday, he said, I'll be the biggest liability, never mind the book and all that sort of thing, didn't
He
he?
did
So,
say that.
Probably will be.
no, we're getting more
He's in good
pictures
form.
coming in from Kills. Love to see his sun shining, and I think he's enjoying being able to drink on the job for once as well. William Haggis we're seeing being interviewed as well. Poignant week,
Very
of course.
poignant.
We haven't had a word from you, G, about Leicester or
About
Barry,
Leicester,
actually.
yeah. Well, I was saying like Leicester. We've got Richard Kingscote today on the Derby favourite, right? Leicester would have been falling over himself to get on that horse, wouldn't he, in his day? You know, it was like one of his great calling cards, wasn't he? He was a great jockey, of course, but he was ruthless both on and off the track. You know, when he saw a Derby favourite that he liked, he would be onto that trainer. He would have been onto Sir Michael, wouldn't he? He'd been in his ear going, "Oh, Sir Michael, give me the ride on this. Kingscote's only ridden 6 times at Epsom. Leicester have won 6 derbies. That would have been Leicester.
the
wouldn't
Derby
it?
You
or
know when
not.
people go to the pub and they do impressions and things like this? You
don't like my
did
Leicester.
someone not tell you a couple of years ago to never do Leicester? Because that
You don't
was,
like my
I think
Leicester?
that was supposed to be Leicester for
That was
everyone
my
out there.
Leicester. Yeah.
Because obviously he had problems with his hearing, didn't he? Of course, that's why his voice went a little
But
bit.
Leicester Piggott has won more derbies than Richard Kingscote has had rides at Epsom in the last 5 years,
Yeah, that's true.
which is it's a
What are we
big,
making of that for Desert
big
Crown? Should we talk
day
about that for a
for
sec?
Richard Kingscote, isn't it?
We talked
Big
about
day
that.
for him. He had a ride the Derby before, though, didn't he?
One ride he's had in the derby.
With
in
no
the Derby, yeah,
disrespect to
for-
a certain
for
Ballydor
Dunlop.
jockey, if Podrick Berry can win the Derby, Richard Kingscote can win the Derby.
Richard's 2 Group 1 wins in Ireland.
Oh, we've done it. You had it this
you've
morning.
already done
I
it?
actually knew this.
Oh, well, you can't play then.
Who's?
Richard Kingscote.
I know one of them
Yeah.
was Michael Owen's horse that won the Ledger.
Brown Panther.
Brown Panther, yeah.
Well done, well done. And the other
Oh,
one?
the other one's very difficult to get.
It's difficult. Can I give you a clue?
Give me a clue.
It can be like a type of rum. Is that,
Yes.
is that a good clue?
Yes, it's usually something gold, isn't it?
Yeah. Something gold, like a type of rum.
Rum.
Oh,
Dead Man's Fingers is the
I
only
would know
one on
all
my
about
drink.
That. That's a
Begins with an
tricky one,
H.
that one.
HM.
Havana Grey.
Yeah, it's hard that one, isn't it?
She'd
That's
have kept you
hard,
hanging there.
Havana
I had to
Grey.
jump in.
Very difficult.
Havana Grey, no
I
one, the
couldn't
Flying
get that.
Five at the car. So both his Group 1s have been on. And it is in print, by the way. Chris Cook wrote about it in the weekend. I believe DJ did a piece as well.
Yeah, he did. But then we were talking about it. Look, Richard, all these jockeys are professional, of course they are, but there's no way he would have done his homework. He would have been walking the track. He's not. I'm not.
Loads of time for him.
If Sir Michael Stout's putting him up, he's all right by me.
He's absolutely all right.
And who was it the other day? Big trainer said about
blooming
when
good jockey.
Frankie got on Pisbadil.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people. I think Simon Crisford came out. A few other jockeys saying, "Look, anyone can win the Derby. If you've got the right horse."
Oh, I was a bit negative about that.
Which is a bit of a surprise to me, but
The young fella that was riding at Gavin Ryan, I'm sure he was really looking forward to it. And all these young jockeys need a horse to put them on the map, don't they? But it's hard to leave Frankie in the weigh room.
it's the game as well, isn't it? Okay, it's the game.
And
You
they're a
want
breeding
Frank-
operation as well.
If you're offered Frankie, you don't tell me you're not taking him. It was like AP McCoy used to be, wasn't it? When you had something that if you offered AP, you took it every single time. So a lot being said about that. But,
but Piggott would have got on it now, without a shadow of a doubt, I would imagine.
Oh, without question, without question. And do you think Richard will be feeling the pressure for this ride?
Thank you.
I'm not so sure. I was listening this morning, and he's meant to be a pretty upstairs. He's like a tight guy. He's good. He's on it.
I want to pull you up on something that I heard you
Richard.
saying. You
No,
said he's a
don't.
very cuddly, nice guy, didn't you?
Richard.
He can get very angry at sometimes.
Cuddly?
At some things that we write.
I didn't
about
say he's
sometimes.
cuddly. He's just
When he was
really
a young
nice.
jockey, I think it was the time when he was at Manor Farm and
Manor House.
Manor House. What did I say?
Obsessed
Not
with chicken
doing
farm,
chickens
isn't he?
again.
He's obsessed
I had
with.
to get that wrong. If it's
What is
left
it with
or
you
right,
and
I'll tell you what one.
chickens?
There was something that was written about him in the analysis department, and in the analysis department, it regularly feels, and I'll say this a bit, we used to have like a bat phone, and whenever it went off, we'd be like, who's it now? Rab Havlin used to be a classic on there. Paul Mulrennan, great guy. Oh, I've had some tete-a-tetes with him. And there was one time that Walter Glynn, do you remember the great late Walter Glynn, one of our best Northern reporters, Kingscote tried to get him by the scruff, and he said, talk to that analyst and tell him that I had to ride to those instructions, which is what happens, you know.
Loads
You
of them are
have to
fiery
write it as you see
temperaments.
it. Sometimes jockeys have to ride to instructions. We know jockey bashing is something that we try desperately not to do.
No, Richard's he's just a really sound guy. Like I said, he's very
to ring the bat phone.
studious, he's very professional. But what I'm saying is that he's decided like this week to not give any interviews.
Oh, has he really? Right,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Or
And
he didn't to you, in other words.
That's
I
interesting.
respect it.
Fair play to him, yeah.
I totally respect it. I saw him at Haydock and he went, nope. And I went up to him and I said,
Not great for the sport, mind, but
no, I know.
people want to speak to who's riding
I
the
know.
favourite.
No, but I
Let
went
me
up,
just tell
went
you,
up to him
I
afterwards.
think this might have had something to do with you because his agent Claire Byrne was dangling him for one of the feature shows we did this week.
No, but out on track.
He's winding you up now.
No, he doesn't want to. He didn't want to. And I respect it so much because I just said to him afterwards, and he goes, no, I
You
just...
think you're a jinx?
I don't know. Like Barry says, it's just. That's just
But no, in all seriousness,
It's not very
Richard,
good. It's not very
Richard was thought to be Mr. Allweather, Mr. Haydock, Mr. Chester, if you like, because of catchy, but he is generally a very good jockey.
Yeah, but this
isn't
is the difference, right, between racing as a sport and football as a sport, and why sports get to. I mean, if the Champions League final was coming up on Saturday, and Jurgen Klopp and
My husband always says you've got to speak.
Jurgen Klopp and Carlo Ancelotti both said, "Oh, we're not speaking to the media all week." It'd be ridiculous.
Very
It'd be so
strong
dull.
point.
Well,
this is the derby. We need
We
to
are
hear
trying
from
to
you.
promote
We're
the
trying to
sport,
promote
yeah.
the sport, but
Very
we're at a
strong.
time when the audience is at an all-time low.
There's a link
people
there.
going to
Talking about
racing.
catchy, absolutely flawless, the 2-year-old. And who was the thing that was third in the Woodcote yesterday for Dave Lowe, the colourful owner? It was Catchy's
Oh, that
colours.
was,
He couldn't make the track yesterday, Dave. He's very vociferous on Twitter. Great to follow his Twitter account. He couldn't make it because the trains were being cancelled left, right and centre. He had to watch his horse third in the Woodcote. Commander Straker, was that
That
what it
was
called?
Yes.
Dave Lofling's.
Commander Striker, yeah.
He said on his Twitter account, and I agree with this, I would like to see this. You know that I'm Mr. Australia, so they have to do this. If you take out a jockey's licence in Victoria or any Australian state, part of your contract says that you've got to go in and talk about your ride brothers, and some of them are hilarious.
Pre and post race.
They're post race. They come in and there's a guy from, I don't know,
you see them
Sky
coming in,
Australia.
yeah.
They come in and do it. And Dave said, I'd love to hear from the beaten horses again. I'd love to hear from beaten jockeys.
Yeah.
No, it's so
ITV
hard.
were doing it for a while,
It
weren't they?
happened for a bit and it's been
Yeah.
taken away. I don't know why. There might
we
have
did
been
that a lot, like,
some
during, like,
politics
Yeah,
there.
Richie Prasad,
But they
used
should
to
talk
catch
more.
them coming in. Yeah.
That's your point. And I think we'd all agree we'd like to hear more from
we wanna
beaten
hear
horses.
from
I can understand, from a human point of view and a personal point of view, Richard Kingscott under a lot of pressure, doesn't want to put any more pressure on himself, that whole angle. But from a promoting the sport point of view, you need to have the main protagonists talk about it because that's what gets new viewers first. That's what gets new people involved in racing. Something can click with them. Like Richard Kingscott, I think he has a decent story to tell as well, doesn't he? Is he big into motorcycles or tattoos?
His body,
he's not your kind of stereotypical sort of jockey.
I know he's covered in tats.
He's got loads of artwork all over his body, all on his chest.
Maybe we'll see it if he wins.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah, maybe. I'm sure it'll be a different story. But no, I've had it as well with, and it's fine because, I'm friends with Brian Hughes, but Brian Hughes rejected me in an interview at Musselburgh once, and I went, champion jockey. He went, no, I think it's a jinx before the race. I said,
well, there are a lot of trainers that won't talk to certain pundits and things like that before the race. They don't want to. They think it hampers their chance. It's madness, really, isn't it? It's crazy.
Should they contractually be obliged?
Well, this is the thing. Like I say, in Australia,
through the PGA or something that these are our media commitments. These are what we have to contractually do if we're going to maintain media payment. Did they get?
And this is what happens in other sports. Like, this is why Jurgen Klopp and Carlo Ancelotti, and you hear from all those, because it's part of the deal of being.
Well, you always get the man of the match having to come out, don't you, with the captain or whatever, or something like that.
What's really hard, like from my perspective, is you feel a little bit embarrassed, a little bit gutted, a bit like you failed when you've rejected an interview. It's hard.
Yeah, it's difficult not to take personal, I suppose.
It's not personal. You're running around trying to make the day great, and you're trying to be really enthusiastic, and they just go, no. You're like, you feel like, I don't care what anyone says, they're lying, because your stomach just drops a little bit, and you think, damn, is it me? Have I done something? And
Final word on this: the younger generation of trainers and jockeys have all grown up more with social media.
Well, look at Tom Marquand. He'll speak to you any day of the week.
And they are. I think that will change as we go on. I remember the late great Pat Edery used to hate talking to reporters after races, and some of our big ones couldn't get a word with him. And well, I won't name names, but there was a right altercation once. He went, "I'm only trying to do my job," and Pat actually respected him a bit more. They started talking a bit more. They can't all be Willie Carson, can they? It's not. It's not going to happen, is it? But it is something that I think we should start trying to encourage a bit more. I agree. It should be a bit more open, shouldn't it? I think. You should see it down under, by the way, when some of the big jocks coming splattered in mud and they've been mullered on the rail. Damien Oliver will come in and go, out my face. It's a bit like that. But again, it's great television, And some of them will come in and go, not good enough, or absolutely mud, or great run. A horse will come on a bundle. That sort of thing should be encouraged, shouldn't
They've
it?
spoken to Connections after that, so they're not giving anything away.
It's not like the Tomo there with the mic, is it? Or Jaffers or whatever. But look, so who's up for seeing some of that? Maybe we should start a bit of something here at the Post and Betfair going on about that. Let's be a bit more open, be a bit more communicative, which is what we try and do with you. We're on Kills Watch, by the way, I'm being told, and we're hot off the press. Look at that. You're not backing that, he's saying, are you? Look. You didn't listen to me with Nat Green this morning. Not a chance. Look at that.
You could do a caption competition on that, couldn't we?
You really, really could.
Look at him.
I mean, they're
92 each of 2, 5, 6. God, they're betting to a decent percentage.
That's the first race market, of course, isn't it? Yeah.
I had to give the money back on one of the horses.
There you are. Now, I'm looking at the exchange now, Barry. Tell me about Mutasabik.
Bury and Mutasabik. It's into 6-4 now.
Yes.
So we've got the first part of the equation right. The money's comfort. The second part now, it has to win. 11-4 Modern News. Magellan has come in for some sports. 6.8 now. 10.5 Zakuzi. I know I've said that wrong. That's a Japanese mafia.
Yakuza.
Finest Sound, 16, and 20, Pablo Escobar. Although he's not a Pablo.
Absolutely.
His brother was a Pablo.
Who actually won on his return, Escobar. When I saw that, I thought, well, I missed it. This is poor. You've got Gulliver in these colours, don't you? Escobar. Yeah. They usually need a massive field handicap and all the luck in the world. But Escobar for Dan Tudhope and David O'Mara, and we've got a social coming up. The mighty Gomez joins us back and says, Escobar to get his head down on the line. Very good indeed. That might well be doing it if you're going to get a right man to do it.
You get that now?
We'll have to move on very quickly for that one. But no, we like a bit of fun. We get where you're going with that. And MI comes back on and says, and I've got to be careful on this one, small bet on Zakuski, who Keels has put up, right?
Has he?
Again, were you there this morning? I know you went home for a nap afterwards.
Did he put up?
Had you a late night last night?
Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all. But I got up really, really early because I wanted to read everything. And then I do this, I overdo it. And then my head gets, because I got up at 5. I like to be prepared.
But you
do my
did go.
notes.
You didn't have a nap yesterday, and you were saying, "Oh, I should have gone home for a nap."
Yeah, it was a bit long yesterday. But did he put up? I can't remember.
Did, yeah.
Did he?
She went back to her little pomme de terre in Hyde Park and had a little nap. And,
Pomme de terre.
You're
pomme de terre.
such-
Wow, that's right up there with a rebond.
Absolutely. I don't know why this is coming my way today.
Pomme de terre. Pomme is a potato, isn't it?
Pomme
No?
de terre, that's what they call it, isn't it? Little pomme de terre. It's
What's
like
a pomme de
little-
terre?
It's the
like a
same for a
little-
house, isn't it? Like
like
little posh house.
little-
pomme
yeah,
de terre.
little-
Yeah. Am I right about this? I mean, people out there, Leicester Piggott will know, let me tell you.
Nicely, Will Buick, poor thing, might have
Yeah.
a bit of a headache, but it looks quite keen going down to post modern news with the red hood on. Which
Oh, it's drifted like a barge as well, this thing.
They're very late to go into post here.
Why is this?
Come on, why don't we
Very
why don't we
late.
just go for it? Let's just get the straight forecast. Mustabeck is the winner, and McGowan comes second.
Place lay.
Come
modern
on,
news,
yeah,
right?
come on, let's go for it. Let's be
Yeah.
punchy.
I'm going to enjoy this when this wins.
Modern news is out to 130 on the exchange,
I mean, that's
4.3.
a massively alarming drift. That would
Considering
suggest
it was 2.18.
Do you know where you're talking? You don't want to be keen at Epsom.
Shall I tell
do
you? Shall I tell you why this is drifting? Because
You've put it up. Obviously.
exactly that.
because
You walked into that one, man. If that was in the actual boxing match, lights out now.
it was put in at the wrong price to start with, so everyone did
He
their
was.
card at that
Yeah,
price,
yeah.
and everyone
He
went,
was.
"Oh, that's the wrong price." So now it's drifted out
There
to
is an
what is the
element to
right
that. And
price.
there's so much money for the favourite, the bookies have to push it out to try to get some money into the satchel.
I mean, 11:08 Mutasabek on course. You know, he's harding up all the
Going
time. in the
hard all the
exchanges.
time as well.
He was 3-1 when it went up, and when certain people tipped it in the week.
It's very
7-2. When we first went up with the race, it was 6-5 and 7-2. 6-5 modern.
Keels does
News.
prefer Zakuski, by the way, of the Godolphin horses, so he's against
Keep
you
up,
as well.
Dave. We did confirm that.
Oh, we did? All
5
right,
minutes
okay. Yeah,
ago,
well, I wasn't
Weren't
sure.
you listening?
I went
Don't
for
you
it.
listen to anything that we say?
Not all of us-
Hello,
not all of us can
knock,
get a
knock.
nap, you know.
Anyone there?
Nap's Nat.
It's all right for you living 40 minutes away.
That's a great prize. It's been a beautiful drive in, actually, at the moment. It's like
It
lockdown
is quiet,
vibes,
isn't it?
It's
It's
Oh,
beautiful.
with the bank holiday.
If
very
only
little
London was
traffic.
like this forever, Barry.
Yeah, that's
Honestly,
great.
you've come in on a charmed weekend.
It's quite nice.
Trainer with the best record in this race in the last 10 years?
Is
Balding again.
He doesn't got runner in this. Bell Rock, I think, was entered during the week, but then taken out the 48 hour
Appleby
days.
then.
Nope.
Hills, Gosden.
Christopher?
You've basically, finally.
Simon
G-Rob went through the
Christopher?
whole card.
Well, what-
It is
what-
Simon Crisford. Yeah, he won it in 2020 with Century Dream. I hope you're out there.
That's
And I think Century Dream was placed again, but just bitten a nose in the race last
that
year.
was only about half a second to answer.
He won
Win.
it twice, Century Dream.
He's a what, sorry?
He won it twice.
Did he?
Century Dream, 2018 and 2020.
Who was it trained by then? Oh, Simon Crisford. Yeah, okay. So he's, actually, our stats are slightly wrong. It should be 2. So that should be 3 runs for 2 wins and a place. Actually, our stats are slightly wrong there. Can you have a word, please?
What,
I'll
our
rely
ones?
on these stats.
It's
This is
probably
race
race form,
interactive.
probably race form, isn't
It is. Charlie Appleby.
Oh, it might be because it's Simon and Ed Christopher.
Oh,
Because
that's
it's
Again, it was
exactly
Simon
why it is.
Crisford,
Well
yeah.
done,
Because
Barry.
you never make the
that's
mistake
what
to
it
our
is,
viewers
yeah.
as well. By the way, if you're on Racing Face App and you're trying to put in John Gosden, make sure you do put Thady and
Very
John.
quickly, Craig Thake, who is the doyen of all the stats here at the Racing Post, we had that debate. Should we, when these trainers' sons or whoever
Take
it is,
away the old?
should we take away the old?
Yes,
Because
it's very
it's
confusing.
so difficult, isn't it?
I don't think we should have. I think we should have just left
I
it.
petition for not doing it.
I think we
same
should have
yard,
just left
same
it.
operation.
yard,
Oh,
same
100%. Yes.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you're right. That's why Simon Crisford is by some way the best trainer in this in the last 10
Yeah.
years.
It's quite confusing though for our viewers that might not be using this all the time. If you don't put the right names in, Charlie and Mark Johnson,
Yeah.
Thady and John Gosden, you can get yourself very confused. You just always double check and
Yeah.
make sure you get the
You can, but we're here to help you, basically.
And
We're-
there's an awful lot of these
Charlie and
operations.
Mark
around.
and Mark and Charlie.
Charlie
I
and
couldn't
Mark.
get it the right way around. Yeah.
Charlie
Is there is there any sort of is it
We had this
alphabetically?
before,
or-
do you remember, with
alphabetically,
Ollie
is
and
it
Paul,
not?
didn't we? You thought it was
I think it's alphabetically.
It's not, because Ollie
no.
and Paul would be different, wouldn't it, you see?
Well,
And
Ollie
Yeah.
okay, no, it's someone else. Who is it? Oh, I can't remember anyway. There's one where it's not the right way around. Charlie and Mark would be, of course.
Ewan Grassick.
There is one. I
ridiculous.
can't remember who it is. It's turned on his
William
head.
Muir.
Anyway, we're digressing. They're down at the start.
Yeah,
they
that's
have
right.
been a little bit over time here, unlike in the first couple of races. I wonder whether.
Yeah, what's the reasoning for that?
Maybe Buick,
What
I
about
don't know.
times, Dave? How are we looking at
Very
time-wise? What
good
way is the
question.
ground?
I was suggesting. I thought after the first it was probably good ground. I meant to pass that on. Let's have a little look. Oh yes. So the first race, interesting gallop, wasn't it? Muddling, and it was slow by 2.28 seconds, which suggests rain had got into the ground. However, in the last race, unless you believe Bashkarova's a very good filly, she was nearly on standard. So that would suggest
Good ground.
Yeah.
probably the middle of the track is where you want to be, I would imagine. So
Still look like the
this
match
should
in
hopefully
Maine.
tell us a bit more on that front. We're still a little bit unknown. It takes a minute to win it in the dash. That won't help us as well, I'm afraid. I think we could just all agree it's probably good with a bit of cut in it, isn't it?
It'd be fine. There's no excuses on this ground.
If they're saying that the ground is slightly slow, then Bash
Although
Grove's
there's some
right old
trainers
time
and
there.
jockeys will try to make
Yeah.
the ground next
So Escobar's about to load, got the little blindfold on, which will be taken off in the stalls, set a poo, so it'll be a bit lighter.
Call them home, Natalie Green.
No way. So they're in the stalls and they're off.
They're off.
Come on,
And
Nat, you can do this.
racing.
Come on,
I
Nat,
can't.
your horse is
So
at the front,
Finest
isn't he?
Sound has broke well and is into a good stride. The Japanese horse I can't pronounce very well is also prominent runner, and I think Frankie's getting here and doesn't want to be left behind on McGallen.
Keep going.
Interesting.
Yeah, a bit of a
What
split.
Jim Crowley's doing.
One
Staying
news
to
in
that
fourth.
inside.
Mutasarbeck fifth, and what's last?
Is it
Is it
yours?
Escobar?
Escobar.
Escobar.
He
with
does
it.
come
He's
with
got
a
the
wet
tongue
sail,
down,
doesn't
yeah.
he? Now, the interesting thing, Frankie in front, like we saw in a race yesterday, do you remember there was loads of pressure put onto him? Can't remember who we tried to make all on, but when Frankie's in front, as we said during the show
McGallen.
yesterday, they're not going very quick.
Well, William Buick was right alive to it, pushed Modern News right up behind him.
Well,
he
this
knows
is
they're going
Zakowski.
low pace.
So the Godolphin horses are ganging up on Frankie, basically.
Yeah.
Finest Sound is in pole position, and Armut Sarbet, Barry, sits on waiting.
Yeah, Jim Crowley's just keeping an eye to his inside there, obviously.
He is.
You'd expect it'd suit him because he's got gears. He's got to turn a foot, and if it turns into a bit of a sprint,
Yeah. We're going to
he
see
should be able to do them all. But he's after getting a slap down the shoulder there,
He's
Mitsusabe.
so confident. Look, Jim
Look at
Crowley.
Frankie, though.
And he rides these horses.
Come on,
But at the
Billy
moment,
Buick.
Zakowski-
He's motionless,
Modern
isn't
News
he?
is in all sorts of trouble. How
he
they
is,
give
isn't he?
this
He's gonna
too much
win.
to do. Even Escobar's coming. I'll tell you what, he's hating.
Come on,
it.
Bill.
Frankie!
Mutasarbeck's not liking the
Come
track.
on, Bill
control of the
Buick.
ground. It's McGallen. Nat Green in pole position. Here comes Modern News. Zakowski
on,
on
Bill.
James
Yeah, Frankie.
Dorner's definitely saved it. Mutasarbeck all too
Come on,
late
Bill
in the day.
Buick.
He's absolutely hated the track.
Come on,
Fingers
Billy.
burnt here. Not going to be
Come
too
on,
hard, is it?
Frankie.
I think McGallen might
Open
make all
up,
there.
open up,
This is
go
going to be
on.
Frankie before the
Go on,
derby.
Bill, Frankie.
Mutasarbeck's coming all too late.
Go
This
on,
is going to be
Frankie.
Natalie Green's going to take the trophy.
Oh,
I don't believe
Frankie.
Look at Mutasarbeck. It's horrible. He's crashing home all too late. A terrible, terrible
Nearly
run.
the 1-2.
McGallen makes all. Well done. Was that a forecast you gave as well, was it?
No, we nearly got the
No.
1-2. No, we
Well
were.
done, Natty. You stuck with this. They were told us this was the best 2-year-old back in his career. He's been a bit hit and miss since. Did he get the run of it from horses that basically didn't fire or didn't like the track? We'll find out what the panel says after Barry gives us the story of that market.
Yeah, well, he turned the odds on in play from 1 out, 1.5 out, 1.52 Modern News. Didn't see it myself, but he traded at 2s on for small enough money outside of that. Mutasarbeck hated the track, hung all the way down to Camber. But Janie, I don't like slagging jockeys, but I don't think it was Jim
Well,
Crowley's finest error. He traded at a low of 2.08.
He's trying to do what I now call an errors on it. Do you remember that horse at Newbury?
Newbury,
that he
yeah.
just waited and he got. You're either a genius or you're going to
I
get
don't
the muck.
know. He did. The horse didn't act on the track. I
He
think
didn't.
that's fair
He
to say.
didn't.
And he's hanging all the way in.
Had that been a conventional track, Mutasarbeck would have eaten them up without question.
Frankie's rode them all to sleep
Well,
again.
I'm-
A little bit.
He has.
That's another one for my, big gamble on Betfair, and then suddenly jump out in front. Make all.
And yeah, what was there late money for McGallen then?
Oh, we
Yeah, there was money for it.
Was
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
but-
He went
What-
off at 5.9.
Did you look on your
FRSP.
newly found pace maps and see that? Did you?
No, I just, I didn't. So I had it this morning. I had it last night. I just fancied it. Thanks.
Well, off you go.
That was heartfelt, wasn't it? That was heartfelt.
She's going to be
What's my
insufferable.
song again? Ready for the derby?
Oh, Cazoo, Cazoo,
Kazoo,
Cazoo.
kazoo, 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 ba-ba-la-ba-la-ba-ba.
Did we work out whether that was their advert? We're not sure.
We don't care, it's a new
Unfortunately,
advert.
we all went to
It
sleep
really
with that in
is.
our heads. Thank you,
better put it
Nat
here.
Green, and now all of you as well. Well done if you sided with Nat and McGallen. McGallen even. Modern News was second in the end. G, just pick up the bones of that. He didn't look happy on the track either.
No, I thought he was going to win, but I just think Frankie got an easy on the front and he wasn't able to peg him back. Yeah, Mutasarbeck's coming from too far back, Escobar the same. And
Solid stone form, I'm telling you. Whatever he turns up
Disappointing.
solid stone out of Royal Ascot, you've got to be with him. Hopefully it'll be
I don't think we're looking at Group 1 milers, so I thought Modern News might be a Group 1 miler.
The best horse has finished third without question in that race. But the problem is, Barry, I don't know, we were with him, weren't we? We thought he was a very, very... Is he always going to be one of these?
Just fast finishing, nearest that finish in the
Finding
in
trouble.
the comments.
Mm.
I don't know. The track didn't suit him, and I'd
Hated
say
the track.
he a little bit faster as well.
Not a great
Maybe.
race though, was it? Not a great race.
What do you reckon out there about Mutasabek? I mean, that was a right old bump, wasn't it? It was 3-1 when the decks came out on Thursday. We all thought that's totally the wrong price. He indeed
There's
did go
obviously
off
nothing
favourite.
wrong on the inside either, is there?
No, because we've seen 2 races now. This will tell us about the ground, I think.
Well, when Ryan came up the inside on Potapova, you
That was
automatically
fine.
think, well, if Ryan's coming up the inside, then he's probably not coming
I thought on Potapova, though, the only reason he came up the inside was because she was left at the start, and he said, well, I'm not going to
He
swing
probably
wide
didn't have
here.
much
I'll
choice.
just...
Didn't use it.
Anything that happens now is a bonus.
Interestingly, Ryan kept to the middle of the track when everyone else went a bit more stand-sidey in the Oaks, didn't he? Tuesday was the most inside challenger as well. But look, trying to work out Epsom when it's been raining and then not raining and there's a wind, it's tough stuff. Usually we give you an absolute guide. I think, though, and again, you could argue that because Frankie's dictated, will that be a true race time? I don't know. But fair play. Magellan's really stuck his head out there, hasn't he? Where did we go with him? Wolverton maybe for him now?
Yeah, it was a brilliant performance, and you know what it's like. It sounds so obvious, but it's always great, isn't it? The Frankie factor with the atmosphere on Derby Day and everyone.
Best front-running jockey we've ever seen? Steve Cawthon might have something to
I
say
don't know,
about that.
Gary Stevens
here.
is good when he was over in Britain.
I can't remember a better front-running jockey than Frankie.
But all the signs were there, Dave. So we've got to ignore that
There's the flying dismount.
He didn't look happy. Frankie didn't look happy at all anyway at Chester last time. So look, we can go back to that wonderful Dante form and big smiles all round. And
Yeah.
Magellan strikes again, and yet entry-wise, we need to... Here, we
Nothing.
keep an eye on that. There's nothing on entries at the moment, but it'd be interesting, won't it, throughout
Yep.
the day to find out.
It's these sort of Group 3 type horses that Wolverton is the race that if you want to go to Royal Ascot that sort of suits you. There's you've got to go into Group 1 company against Baid basically, too high for the Hunt Cup, so it's usually the Wolverton, which
For
Solid Stone
Oppenheimer.
will win if he turns up in. Bit of cut. I love Solid Stone, as you well know, and he thrashed him at Chester last time. Zakuski was given an interesting ride. It's almost like he served it up a bit for Modern News there for me, but that was a great advert of horses hating horses and horses just absolutely loving it and all that sort of stuff. Straightforward, well-balanced horses win around Epsom. Who will win in, what are we? Oh, still got a bit of time, haven't we? We're around about an hour and 15 away from the best flat race of the entire year. Is it? Is it the Derby?
The best flat race.
Turnover-wise, it's got to be Barry, isn't it?
Oh,
The biggest?
yeah, it's well up there, yeah, always without a shadow of a doubt.
It's got such history and romance about it as well, hasn't it? The Derby. And I know there are other derbies. But the
Favourite
Epsom
Derby winner?
this-
You don't even have to say the Epsom Derby, do you really?
No, we had this yesterday.
Well, no, we were talking about it yesterday.
just-
Yeah.
Did you, right?
No, I was saying I know there are other derbies and people that tune in, know from all over the world might be like, what's she on about? There are other
We've got to get
derbies.
Derby next.
But really, this is the Derby.
It's the Derby,
There's one
isn't it?
Derby and
we wonder
this
whether
is
we might
it.
be being a bit arrogant with that because there's all sorts of, But,
Yeah, we were trying to be a bit
Well, like the Donkey Derby.
PCist.
the Mongolian Derby, which some
Well,
people-
all
some
other
people
derbies
on this
have to have
panel
the
have seen.
prefix, like the Irish Derby, the
Of
French
course they
Derby.
do. This is the Derby.
You've been to Mongolia, haven't you?
I have. I spent a month in Mongolia.
Did you ride in that race?
No, but I did go by horseback and I went to Mongolia to film horse racing.
You've got to see the
and
footage. It's
It blew
brilliant.
my mind to be I was a little bit... I was well conditioned when I went.
Well,
It's like
no,
uni.
that's not why it is.
So I'm just like this, start the thing, and it's just hilarious.
Nat has worked-
My hair was down to here,
That has
Barry. I've been
worked
travelling for
hard
months.
to get where she is today. Let's put it this way. And she took. You're an assertive person, as we well know. But it reminds you of I don't know. It was almost like a field trip, wasn't it? It was
Barry, I went to Mongolia for a month with a camera. I had to shoot my whole 14-minute documentary, edit it, sound it, light it, everything. I'd never done anything like that in my life. It just looks a bit budget, but it was budget because I went with £2,000 for the whole trip. Uni paid for it because I won this grant, and I filmed horse racing. And basically, I didn't even know that only children
You've
can
gotta see
ride
it.
in races. Only kids. No adults can ride in races.
No way.
And we trained.
What sort of races are they? Like how far? Or?
Oh, it's like a cavalry charge. It's absolutely bonkers. The start line is just sort of a nothing. There's
You had some
car-
locals helping you through it, didn't you?
You're
As well?
betting on it?
I didn't see any betting on it. It's mad. I'll show you.
They must do it in some guise.
Must be some sort of
It's gotta
prize.
be.
Yeah.
Mad. There's hundreds of horses. And I went by car and I had to have a translator because I couldn't understand.
That's
and
right.
when we went to see a boy training his horse, he trains on a rope next to his dad against the car. So we're out the window on this rope going, come on, kick, and this little boy's going like this on this Mongolian horse. It's incredible. Yeah, I've had to work very hard actually to get a job in racing.
So it's the I was about to say the depths that some people go to, but no, listen, we'll maybe one day we might be able to be brave enough to tease that out of you, because it is great.
We could show just the bit of the race from my documentary.
Can we not see the bit where you're on the tent with the fire?
No, because I'll see what I mean by it. It's the only bit he wants to see. It's when I'm well conditioned, sat in a tent with blonde hair down to my knees, looking like
It was brilliant, and it shows you that if you put yourself out there, and what an experience that must have been, the Mongol Derby. But it is the big derby coming up. Let's get some socials on the screen. Dan Walsh is telling me there's one ready to go. There's your official result. Magellan then, Gosden's off the mark. I think Live the Dream will make all in the dash. He is a front runner and has plenty of speed. But this is all right, we'll get to that in a second, Mark, because we've got to give the floor to Barry now, because this very progressive Adam West sprinter is heading the market just from Stone of Destiny, who was desperately unlucky in the race last year from memory. But Barry, you like this as well, don't you?
Yeah, he's gone up £15 for those 2 wins in Sandown and Chester, but you know, the 3-year-olds get the £7 allowance here. You know, I love a 3-year-old in against older horses early in the season. They too get the £7 allowance. Your man's back on and claiming again after Ryan Moore riding it in Chester last day. Kieran, he claims 5, or I think 3 or 5. 3 actually he's on now. He's 15-2. I'm going to back him each way on the sports book, where they're paying 6 places each way. So we're going to have 25 quid each way to 6 places on the sports book. And he's drawn 17 high numbers. For me, I think that's a positive. I think all the action will be there. Now, this is a race. I love the dash. I really, it was one of my favourite races of the year. Mockatail's going to be there. He'll be arriving late. He's some course record. Stone of Destiny has been the springer in the market, although I see he's out to 9 on the exchange now, but he was into 6 at one stage, and obviously he's £10 lower than when he was just touched off and only beaten over Lent and a quarter in it last year in 3rd. But Stone of Destiny 9.2, Living the Dream. Dusky Lord was put in favoured. Initially was a 6-1 chance. He got a solo that day he won in Newmarket. He's 10 on the exchange, 11.5 fine wine. T-Spirit not without a chance, 11.5. Mockatail 14.5, never runs a bad race here. Just another bottle, 15. They're all there. You know, it's going to be, it is what it is. It's the dash. It's brilliant. I love it.
It takes a minute to win it. It's the fastest 5 furlongs in Europe, isn't it, this?
Yes, the world maybe.
Maybe in the world, even Mongolia.
I think Musselburgh are giving it a run for the money. They've got like the clappers at Musselburgh. I can see the 5 furlong race.
It was
weather looks nice there, doesn't it?
Sprint. And a lot, actually, funnily enough, I don't want to go into it too much, but the politics of this, Musselburgh have just had the Sprint Cup up there, and here we are 5. It's a bit silly race planning, that, isn't it?
Oh, but look, they both got good fields.
Good. That's the counter.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't be afraid of it. Absolutely. Yeah. But this is a proper field, of course. Barry, with you, Mark Smith, and probably lots of you out there. Adam West, Sean Caran taking the one. He's got another one in there, Adam's.
Live in the moment.
I've actually had a little bit on him because your boy's on him, the Hitman.
Jason the Hitman Hart.
He's not my top pick, but I like Live in the Moment. Let's see what he says about him, because this chap last year was the horse that Adam West thought was going to take him to the next level, and they went to Maidan and that with him, didn't they? He basically should get a nice toe off fine wine, says Adam, and he needed the run when he last won at Goodwood. The only downside would be is getting rain. Neither of them want it soft, so they should get away with it fine. I've had a bit on him, but what caught my eye in this race, very much so, I was watching as the decks came in. The Greatest Showman snuck in on 8-3, and Sylvester de Souza got off Live in the Moment to ride Amy Murphy. He's having a very good time at the moment. Amy Murphy, winners over Jumps.
He does ride a lot for her, though, doesn't he?
He does, and he rides this horse as well. Now, this, as I said to someone this morning as I was coming on, or maybe one of the producers, I can't remember, I think it was me and Dave Lowe were talking about it. I said, no way is he the best sprinter in this race, but he's getting bundles of weight off everything. And if you go back to that second when he ran in what I would call the trial for this, during the April meeting, he ran an absolute belter. He won't mind the ground whatsoever. He's seen support. He's in 15. Which is fine, I think. And I'm amazed that I'm tipping him in this, but I honestly think he's going to go really, really well. So it's the Greatest Showman for me. Well named, obviously. And let's go. You've got a nap in this, haven't you? I asked you if you were completely mad earlier, before, because you're napping in the dash, but you come into it on a quick double with the trophy sitting very close to you.
Poised and ready to make my case. Totally see the fascination with Living the Dream. Yeah, look, of course, he was, he could just be a little bit high in the handicap. Brilliant wins at Sandown and Chester. Just on the bottle, surely's got a right chance. Blaze his way up the centre of the track. That's how I see it happening, Dave.
Yeah, like it.
Right in the middle, as good as ever this year for the Kevin Ryan yard. Of course, Mocketeer won this last year, but my nap, is King of Stars.
Didn't see that coming, Nat Green.
Nobody did. I think it's because that 2-month absence, I hated it last time I was there, and it caught my eye that day. And when I see a horse in the flesh, I'm at the track, because loads to like. It was a perfect prep run. Dave, he was 4th of 9th, so you're probably thinking, what's she on about? But had quite an awkward start. You can't have an awkward start in a 5-furlong race.
He's
Disaster.
a trailblazer as well, isn't he? Yeah.
What I think is at Haydock, he showed blistering speed before he just got himself tired late on. I think he'd be on point. I'm a big fan of Mick Appleby. I know you are as well. I think he absolutely knows the time of day. Yeah, he's ace. He's ace. Drawn is stall 20. What I want to happen, Dave, is I want him to blitz down under the stand rail and win.
Catch me if you can.
Or, I mean, we could go each way because it's like a massive price. But do what
is.
you want. Do what you want. Go each way to be safe. But that's how I see the race panning out.
And this is this is the one you're most excited about.
Yes,
today.
of course, massive price.
Didn't see that coming,
rapid
that
horse. It's so fast.
You'd love it for Alistair Orlinson if he got a big Saturday winner again after all he's been through physically. I was at Windsor when he came down that day.
Get that stand rail, just another bottle in the middle. That's how I see it all going.
Yes. Now, just another bottle in one. So there's pace all over the track, isn't there?
I'd say all the big paces are high numbers for me, though.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Even when who was it that won from stall 1 recently in this? G, can you help me out here? Whoever it was, it was Ornate, made all from stall 2, one of the fastest horses from the gates on his day. Caspian Prince won from stall 1. We are talking about front runners there, G, aren't we? And they all usually tend to get out and migrate their way. You see some horrible hard luck stories in this race, don't you? Of course, we have one heading the market at the moment who was last year, I think.
But what we were talking about yesterday, remember Ross Ryan was on board with a car, just gonna. Oh yeah, we were the one that came third, the Dave Loughnane horse. For owners, what we talked about just before.
No. Who?
Sorry, I'll come back to it. But anyway, and then we were talking about Ross Ryan in dreadfully drawn in stall 12, the horse.
Yes, and pinged out Commander Straker, wasn't it?
Thank you, Commander Straker. And I said, don't worry, Ross Ryan is absolutely on it, straight over, boom, it was perfect. So you can.
What's for dinner says I don't think we'll be able to get that because there's loads of emojis on it. But what's for dinner who regularly comes in? One for the bookies this race.
Yeah, no surprise that the bookie in the room thinks this is one of his favourite races of the year, is it? It's a very difficult race. And I thought there was loads of pace high, and I thought that, what's the horse called? Stone of Destiny would pick them up.
Now, I had a feeling you were going for this, chat, and he did run in the race last year, didn't he?
Should have won last year.
Yes, that was a horrible watch for anyone that was on him.
Yeah, the problem
What's the case this year then?
The problem is the same could happen again, of course.
Well, exactly.
Yeah. You know, they're going to go bonkers up front and he's going to need luck. But if he gets luck, I think he'll win. He's £10 lower than last year.
That's the big thing, isn't it?
He would have won last year and he's carrying 102. Now he's running off 92.
Do you know what I thought was quite interesting in this race as well? I don't know if anyone else has noticed it. There's only one course winner in the race. Usually you see lots of Epsom specialists in the race. Only one of them has managed to win at the course. And every time I see him on this show, he tends to go very good. He's last year's winner. Mocketeer. He's the only
He's an amazing record. I think he's 4 from 5 at the track.
It's ridiculous. And Harry Davis takes the ride. He's in 9. He'll be trying to do the weave through running. But every time he runs on this show...
And laid out for this race as well.
100%. He's off a mark of 87. He's still somehow...
He's only a couple of pounds... When you take the claim in, he's only a couple of pounds higher than last year.
And yet he has won this season, isn't he? You know,
an interesting one for me is T-Spirit. One of Beverley and Nottingham.
Yes.
Adrian Nichols. He won this for his father.
Man.
Like, this is a race that his father had great history with. When you look through some of the winners that Dandy Nichols fire up the band.
Oh, man, he was a great horse.
Rudy's pet.
Yeah. Was that Kevin Keegan's?
Favourites.
He used to train for Kevin Keegan, didn't he?
Yeah.
So Pirate, of course. Pirate, he used to call him, Bamian Pirate.
And Beverley can be rapid, can't it?
It's just, again, he's another front runner, isn't he? I think.
He'll be on the pace. Yeah, he'll be on the pace. But and now he's training. Like, obviously he's rode the winner for his dad, and now he's training them. So it'll be great to see.
Social agrees, let Ever Carty, because there's a great socials yesterday, comes on and says T-Spirit for me. It's a funny race, this, guys, isn't it? This is the proper Dodgems race out there. Blink and you miss it. But isn't it a compulsive puzzle to try and solve? We all think we've got the winner. Living the dream. But Barry, last year's unlucky Stone of Destiny for G-Rod. King of Stars, shooting for the stars.
Only I would nap in the dash, but it's brilliant.
Of course you would, absolutely. And I'm going for the Greatest Showman. I have to remind myself I'm doing it, but SDS in this race will do for me. So where are we all drawn? That's the question, isn't it? Fine Wine's going to go forward. We know that Dusky Law's going to go forward. So again, You're
living
drawn
the
right
dreams.
next to each other, like you're sitting on the show at the moment, 17 and 18.
Nat's
Barry.
going to give me a nice lead.
Nat's not far off you in 20, and I'm slightly further towards the middle as well. So we can't wait for this. I've got memories of watching this, and it's a disaster to watch if you're trying to find your horse.
Yeah.
When you're actually standing on the rail, you're like, literally, even with my eyes.
Well, and of course.
Oh,
That's impossible.
Horrible,
Impossible,
isn't it? Yeah, very much so.
There's actually a
now,
road on the course, isn't there?
you won't be able to hear it because I'm the only one with an earpiece, but I'm thrilled to say, after a stunning performance yesterday, oh, blimey, Lee, where are you? Are you by the bins again? I don't think the guy's going to be able to hear you, but I can hear you, Lee. Are you with us, our senior reporter, Lee Mottershead, on track?
I am. Yeah, I'm indeed with you, Dave. But I'm actually out on the front, looking out at the grandstands, and it's glorious.
Oh, man, are you still alive after Emily Upjohn yesterday, Lee?
It was difficult. I've got to say, I was watching it from right up on the roof next to snipers, so I felt sad. But as she went past the post, I did think she'd been bobbed out of it. But you still have that as a punter, that 30, 60 seconds until the judge comes to the verdict, when you're still hoping that maybe your eyes had deceived you, but they hadn't. Having said that, I was watching the race again last night when I was finding the piece, and I did think, Tuesday's come from basically the same position at the bottom of Tattenham corner. So although obviously Emily Upjohn had the nightmare at the start, I don't think Tuesday was an undeserving winner, even if Emily Upjohn was an unlucky loser.
And that's why you do your job, because you're the most balanced writer we've got out there. Tell us about it. Absolutely. And Lee sent me a message after, said, man, I feel for you. He goes, I'm going to have a sugar in my tea, which is very Lee. And now that you've calmed back down, give us a bit of colour from the track.
Well, I mean, there's tremendous atmosphere here today. I've been out on the hill for an hour or so to file a piece. And of course, for the last 2 years, the hill has been completely empty with nobody here at all in the middle of the track. And it is that middle of the track that really is the visual of Derby Day. You don't want to see an empty hill on Derby Day. And there are people here as well today. You've got a big enclosure within the hill for families that's proving really popular. But you've also got the things you always expect on Derby Day. So I spent 1 minute walking along the market stalls, and you go from one stall that's advertising the open air mission with pamphlets on the afterlife, and is life really worth it? You go from them to a stall that's called Faking It on Tour, and then you get to Romany Rose, who has a stand outside that's appeared on TV Country File with interviewed on Radio 2 by Ed Stewart. So there's all those things you always expect. It's reassuring.
Oh, Lee's in. Wi-Fi's just gone a little bit, unfortunately. Are you still there, Lee? Oh, we've lost it. I was just about to ask him about the ground. Lee, are you still there? We thought this yesterday.
I'm here.
You're here! Yeah. Live TV at its best. You need to get by the bins again, man.
No, hang on. Hang on a second. I'm walking across. I'm walking across the media centre. I don't want to talk inside the media centre, because I'll annoy people. So I'm just walking through it is good telling this. I'm walking through the media centre, colleagues all around me, and I'm now going out towards the bins. Is Wi-Fi better by the bins, do you think?
You are a picture of clarity all of a sudden, you professional. You now, Barry Orr's with us on the panel in the studio. You probably saw yesterday. He's asking about the ground, Lee. Listen, I asked you first thing this morning, was it torrential? What was it? It's very intermittent, wasn't it? We can't really work out the ground from the Times either. They want to come on the rail, they want to come up the middle. It's baffling us.
Yeah, and it is baffling. I think the thing is, it's not as bad as it might have been. When we had when we had the potential for all that rain overnight into the morning, I think we were wondering, would this be a really testing ground derby? It's not that, but the jockeys don't seem certain where to go. I think what we can say with some certainty is that we won't get the first stand-side derby. I always think one of the weird things about this great race is that you go to a year at Epsom, there are tons of days when they come central stand side of the home straight. That never happens in the derby, partly because they bring the rail down the far side, so jockeys have got further to go. But I don't think we're going to get that. So I think visually it will look a normal derby.
Yeah, we mentioned that earlier, Lee. We were saying, could that possibly happen? Right, you were floored with Emily Upjohn. Come on, betting boots on again. 2022 Derby winner. Drum roll from Lee Mottershead.
Well, it could be even worse today, Dave, because I've backed Desert Crown anti-post. So I am all over the favourite. I backed him on Guineas weekend when he was a very big price. He's now not a very big price, and I'm just hoping I don't put the mockers on this one because I really do fancy him. I think when you listen to Sir Michael Stout talking about him, he sounds unusually bullish for Sir Michael Stout. I think he sounds like he thinks this horse is going to win the Derby, and I just hope he's right.
Yeah, we're with you, Lee. I think most of the panel agrees with you as well. I think you've got more chance of being hit by lightning than lightning striking twice with Emily Upjohn again. Lee, it's been great to have you on the last couple of days. Just a reminder, on Monday afternoon, you'll be launching your new show, the editorial, The Front Page.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do this every Monday. It will be a Racing Post programme that looks at the big news stories from the previous week. We'll debate those news stories. We'll have differences of opinion. We'll try and provide some commentary and analysis to what's going on. And hopefully it will be entertaining and informative. So, yeah, from Monday, Day, The Front Page.
I'll be tuning in, man. Listen, Lee, thanks for joining us so much. Good luck with your typing. Can't wait to read it around about 6 p.m. Thanks, Lee Mottershead. As he goes to find some more Wi-Fi.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, he's good as gold, and they don't have to do that for us, you know. He's the busiest man on track. You probably see that, Barry. Even busier than you, isn't he?
All those Racing Post guys are busy on track.
Yeah, it does actually happen. It does bear out, and you'll be delighted to know that he backed. What are you laughing at? What's funny? What have you done now?
Nothing. That was great. That was great. He just starts laughing.
Something's gone on the panel. We'll be finding out later, no doubt. Now, I don't want to worry you. Your professional reputation is at stake. Yesterday, Lee had a ridiculously big price about Emily Upjohn. He's got a ridiculously big price about Desert Crown.
Well,
Desert Crown.
Lee would love Desert Crown to win, because Lee is a romantic of racing, isn't he?
Yeah, indeed.
You know, he loves horses, he loves the story, he loves the game. You see, unlike me, like I love the puzzle. You know, I like the puzzle. Lee loves the race, and he likes the idea that Stout could have this great horse at his age. I mean, he's in his 70s now.
I think that resonates with everyone.
I
Doesn't it?
agree.
Unusually bullish for
loves-
Stouty, said Lee. And yesterday, you remember what he said on the show to us? He said, I've just walked down the steps with Gosden before the Oaks, and Gosden said, Lee, you've got to, he said, I'm on there. How is this massive filly? And he goes, you've got to watch out for that pesky Guineas form. And it nutted him on the line.
So, isn't that funny? He said that.
Lee knows what he's talking about, is what I'm trying to say. It was borne out. Great to have Lee there and go onto the track. And by all accounts, it's pandemonium
She
as it usually
was
is.
unlucky, wasn't she?
Oh,
Emily Upjohn.
hugely.
I felt sick afterwards.
Yeah, she was unlucky.
And
But interestingly, Lee was given the balance there. Said Tuesday came from a similar sort of parish. She didn't get
Yeah,
this
but,
decent filly, you know. And she's placed in Guineas, you know.
She finished
it's possible she slipped a bit as well because of her size.
If they
she's
met
so
in a match race
big
next time, Barry, what price Emily Upjohn?
Over what trip?
Well, let's say mile 4.
And Emily Upjohn would have to be odds on, wouldn't she?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kills
they
the
might,
trees
mate.
on
They're
it.
Trees
not-
on, kills
might they not both run in the Irish Oaks?
Potentially they could, yeah. I don't see why not.
Well,
But you know, Tuesday definitely will, anyway.
Probably is
Yeah.
the case, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
And John Godson wouldn't be adverse to taking one over to Ireland either.
He's won that
In
race
the
a few
Oaks,
times,
yeah.
hasn't he? Yeah,
Loads of times.
And game's on now for the Arcs. I
That's
want
the
to keep it
brilliant
nice
thing about
and
this flat
tuned
season,
and,
isn't it?
You know.
They
Just
now
keeps giving.
the rivalries will now be there.
Yeah.
Tuesday versus Emily Upjohn, Mark 2 will
Tell me,
be happening
Big gamble here. Mid-Winster.
for you know who.
9.8 now from 30.
We know him as the Yorkshire Speedmeister, Paul Midgley.
He's good.
He's really good.
He's red hot.
In Yorkshire, he just...
Yeah, and when the dough's down, as G-Rod was saying, good yard for when the money's down. They're smashing at the smithereens. One last day at Catterick. Before that had been third in Ripon.
Yeah, Yorkshire.
What's
This
he
is
off,
in those
84?
colours as well, isn't it? They've got some very good courses in Mitt when the money's down. It's usually mid-Winster, yeah.
Paul's
It's great-
just good with his sprinters.
We're on 13.
Who's riding? Is it Graeme Lee?
Yeah.
It's usually Graeme Lee when the money's down, isn't
Yeah,
it?
Graham's on.
We'll be trying to take a toe from King of Stars, Nat Snap, and My Greatest Showman as well. So that's the Springer in the race. Could even go off favourite, Barry, could it?
Potentially, yeah.
On the exchange. It's not that far off, is it?
No,
In
it's
fact,
not
they're
far
vying.
off, actually.
Wow,
Well,
neck and
Living the
neck
Dream
favourites.
is still 8.4 on the exchange.
Okay, all right. We are less than an hour away from the 2022 Cazoo Derby running the memory of Leicester Piggott. Who will the great man be looking down on? Will it be Desert Crown? Keep building them up. We've got plenty of time. The poll is out there as well. Loads of votes in the poll on YouTube as well. Who is going to be the 2022 Derby winner? Will it be Desert Crown, Stone Age, Nation's Pride or other? Let us know. Vote. We'll be putting that up around about 10 minutes before the race. We are nearing, but we've got the dash coming up. Blink and you miss it. This is going to be a very funny commentary, I think.
Oh,
Can I just break something as well? The Queen has had a winner at Worcester today.
Oh, brilliant.
Excellent.
Oh, good.
I believe Hendo trained it. People out there that are watching all these different things will
That's
know
nice.
that.
I know she's watching it on the box this year.
She'll be at home this year,
and
won't she?
Derby, but she needs to rest a little. She's got Ascot coming up and busy time for her with the platinum.
She won't want to miss
Jubilee.
that. Platinum, get it right, absolutely platinum.
She's amazing,
service.
isn't she?
Flatsy Jube, as they call it.
Platy, yeah.
Yeah,
Platy
Platsy Jube vibes. Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
saw
right.
all that all over
Platsy
social
Jube
media. I was
vibes.
like, Platy
Oh, I quite like that, actually. I think it's pretty cool. Great to have you watching. His numbers off the charts today, as expected as it should be for the Derby show here. We've got Barry Orr in the studio. Natalie Green is the insufferable queen. And we've got the big bear. You need a winner, man. You're saving it. You'd like
This
the
side
strong
of the
finish.
table could do with a winner.
Yeah, Barry and I were given the big build-up and we haven't delivered yet.
It's more the battle of the brutals than the heavyweights.
Absolutely. It's a slow motion slogfest, isn't it? Wild punches going all over the place. When one lands, look out. All right, great stuff. Let's get some more social interaction going on. Are we finally going to get these horses? We've got 3 minutes to be off. The loading process here will be insane. What a beautiful look at the start.
Yeah,
there.
doesn't that look lovely? That I love
Beautiful
these
trees
drones.
around the start down there. Madness.
The
And like I
trees
said,
just whooshing in the wind. All these horses, the excitement. They must be getting,
when you're there and you're trying to
revved.
watch this, it is, unless you're on one of the front runners, you basically need to stand to the person next to you and go, what happened?
And I know people at home can't see his picture, people listening in, but Midwinter, the big Gamble, looks right on his toes, ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, he ran.
Down at the start, he's like, yeah,
Paul
come on,
Mitchell's
bring
won this
it
twice.
He likes to be up with it.
Bring it on.
Well, again,
The pace is on the stand side, isn't it?
it is. It is.
Yeah.
You've got just
Although
another
you've
bottle
just another bottle over there.
and Dusky Lord, but I think they're going to try and
Fine
congregate.
wine will go.
Kevin Stoughton does not want
It can be like a concertina, this race, because they go terribly hard and they kind of come like that. That's why.
They meet in the middle.
Yeah, meet in the middle, and it can be carnage, like
They're
it probably
starting
will
to
be on
load,
the
which is
exchange.
positive.
All right, let's get it up. It's such a popular race, this. Good luck wherever you are playing. What's the liquidity for this, Barry?
8.6 now.
Is that Midwinster?
600,000 is matched in it so far. 8.8 Midwinster, and it's 8 Living the Dream. So
Wow.
Wow, yeah.
8.6. Potentially it could go off favourite.
Not a great race.
9.6
favourites,
fine
this.
wine,
Amazing.
again, tracking support.
Okay, that's interesting. Only one outright favourite in the last 10 years. Can you remember who trained it? Duke of Firenze.
Oh, Dave Griffiths.
He had him at his most famous, I think, Duke of Firenze, but he was originally
Why
trained
you
by
him before that?
Yeah.
Stouty.
Yeah.
So Michael Stout won the dash.
Ryan Moore.
He's what a champion earlier. It's mad.
Is that the Cheveley Park? No.
Well, I think it might have been Cheveley Park, Duke of Firenze, back in the day, didn't it? Let's have a look. Let's go back. Yes, it was.
Yeah,
Yes, it was.
It was
All
good.
good.
It was
Straight
good dam,
in
wasn't
produces
it? What was the
Himalaya.
dam? The dam
Yeah.
was good as well. Can't remember.
What of? Oh, come on, do me a lemon. I can't get that.
It was good.
You're not expecting a lot on Derby Day. The
No,
Dasher
Oh,
Baby
absolutely.
The
The
dam
dam
was
was
really good.
Nanina.
Nanina, yeah.
Yeah, I like
she
everyone's
was
going to
good.
know that one,
Gee.
G. All right, good luck wherever you're playing. Few last time out winners this, but only one course winner in the race. It is Mockatil. Could he pull it off? I don't think I've seen any back-to-back winners of this, that's for sure. But oh yeah, Caspian Prince. There you
Caspian
go.
Prince.
Won it 3 out of the last 4. Dave Orton.
It's exciting, isn't it?
Are you going to call this one?
Yeah.
I know you covered the chair.
Don't be
But you
so
pulled out of the commentary after about 4 lengths because you started getting excited that you were going to win the race. You can't do that if you're going to commentate. You've got to be impartial, which I always am.
Yeah, which Dave is all the time.
Mine is up there, Midwinster.
flying.
Tone the Barone is up there as well. Dusky Lord coming. What's this in the near side? Look at
Tea
this. This is
Spirit,
living the
it's
dream,
flying.
isn't it? This is going to be this. Could this be the other one? Living the moment. It looks like it is, doesn't it?
It is,
This
yeah.
I'll tell
And
you
the
what, they're
cheek
not
pieces
coming
is
back
living
at the
the moment.
moment. I'm trying to
mine's
find
a
the
really
quality.
It's on in the middle. What's that?
Deep Spirit on the
Mountain
far
Peak has
side.
won.
It's Mockatil
Away.
coming. Mountain Peak has blazed the trail. Who knew he had this in him? Tea Spirit's coming
No,
back.
no, it's coming
Mockatil
back.
too early. Graeme Rodway. Mountain Peak is trying to get over there. Tea Spirit on the line. Tea Spirit
Spirit's
does it.
Oh.
Wow.
I've been a 101.
They could not live with them, could they? And the
their
moment
life.
you call it, hang on a minute.
The moment I called it, it switched.
Okay,
Well,
but
Barry
a bit of
gave a
technical gremlin,
right,
but we're back. Don't worry about that. And T-Spirit, if you've just lost us there, has just it's not a made all at all, is it? It's a broke well, led, headed 2 furlongs out, rallied, led again on the line because Mountain Peak.
Mountain Peak was clear with
I know a lot about Mountain Peak, and I've never seen that early speed in him. Wow, that's the fastest you'll ever see anything go in a 5 furlong race. And Tom Marquand must have thought he had it for Ed Walker, who's of course looking for that star since Starman went off to start. Nothing else got into it. Mockintil's run another blinder, Barry.
He has. That's his track, isn't he? And the faster they go, the better it is for him. But what price?
When they look like they might be coming. Some people said, could this go 3-1? That's not going to happen, is it?
I don't think so.
No. All right. Okay. Shall we give the floor to
One thing
Rob?
about that as well, though, SP. Like, does anyone really care what's returned SP anymore? Like, punters not going to betting shops anymore and write fav.
No.
It's more about the drift, isn't it, on a horse? I think sometimes. How low did he go in the anti-post market, this chap?
Oh, God, he was a 5-2 chance at one stage.
Never under 2.
Do something really, really special.
He glides.
He does. He's just he's an athlete. His legs, his flexions, everything about him extends properly. Like he's just naturally athletic.
So what has to happen from stall 12, G-Rod?
Well, I think if I, because obviously I've ridden in lots of derbies. If I was riding a race, I would be looking to. I'd be looking to take a midfield position.
How much money would I have to imagine us for in a 5 furlong sprint, and we were given these old horses to go
couldn't
on?
get me.
What do you reckon?
People have tried to pay good money to get G-Rod to go to stables, and he's swerved it so far.
You could not pay me
You could
enough.
ride my horse. He's big. You'd like him.
I don't know if he could take my away. Anyway, we're going to be in the midfield. We're going to be on the outside. We're going to go round Tatton Corner on the outside, and we'll come with a wet sail down the wide outside, like Workforce did all those years ago. And then nothing's going to see which way it goes.
Interesting.
That's how it goes in an ideal world. Now, of course, that's how Richard Kingscote dreamt it last night.
Yeah, affirmation, isn't it? He'll be dreaming it. He'll be playing it through his head, he'll make it happen.
Yeah, I mean that's what they say about golfers going into the final day of a major, isn't it?
Well, they see every shot.
The classic Rory and the Masters.
I'd say every jockey in the race has played out every possible scenario in their head.
Like if you've got a big job interview, I guess, for Joe Public or whatever, you don't really sleep the night before, do you? No. You see how it goes and all that sort of thing. He's gone over.
Then you go in absolutely shattered and don't get the job.
Stall 12 for the Derby favourite, we think is a good thing, right? Because we spoke about this yesterday on the show. They come out the gates and they immediately go right. It's not they hug on the rail. It's a unique start, and you can get chopped off on the inside. It's a bit of a chicane. Yeah. We were doing this yesterday, weren't we?
We were.
You need a bit of that. So stall 1 until Adliard done it, and indeed Tuesday yesterday was the coffin box, as we say. Stall 2 has never won the Derby. Is it time now? We've got plenty of time, and great to have you still with us out there. Let's really build up for the Derby now. The poll is out there. We've talked about the favourite. Barry is putting the trade on. Just talk through that trade again one more time, Barry, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I've backed Desert Crown, but we've set our own odds because you can back him now at 3.45 in the exchange, and he's 3.5 to lay, but we're looking to back him at 3.55. So that goes over into the lay section. The first lay box is 3.5. The second lay box is 3.55. I'm hoping we'll work our way up to that because there is money, like I said. Stone Age is 5.3 now, 8 Nations Pride, 11 Changing of the Guard, 12.5 Bisbadil. You're going to see plenty. This is a win market only. You're going to see money being attracted around some of those outsiders as well who are trading around the 33 to 1 mark, Westover and Nahani. Royal Patron's an interesting one of 46 as well. So I'm hoping we'll get matched around. I can't see it getting much bigger than that now, if I'm being brutally honest. If he does, something's wrong. Like if he gets bigger than that, he's a lad or a sweater. He's not taking the prelims well or something that we're not seeing.
Right. Are they going to... most of the jockeys when they've driven it last night would have seen the Aidan O'Brien gunning one from the front. We see that every year in the Derby.
What one do you think that's going to be?
I think it's going to be Changing of the Guard.
So do I.
I think they're going to gun him from the front. They're trying to do a serpentine. They're going to try and steal it off the front.
Would they let him get like first-time cheek pieces? Are they going to let him get a soft lead? And there's some rags in here as well that the prelims could blow their brains and they just take off with their jockeys.
I think
we'd all
agree
isn't he, Training with the Guards? He's got the speed.
Lots said about pacemakers these days, aren't there? Back in like 10 years ago, you'd see pacemakers in derbies, didn't you? It was madness.
Yeah.
And a lot of them from the aforementioned Ballydoyle firm. But with no United Nations in there, I mean, they've got 3 going for them.
Yeah, Changing the Guard can go forward. There's no doubt about that. He doesn't have to lead mine, but I don't know. The thing I have about Aidan O'Brien in this race is, without a shadow of a doubt, and we've spoken about this before, Luxembourg was their top 3-year-old colt. That there was no argument there. That was not for debate. Luxembourg was their 3-year-old colt for the season. They were talking about Triple Crowns from, as I famously said in the show.
Yeah, we remember that well.
Is there cream pie under the table there that he can hit me in the face with?
Well, listen, he's had them all, I'm afraid.
And then all of a sudden the trials come along and they're winning the trials left, right and centre.
Yes. Okay, so...
Are they any use, those colts? Like if Luxembourg is so far ahead of the rest of them, are they all champions? Is there a stable full of champions then in Ballydoyle this year? I don't think so.
No, probably not. He was the one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we heard from Aidan. I talked to him on a feature show, and he said autumn campaign now for that chap. But Stone Age last time at Leopardstown.
The Darrenstown. Well, what used to be called
the Darrenstown.
relentless, the
Derby
Gallop.
trial now.
Yeah.
He didn't half forget, but that was from the front, wasn't it?
Gallop was
Yeah, but
relentless.
the race wasn't much of a race.
Has he been fairly easy to back, Stone Age?
No, he was a 4-to-1 chance steady, and he's 5.2 in the exchange. So he's rock solid. I have no doubt about that. But when you look at the form of the Leopardstown Derby trial, I don't think there was much in it at all. I don't think it was a decent race.
Well, it probably wasn't, but he was expected to win it on the market. It was very long odds on, wasn't he? But he won it in the manner of a...
He was very good. I mean, I had
He
it
was
as,
good.
as the clear second best trial for the race behind Desert Crown. But yeah, it wasn't a great race, but you can't do any more than win it.
The horse that he beat, Glory Days, Kevin Blake put him up on the Betfair podcast, the Racing Only Better podcast, at 200-1, and he's into 66 now for Andy Oliver and Ronan Whelan. But yeah, that is why. I have no doubt about that. But I don't think that's good form. Like beating Glory Days, French claim.
And who's he by? He's Cotai Glory, isn't he? He's a sprinter.
Glory Days is Cotai Glory, yeah.
That would be just about the most bizarre sire of a Derby winner.
It'd be weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but we do see with the genetics. I was speaking to Kitty Trice, who's our Bloodstock Supremo, who has gone for changing the guard with this, along with our social media manager. Changing of the guard, Ben Blackmore just thinks will maybe lead all the way. First time cheek pieces on him. Rule of the world they did that with, didn't they? When cheek pieces all of a sudden became, well, not fashionable,
This
but
didn't look like a horse that
accepted.
needed cheek pieces.
That was weird, wasn't it?
That's what everyone said on the show this morning.
Oh, did they? Yeah, I thought it was a weird one.
And DJ, because me and DJ, this is our best each way bet of the Derby, change of the guard. He just sort of seemed to say what he'd heard is just literally just to try it on the day, because why not? Because it's
Yeah, but
the
they don't
Derby.
do things like that.
I know.
Aidan O'Brien is a master of
So
attention
why
to
has he got
detail.
cheek
So
pieces
I'd say
on?
this horse has worked in cheek pieces or some form.
Yeah.
He's worked in cheek pieces, and I'd say they think it's definitely going to elicit improvement
Eke out
from
a
him.
bit more improvement.
But he's not
That's
got
what
a
they
very
want.
good record.
Or either that, or they just don't want them. They just want them tunneling off in
make all
front and
go,
just bang.
and not be
6
caught.
winners from 64 since 2017 with runners in first-time cheek pieces, Aidan O'Brien, so just 9%. It's quite a poor record. However, second-time cheek pieces, it's actually very good. I think we had this discussion about a year ago when Barry really fancied that horse of Aidan O'Brien's that is now fancied for the Gold Cup this year.
Kyprios.
Kyprios.
Yeah.
And they stuck cheek pieces on that for the Lingfield Derby
Well, he did look a
trial.
bit doggy, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's a bit of a headbanger, that horse, but go on.
But they're really good second time out. It's something like 30%. Second time cheek pieces, 9% first time. This is why we had this discussion about this time last year, Dave, where I said to you, can you ask Aidan if he actually trains them at home in the cheek pieces before he
tried
sends
them and
them?
then, yeah.
Because it was so poor first time out and so good second
Normally
time out.
do.
And second time out is both of his Derby winners, when they wore cheek pieces, was Serpentine and Ruler of the World. They both were wearing them second time out.
That's interesting.
So I don't know why that is. Aidan did actually say, don't be so ridiculous. Of course, we raced them in cheek pieces, didn't he? At home.
Tried them beforehand.
He said, of course, we tried them
Yeah,
beforehand.
because if they don't like them,
Yeah.
Well, John Gosden's always been. He's always obviously that American style of training. You know, that breeding grade. He's always thought that we're a bit snooty about headgear, isn't he? Always.
But Adam Ryan, Kevin Ryan's son, said they don't work them in cheek
That
pieces.
baffles
They
you.
just
didn't
tried them
it?
for the
They
first
just-
time
they
on
would
track.
stick them straight on
That-
track.
that-
and
and that-
Is that
really
off
floored you.
feedback from the jockeys who have ridden them before? Because could you have seen Ryan Moore got off changing of the guard in Chester and saying cheek pieces on him next day?
I don't think so. Do you?
It's a bit madness.
I don't know.
Obviously, he must have had input
Every
in.
trainer I've ever asked has always had cheek pieces on at home. They've always tried it in case the horse actually does bolts. Because if it likes them, everyone I know tries them at home first. But it's interesting that the Ryans
This is-
The
don't.
Ryans don't.
We're matched at 3.55.
We're matched. The
Quite
trade is
interesting,
matched.
actually.
All right. Okay. So before we give the tips, and I don't think there's going to be much conjecture here, really down them. But Nat's got a few interesting ones in it. Not yet. Not
No,
yet.
no. We're going through them all.
We're going to go down them and
Okay.
we'll give our thoughts
Pin
on this.
stickers guide, are we?
Well,
Yeah.
we're not maybe going to do the pin stickers. The one word is not the national. There's not 40 of them, but let's go down. I mean, number one is changing the guard. We've just been. How is he in the market now, then, Barry?
Yeah, he's currently 10.5 on the exchange and currently trading at 8 on the sportsbook. It's 4 places each way to each way punters on the sportsbook. Those 4 places,
Yeah.
so it's an additional place there. 8 to 1. It seems an eminently fair price, I think.
Going to need those 4 places potentially, I think. The form of the Chester Vase Stakes, G-Rod, at Chester, there's a horse called Savvy Victor who's beaten 12 lengths. He's since come out and placed in fair company, isn't he? Why cheap pieces? We're just saying this. Is he on your radar for the top 3?
Well, the horse that he beat in the Chester Vase was the Godolphin horse.
Oh, he was the Great White Hope.
Yeah, the
New London.
Yeah,
New London.
They thought he was really, really good. They punted him like he couldn't get beat.
Yeah, he was
really
an odds-on
strong,
chance
wasn't
at
he?
it,
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
like 1 to 3. And Ryan rode a beauty from the front. And yeah, Savvy Victory was 3rd. I heard that Sean Woods really liked Savvy Victory going into that race, but again, that was a big step up for Savvy
Sean's
Victory.
horses are going really well again,
He's
aren't they?
been placed in listed race since 3rd.
So slightly easy to back, if you like. A lot of people saying he's drifting like a ball. Just watching Trotter Nichols there.
He's definitely a pace angle.
Great interview this will be if you're watching with Trotter Nichols, who's just won the dash, of course. Marvellous to watch. He's actually gone for his dad's haircut now as well, isn't he? He's really channeling the memories there.
Great tie as well.
SP of Aidan O'Brien's last 3 Derby
All
winners.
big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Serpentine
Serpentine was
25 to 1,
20, yeah.
only 25 to 1, and that was one of the weirdest derbies of all time. Anthony
Wings
Van
of
Dyke,
Eagles.
13 to 2.
Yeah.
Not Fav at all, was he? Despite the fact he won the Lingfield Derby trial.
Wings of
Fav
Eagles
that year was Sir
33.
Dragonet, who are now down under, of course, and or was unfortunately ill-fated. And Wings of Eagles,
40,
Podre Beat,
33.
40 to 1. So don't let the price put you off.
Flew home.
You know, they just tend to break your hearts in these classics. That's the other thing to say as well before we go down the rest of them. How many classics has he now won?
41.
41.
Yeah.
Are you
Not bad,
mad?
is it?
There's been
Winning
like a-
most trainer in the history of horse
Since
racing.
he won his first, there's
Classics.
been 120 classics, and he's won 40 of them since his first in '98.
Yeah, and he's not finished yet. There's another 15, 20 years in it.
Exactly. He's just a hero, isn't he? All right, that's changing of the guard. Number 2,
Yeah,
Graeme Rodway.
this would be his 9th victory in the Derby, Aidan, would it?
Oh, good question. I
mad,
should
isn't it?
know this. All right, number 2 is Desert Crown. We've all spoken about him. I want to get a word from Nat on this chap and Richard Kingscote and the draw and everything like this and the price after Barry gives us where he is at the moment.
Yeah, he's 3.6, so he's on the slide. I thought I was being clever backing him at 3.55. I didn't think he'd get much bigger than that,
an
but he's
easy match.
3.6 now. 5.3 Stone Age, 8 Nations Pride is very strong. 10.5 changing of the guard is strong. Pisbadil strong at 12.
Nat, I want you on Desert Crown Watch.
Yeah.
Crown
yeah.
Watch.
Okay.
Can we say this?
Crown
You're watching
Watch.
the Crown.
Crown Jewels you're watching.
You're
watching
watch
the
look for the
Crown
Crown Jewels.
Jewels.
We were on Upjohn Watch yesterday because we wanted to see about a 10
Yeah,
million.
and she was amazing in the preliminaries.
She's like a no good
Everything
blown
I was-
candle.
everything I was
Did you see
worried about,
Frankie
she was-
going like this? Did you see as he was coming out on track to the
Yeah.
crowd? I
Yeah.
saw a tweet with that as he was coming out.
I
Went
like
down with the red hood, didn't she?
Yeah, she did, but
Yeah.
there was...
Do you know, there was only 2 that didn't have the red hood on, 2 or 3.
was
They
there-
all,
They
yeah,
were all Ballydolls, weren't they? I think they didn't have the hoods.
yeah, they all wore the red hood. It was weird.
Yeah.
There's only about 2 or 3 that didn't have it on.
Did they make that public beforehand, what's wearing a red hood? going
They
down the
do.
start?
Yeah, you do have to
I
say.
think it's on the
'cause then-
BHA website. I think it is. I've
Yeah.
got a
To
feeling
the
you can
public,
find
like,
it there.
the
if
Joe
you-
public,
You've
and they
got to search for it.
Really?
You know, it's not made wearing... No, they don't tell you, by the way, your horse is going to be wearing a hood down to start. None of
Although
that.
it's maybe not that important, is it?
They're only
No, 'cause it
they're
has to
red
be off,
so you
doesn't it,
can
before the
so
start,
you can
so-
see them. isn't it?
Distinguish, yeah.
Number 2 is Desert Crown. Let's get some social love up. Anyone out there for Desert Crown, or are we going to be throwing a curveball? Let's have a little look. Nahani each way, says PI Network, the stayer in the race. We'll get down to him. He is, of course, the Blue Ribond trial winner, coming from number 6.
Last
Adam
year's
Kirby.
winning
Kirby.
Lot of Adi memories. Number 3, El Habib. More money than sense, these owners, said Paul Keeley this morning. Nat
He
Green.
did, but we're not talking about Nahani.
No, we're going to go to El Habib.
Why would you go to
Because
that?
going down number 3 is. I'm going to talk about Nahani when it comes to it.
Why'd you give
Good
me
horse beat him in Newmarket.
that? El Habib, you honestly tell me about that?
No, we're going.
He's
we're
no
going-
chance,
He's got
Ottoman
no
Fleet
chance.
Leader.
He's
Right,
got-
no, just say no chance then.
Well, okay, well, the problem is he weakened and hung left quite bad last time as well.
We
so-
were all impressed with that. Like he's a fair horse, that Ottoman Fleet. I've no doubt about that. But obviously, this is a social runner. Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
You want to have
Yeah.
owners and training. You want to have lunch with the owners and trainers on everything.
Of course, it's
Come on, we'll pay
Mohammed
the
Quite pricey.
60
Khalid Al-Durahim.
Yeah.
expensive lunch.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
absolutely,
the
quite
training
right.
fees as well. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is it does so.
Michelle Roux Jr. doesn't cost
This
that
is some
much.
of the dead wood I was talking about. Not but you know, Epsom. The
Absolutely zero chance. All right.
I don't think so.
I want to. Barry said that Blakey put up a glory days. Can you imagine if Andy Oliver and Cottai Glory, Graeme Rodway won the Derby?
No, I don't think he can with the Derby, do you?
Just
No,
71
he looked
for a
up
reason.
pace, didn't he?
It's 5.5 lengths to find with Stone Age. One's a 4-1 chance and one was a 200-1 chance.
Yeah,
that was
so
the play. Like it was an each way play from me. He was putting
Yeah.
it up. It was 4 places,
Yeah.
200-1, have a 5 each way.
Blakey's got a bit of credit in the back pocket, hasn't he, with these big shouts. Grand Alliance second in the Blue Ribond trial
Yeah,
to the
coming out
aforementioned Nahani.
Probably handicapper, isn't he?
I'm surprised they're running him here. I mean, well, maybe I am. I mean, it's Paul Roy, isn't it? Former chairman of the BHB.
Yeah,
Probably a social runner.
just handle the track.
Yeah, there's a nice day in him. I
Lot
thought.
to find.
Yeah, is he in a Royal Ascot Grand Alliance? Danny Tudhope takes a ride for Charlie Fellows. Charlie's one of the great guys out there. He's in the King Edward Stakes, isn't he? Of course, that's where I thought he probably would go. Number 6, Hu Ya Mal for the colours of. Who was Tom Marquand's second in the Derby a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
Oh, what was it
Oh,
called?
massive price. Yeah.
Everyone's shouting out, but the Probes is on this from stall 3.
Yeah.
Let me try and
Yeah,
find
who
that one.
Mal, he's consistent.
He was second to
but running.
Nation's Pride.
Yeah.
Khalifa
Nation's
Sat.
Pride, he's 7 lengths second to him in that Betfair Newmarket Stakes.
I wasn't sure about his stamina in the Derby, Hugh Yamal.
Well, he pulls hard, don't he?
Yeah,
he
but-
can pull hard.
But that's not good, pulling hard, coming out at
that
Epsom,
hill.
up that hill.
Khalifa Sat, yeah.
And
Khalifa
also,
Sat is the horse.
That's
I wasn't sure about his stamina.
It was behind.
Do you know, 3 of the last 5 winners of the Derby hadn't won coming into it. It's usually a race that you associate, isn't it? Well, 1-1-1, you know, that sort of unbeaten type thing, or a winner of a trial. But being placed in a trial these days is not so bad. Of course, Workforce was the first horse ever beaten in the Dante to go and do this. So that, look, Hu Yamal, he's got to improve a little bit, but he's got the ride, and these balding horses, they're honest as they come, aren't they? And the next balding horse, and now I want to come to you on this one, this Masakela. Also, you're a big fan of as a 2-year-old.
Yeah, I did like him as a 2-year-old. Yeah, he got beat by
Native
beaten
Trail.
in the, yeah,
Superlative.
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
And wasn't he beaten in the Chesham as well?
yeah, he was third in the Cheshire.
Third
He
to
won the
Point
Denford.
5th to Point Lonsdale. That was the day.
Lonsdale, yeah.
He's a horse I like.
He's a good horse, but isn't he great? He's a Group 3, Group 2.
I wondered whether
maybe
he was
best.
caught in no man's land a little bit. It was the
Best,
Fielden
yeah.
Stakes that he ran second in, wasn't it? Behind Aiden, who's not obviously able
Rogers
to make the
horse.
race. Yeah,
Yeah.
Rogers. Yeah, where's he in the market? Masakela under at Zaney.
50 in the each way market on Betfair, where it's 4 places.
I wonder if anyone likes him for the top 3s. We'll go down the panel for the top 3s. Now we come to Nahani. I'm a bit surprised there's not more love for this, I'll be honest with you.
What's
PI network out
nice
there.
about Nahani is, well, we know he handles Epsom as in
Course form.
course form, but I think he's just got a really game attitude. He's got a genuine, got a nice attitude about him. But I can't compare him to the others. He's just not in the same.
So he's worn blinkers, hasn't he? But his cheek piece is on today.
Yeah,
So
but
they're
he's
mixing it up.
game. He's game, isn't he?
I would have, I don't know, I'd have him shorter than 25
He's
to
a
1.
stayer, isn't he?
He definitely is. And this is the
He
other
hasn't
thing.
done much wrong.
No, he hasn't.
gonna
He's,
stay.
he's out of a
Once.
mile 4 winner. He was game that day, looked beaten. He
Well,
came
the
back.
start, didn't he, as well? Didn't go right, did it, at the start?
It was.
then?
Oh, that was the mighty Ulysses horse, wasn't it? Of Gosden's that sort of got lit up. Do you remember?
Yes.
He's a good horse, mighty Ulysses.
He's kind of similar to the horse that Curly rode last year, isn't he, Adayar? We knew going into the race that Adayar
Yes.
stayed. We knew
We
he
did.
was a solid horse. No Harney
And
is...
Curbs takes the ride. I'm
Passed over
surprised
by
he's
the
not a bit shorter.
Yeah.
So
Jockeys, yeah.
I could see the each way shout out there. Before we go
Yeah.
down the rest of the field, it will be Nation's Pride next. Let's get some more social love up. Will out there and the producer out there. What we've got coming up? Let's see who's in the. Right, okay, not quite ready for that. We're building them up as we go. So let's go to Nation's Pride. He's on a 5-timer here, this chap. He's been to Maidan. He's been supplemented for the race,
Yeah.
and he's the choice of Buick.
Yeah, I was impressed with him in Newmarket that day. He strode away from Hu Yamal, absolutely slooshed in, 7 lengths. I thought the further he was going, the better he was going.
Yeah.
Just he hasn't really caught the imagination, I suppose, because obviously New London was their Derby cult for a long time, and then when
Bubble
that bubble was burst in Chester, next of all, this guy put his hand up winning the Betfair Newmarket Stakes. He's a horse. It's very difficult to pick holes in what he's done. He's even gone and won in Maidan, which you'd nearly forgive him if he had got beat out there, and he comes and wins in
Their
Newmarket.
UAA derby.
Well, Massar was beaten in Maidan when he thrashed him.
Yeah.
They tried him on dirt, didn't they? Won in one of the Derby, of
But
course.
he needs to finish in the first 4 to recoup the money.
I'm not sure the owner's concerned about recouping supplementary.
He's got enough of it.
We had
a bit of it.
We had this discussion because when I wrote a piece about it, I said I wouldn't supplement him because I don't think he'll finish in the first 4. And if he don't finish in the first 4, then he won't pay for his supplementary fee. So for me, it doesn't make any sense.
I suppose after New London was beat, like you say, this was the chat. And apparently, when he did his last workout, they were like, where's the docket? We're paying the fee. He's the. I would say, Barry, would you agree that he's the proper buzzer in the race away from Desert Crown?
Yeah.
He looks it, doesn't he?
I do think they'll get their money back.
Is he going to stay?
Yeah, he's in. What, am I allowed to give it away? It's definitely on my short list. Are we waiting for that?
Well, you can.
Yeah, I've got 4 in my short list.
This is one of them.
This is definitely one of them.
Will Buick, who again,
I just think there's loads to like about him. Like Barry's already said, but that 7 lengths was impressive. He's won that UAE Derby in Dubai. He's been supplemented for it. It's quite a lot of like ticked boxes, aren't there? But it's going to be pretty ballsy of me because I like Nation's Pride, but I also like Walk of Stars. To have 2 Charlie Appleby horses in the top 4 might be a serious ask.
No, not the way he's
I'm
trying to
going
win.
for it.
I wouldn't let that put me off.
I don't know. What about people out there? Would you agree with that? I think it was almost seeing. Oh God! I mean, it sounds crazy.
Well, I've got those 2 in my top 4.
Charlie Appleby at one point last year was looking like wrestling the middle distance crown away from Ballydall at one point. I mean, they've got the start, obviously the Derby and the Frankel thing. There's the poll. Wow, we had 379 votes. It's the Derby time. That's up to a Grand National and Gold Cup time, isn't it? Desert Crown, you'll be thrilled to know the public are agreeing with you, G-Rod, and your professional reputation that is at stake. 40% of them believe that you will be borne out. Stone Age, so pretty much like the market, isn't it? Others for 18%. Not so much love for Nation's Pride out there. Again, it's the Derby, isn't it? So many times throughout the week you see people going, oh, tell us something away from the market, but it's hard to, on form.
It's hard, and this is, like I said, we had no superstar stand-up 2-year-olds, so we're going on these trial races, so we can only give you what we've seen and what's in front of us. We can't, do you know what I mean? Like, we are going on.
I think the public and racing professionals are begging for a new middle distance cult to emerge, aren't we? I know we've got Hurricane A.
A 3-year-old middle distance.
Yeah.
It's been a little while since we had a See the Stars type, isn't it? And like male, you know, and Abel was beating them all up. Whatever you made of that.
There is one in here.
Well, we know you think there's one in there. The king will be crowned. The desert.
Yeah.
And we'll have them all dry. Let's get some more socials on. I'm hearing they're coming up thick and fast now. Nedster joins us back. Nahani we already mentioned. And Westover for me. Desert Crown is a worthy favourite, though. Loads of people are playing it like that, Nedster, aren't they? And I thought 2-1 was about the right price for Desert Crown. So I think you can still back him if you're not on there. Oh, here we go. Now, are you ready? Andy Sims teasing you out of retirement here. My tricast is Desert Crown, Nation Pride, and Star of India.
Yeah.
Like it?
Yeah, because I'm just looking at mine on here. Yeah, I like it. I've got a little note actually for Star of India. Just pleasing at chess last month, but I just thought needed to prove a bit of stamina at this trip. So I wouldn't quite be with Star of India, but I'm loving your other 2.
Yeah, it's interesting. Star of India. You're looking down at his pedigree. He's out of a desert style, mate. It's not. I mean, he's Galileo, so you're going to be thinking that's where it's coming from. One more coming up. Yeah. Great one. That Kinky Cadet comes on and says Pisbadil, Stone Age, and Star of India. Pisbadil.
Well, that's next in your list.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
He's been a bit weak, hasn't he?
I wouldn't say weak.
In the last week or 2.
12 on the exchange.
Well, he's second favourite at one point, wasn't he?
Well, he was an 8-1 chance.
Is this the Ballysacks winner?
Won the Ballysacks, yeah. And the plan was to go for what was the Derrinstown, the race that Stone Age won, the Leopardstown Derby trial. Initially, that's what he said, and then on to Epsom. But he never made that race. So I'm just wondering, did something happen in between that they decided to go straight to Epsom?
We were told, the word here, I don't know if you got this as well, it was going around the post, that Aidan had encouraged Frankie to maybe have a look at Pisbadil. For Donegal, his son, because Frankie often rides one of the Andy Van Dykes, if you like, or the Snowfall wasn't, of course. What was her name? The thing that went off favourite in the Oaks last year, ill-fated filly.
Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara. Thank you, G. Didn't have you getting that straight away, by the way. That was 13-1 shot landed. Pisbadil. I think he's been. I didn't see him being 10-1 in this race. Let's put it that way. Frankie on. Especially with Frankie having won a race.
I just question why, like, after he won in Leopardstown that day, Donica O'Brien clearly said the plan is to come back here for the Derrinstown the Leopardstown Derby trial, and then on to Epsom. And they gave it a swerve altogether. He hasn't ran in 63 days. It's not ideal, is it?
Could be, maybe, yeah.
Are they just wanting to keep the dream alive?
Maybe.
Lots of people fancied this horse anti-post, including Robbie Wilder's our anti-postman, put this up. He's from the same family as Light Shift, by the way.
Yeah, they're purpley bred, all those horses from that yard. Or from that the Flaxman who used to be...
The Niarchos.
Yeah.
Flaxman Stables is the American banner, isn't it? Yeah.
But even the Buckaroo form has been let down. Now, Buckaroo franked the form in Leopardstown.
And probably didn't run his race in the Guineas.
And dropping back to a mile, and he ran no race.
It's not just him, though, is it? There's Duke of Cazoo was in that race as well, and he's
ran a stink in the Guineas.
Yeah. And he was beaten at Pisbardil by him as well. Look, he's an honest colt. This is a sort of old school Derby
I'd say
horses for me.
you'd put him into could be anything bracket.
Yeah, I think so, and it would, Donica. He hasn't got that many horses, Barry, has he? Like Joseph and
for him to unearth a live Derby contender at this stage it's a big deal.
And Frankie on, obviously, so we think Frankie was encouraged to have a little look at this chap, but that's why I'm just surprised.
I wouldn't dismiss him out of hand now.
No
way.
He's honest, isn't he? He looked beaten as well when Buckaroo came to him, and he
battled back and done him well, yeah.
You can't always do that at Leopardstown, of course. OK, you're looking at me like you want to break something.
No, I wasn't.
Pisbardil, where does he sit in Nat Green's list?
Yeah, I know. I feel really bad now because this morning on the show I was like, oh no, I just don't really see it as much as Pisbardil. But actually, that's not really the case. I think it's just because that Buckaroo form, I was just negative about that, and then I kind of went. I can see the appeal.
There are bundles of people watching you talking, by the way, Nat Green. It was great to have you with us. OK, we're going down the line, and we are at number 10. Right, number 11, I want to come to you, if you don't mind, Graeme Rodway, before we see what Barry and Nat think about Royal Patronage.
Yeah, of course, beat Caribas, didn't he, last year?
Yeah.
We were all watching it, weren't we?
Madness of a race.
I thought I was seeing the second coming. And then suddenly, Royal Patronage come out of nowhere and got back unbeaten. And,
the 101 gubbed.
Yeah, as it turned out, Caribas obviously has gone on to win the Guineas. And then last time he had the best form in the dance. He was the form horse going in.
He cruised through that,
and he went through the race. We all thought we were going to collect Dave. And then this absolute aeroplane appeared on the outside called Desert Crown and blew him away over the last couple of furlongs.
Excuse me, you all thought you were going to collect. I was on Desert Crown.
You were on Desert Crown, of course. Yeah, I forgot that.
You thought you'd be clever and put him up in the paper along with Keels and Tom Segal.
Yeah, we were on the form horse, and he is the one who gives the Desert Crown form the solid look that it has, because he is rock solid.
He's in stall 1, isn't he, under your jockey, and again, no problems with that at the moment.
He's a Group 2 horse, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's not a Group 1 horse.
I think he probably is. I think there's a.
You could argue he's a really fun each way bet.
He's a lovely
massive
horse.
Price.
I've got a lot of time
he
for him.
relaxed better at York, but you could also argue with the hoo-ha, the woo-ha, the big day. He's not always been a relaxed type. I know at York he was sweating before and things like that, but he relaxed into his race.
Course winner.
But yeah.
And a course winner, absolutely. Where did he? Yeah, remind me when he got that course win. When was it? It was
7 furlongs.
Off the mark, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a novice race.
At an evening meeting, I seem to admit, absolutely hosed up. But again, one of these Johnson horses that just keeps showing its true colours as they get more racing. And again, we're talking about glory days, having lengths to make up with, of course, Stone Age. He's got 4 lengths less than to make up with Desert Crown. I'm tempted to put him in my top 3 Royal Patronage.
He surely can't beat Desert Crown, Dave. Can
I'm not suggesting he will, but I think if you're
you're talking about a good each way at massive price.
If you're looking for your multiples or your exotic bets, or your places, he's overpriced. I think.
It'd be nice that he does need to.
They're out there parading now. They're out there parading. So I don't know how Desert Crown's taking it. Have you been on Desert Crown watch, Nat?
I'm looking.
She's looking. She's keeping her eye out. But
There you go.
Oh, he's like a lamb. Look at him. Ears pricked.
Yeah, he looks beautiful.
He's got a big neck, isn't he?
He needs
looks like a
to
swan.
be strong. Look, there's nothing wrong. You want them to be. He's got to be awake. He's not doing anything stupid, taking it all in.
He's
He's only the joint, isn't he? He's like, here I am, Cazoo, Cazoo, Cazoo.
You're getting excited now. I mean, we could do that for hours, couldn't we? But look, we're getting a bit excited because the favourite looked mustard there. Who's this going to be? Nahani. He's got the hood on and he's going to be larded up by the time he gets down to Kirby. Who else is coming down now? This is Nation's Pride. Also a little bit nervy.
Yeah.
On his toes
It's
a bit.
a big day, isn't it?
Nice looking horse again, though, isn't he? As you suspect. And Piggott will be taking
Who
him
we
down
got
like
next?
a pro. Who's next? We'll keep going down the cards a bit. Pisperdale here.
He looks well.
Under Frankie.
Yeah.
Looks well, Pisperdale.
Yeah, should be
Athletic,
royal
nimble
patronage.
type
It does
horse
look
he
nice,
looks.
actually.
They do it in race card order.
Yeah, they do them in
Unless
yeah,
they
So
have
They're all
Star of India,
dispensation.
who we're coming to.
Just as I say.
Who went that?
Star of India.
Who went then? Who was
Star
that?
of India, I think that
Yeah,
was.
this happened a few times at Cheltenham Festival, and Patrick Mullins.
One horse that can be key.
Here's Royal Patronage.
Royal
Here's Royal
Patronage looks
Patronage.
nice and
Look
calm.
at him.
He's quiet as a lamb as well,
Oh, I
isn't he?
love him. I just think he's such a lovely
They're so
animal.
professional always, the Johnston horse. They take it all in, don't they? They're
Look at that
real.
crowd as well, guys, like we said
Yeah,
yesterday.
it's great to
Crowd,
see.
yeah.
Now, hopefully, this horse, Sonny Liston, in the order, this is one that can pull too hard, surely. Sonny Liston.
gonna
can
be Sonny?
pull like a...
No.
No, it's top horse changing of the guard.
They've all gone out.
Number
Since
one's
Barry
coming
said
out
that-
last.
What's going
Well,
on?
he looks quite chilled out.
As
doesn't
soon
he,
as I
well?
said they come out in race card order, it all goes.
Yeah, it's all gone.
Wayne
Pete
Lawton,
Tong.
of course, who ran thoughts of doing from the front and fell in the hole, unfortunately, yesterday. A bit sweaty between his legs, but he's okay.
No, he looks good, doesn't he? Change the guard.
Pot luck.
And now,
Stone
look
Age.
at him again. Talk about chilled out.
Foaming at the mouth, Stone Age. but
Yeah,
it
I
looks-
like it. Look, he's a
well.
proper animal,
Looks
isn't he?
well,
Peter Brandt, of course, those very famous horses, arc-winning colours, won everything in America, basically. Again, I want to concentrate on him a little bit more after we've gone through them all, because he's not your typical Aidan O'Brien Derby horse, is he? And
Walk of
Stars.
Stars.
in the White Cap Walk of Stars, who is basically
well.
doing the Adyar route,
He's
isn't he?
interesting. This horse, I know you can't quite see it as much in pictures, but it's a big horse, this is. This is a brute of a horse. This is a big, imposing type.
Second in the Lingfield Derby.
Not good.
Yeah, no,
Debarwy, not good.
never won a derby.
Never won a
Debarwy.
derby. Debarwy's
never won a derby.
Well, he
It is imposing, though.
Kazoo. And he, again,
Massive.
Walker Stars is
Massive.
very much on his toes. Let's watch him as they
Yee-hee,
release
yoo.
two handlers, which means they're the edgier types. Looks all right to
on
me
a
as he's
tight
going
rein,
down
though.
there.
Yeah,
And the hood.
It's fine.
He's absolutely fine. Right, we'll continue to go down them. Great to have you with us. We're building up to the Derby. We're less than 10 minutes away. They'll be walking down to the start. The fever, you can feel it out there, absolutely. Wherever you are with your barbecues. Is the weather, what's the weather like out there? We were in here. It was supposed to be biblical at one point, wasn't it? But wherever you're watching, welcome along to the show. We've got some more socials up, guys, or are we? We have. Oh, blimey, they're coming thick and fast. And Jesus.
Star of India.
Star of India bolts up. The Chester winner, yeah, again, 3 starts, done very little wrong. Came on massively for that first one. Shamey Heffernan takes the ride. Aidan O'Brien, I spoke to him about him. He said he's an honest horse. Skid Row Joe, nice name, says Stone Age is going to get the run these into submission. You're expecting him to go from the front and under Ryan and try and dictate it. Now, I know that Serpentine got that freaky lead and went on, but horses don't make all in the Derby, do they?
I don't think Stone Age will. I don't think he needs to lead.
No, I think he'll take a lead off of changing the guard.
Look at this, kicker 16. Kicker, no, hang on, I thought it was a question mark. Kicker 167 says Grand Alliance for Paul Roy and one of
Good
the
luck.
good guys of the
Good
game.
luck with that
He's a
kicker.
brave man
all right,
kicker.
great
You can
stuff.
get 55
the numbers
on
are
exchange.
growing. Keep your socials coming in. You've got plenty of time. We're going to keep going down them though, because you know what will happen if we don't.
Where are we?
We're in a bit
We're
of
up to
trouble.
Sonny Liston, who can pull like a choo-choo train. I just think at Epsom, up that stiff
Tom Marquand.
hill to come out. I just think it's going to pull too hard.
Do you think
personally.
Tom would have had a couple of choices to ride some different horses in this? Chelsea Thoroughbreds have got him, of course.
Yeah, Chelsea Thoroughbreds, the Big Bear, own this one. So I don't know if they named that after me. Probably not.
Highly unlikely, but we will do a tenuous link for you. Sonny Liston, the anti-postman, has put this up along with Pisperdale, Robbie Wilders.
Yeah.
Said he was a big eye catcher that day. Doesn't always
Now,
work
before
out,
he
does it?
ran the first time this year, Charlie Hills was saying he thought he was a really nice horse, and then he's well and truly beat out of it in Chester, wasn't he? I didn't look at him in Chester and think, Jenny, I'd like to be on you next day.
Third to Star of India, wasn't
Yeah.
And he's got that Aidan form as well, isn't he? He wasn't very good in that race. It would be a shock to us out there then if Charlie Hill's got his first Derby with this chap. Grand Alliance, we've mentioned. Hang on, I'm going in betting.
Star of India.
Star of India. Again, honest horse, said Aidan O'Brien to me. Nice horse going through. I think they, the market's bearing out.
I quite liked his trial visually, but the time was nothing special. And there's a lot in here that have got better figures than him.
Such as? Obviously, don't say the Fav.
Well, there's about 6. Desert Crown, Nation's Pride, Pisperdale, Stone Age, Walker Stars.
Yeah.
Are all got higher figures.
West
than him.
Wind Blows has got a good time figure I've got as well. He's right at the outside of the lot. Well, he's not quite the outside of the lot, but he's the bottom horse. We'll get to him. Walker Stars then didn't like the way he was going down, guys. He's coming for the Adyar route, isn't it? James Doyle, beaten at Lingfield,
Hold
basically.
on, we've missed Stone Age.
Yeah.
Have we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How terribly
How can you
rude
miss
of me.
Stone Age?
I thought we sort of talked to him about it at the top.
I thought
I'm a
that's
big
why you
fan of
missed
this
it,
horse.
yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Relentless.
I'm a big fan of this chap, and he's a good, beautiful looking horse as we see Desert Crown going with a little bit of sweat on his neck. Not too worried about that at this point.
It's not even sweat, is it?
Uncomplicated horse,
Rain.
lacks a bit of brilliance, and I mean maiden at 2 as well. I mean, Ruler of the World won having not raced at 2, and in the cheap pieces broke all those sort of stats. But this chap, again, he's a bit of a snowfall, this, isn't he?
No,
Yeah.
well, you're looking at him like his first 2 races were maiden races, right? He's 3rd and 2nd. Then he goes to a Group 2 in Leopardstown where he's beaten ahead.
Yeah.
He's still a maiden. Then he goes to a Group 1 where he's beaten 5 lengths by Angel Blue.
Yeah.
And then he goes to a Group 1 again where he's beaten a length by El Bogdan.
So what you're saying is
it's not
the
not
best
like he was
maiden
getting
in
done.
training, yeah.
It's not like he was getting beaten bad maidens up
Yeah.
the Kerr or something.
They aimed for the stars with him, despite the fact he didn't have the one next to his
And
name.
don't forget, last year they had to rush out a lot of their 2-year-olds because of the COVID and
COVID,
everything,
it
and
was
they
a
didn't know
nightmare.
whether they're going to get runs into them again. And
of course.
that has to be taken into account with the 2-year-olds last year from the yard.
Big move on Betfair. Desert Crown, 4.3.
Stone
Whoa.
Age into 4.6. So he looks like he could go off nearly favourite now.
Wow. Okay, let's come back to you, Barry, on this. Then we said would he potentially go 3s? And again, the starting price is not so much; it's more the weakness.
He's out to 130 on the exchange, yeah. He's 4.3. 4.7 Stone Age. Nation's Pride's taken a walk out to 10.5. 11 changing of the guards has been steady at that throughout. 10.5 Pigbadil, another one that's steady. Walk of Stars come in for support into 14. That's an interesting one.
Right, let's go to him then. Okay, Walker Stars didn't like him on the way down, but I think he was favourite to win the Lingfield Derby trial, like Addy
I
was.
liked him on the way down. I think he's just, like I said, he's massive, Dave. Probably want 2 people holding on to him because he's just this big brute. And I thought actually at Lingfield he was just carrying a bit too much condition, which is
He'll
fine.
like the dig in the ground as well, won't he? Yeah.
Bit of condition, trim him up, bring him on from that.
Yeah.
He's shaped like the best horse.
I don't think he's the winner, but I mean, I think he should be in your top 6.
I'm a big fan of Westover, number 16. I like him. Again,
Yeah, it was a bit green last time. I thought this is one that could absolutely improve, couldn't it? Because he was keen, he was prominent, he looked a little bit green, and yeah, he's got a good bit of size about him as well.
I think he'll stay, won't he? He's Frankel. You look down at a Learfan mare, but he's half-bred to Monarch's Glen, who was a Mile 3 winner, but also fabulous for Beckett as well.
I
It's
wasn't
fine.
mad about that trial.
No.
Cash.
No,
It was-
Keel was saying that. Not mad
It
about
was
it
the
either.
Alan Carr Adyar race in 2021,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it has come back into fashion a little bit.
Yeah, Gold Spur went off a short price favourite.
And it's whether he's a bit of a Sandown horse as well, isn't it? Because obviously he won his maiden there as well. But he does, to me, look like quite a nice horse, and I think he'll run well and probably just come up a bit short. What about West Wind Blows then for the aforementioned Simon and Ed Crisford? He looked pretty good to me when he won last time. He's unbeaten.
Very
it was a
minor
really,
events,
really good
though,
time.
weren't they?
Could be anything, but not.
He
not
absolutely
anywhere near
hosed
them.
up. I mean, it's Nottingham, isn't it, in a novice stakes, so it's a massive jump up. And again, perhaps a bit more
Carried
social.
his penalty to win a
It was
novice.
a good time,
He's another
though.
Teofilio, just like
Yeah.
Nation's Pride.
He is. We've done the card then. Barry suggesting that there's a lot of weakness about Desert Crown, and they're coming for Stone Age then, obviously, and Nation's Pride. Is it everything just against the Fav now?
Yeah, well, they're a lot shortening around it for sure because the favourite's so weak. But
Stone Age is very strong against him, isn't he?
Whew, I'm getting excited
Yeah,
now.
I know.
Should we do the 1, 2, 3s for the panel then? I'll start then, if you don't mind. I think Desert Crown will probably beat Pigbadil and Walk of Stars. They'll be my 2. I'm worried about Stone Age being vulnerable in the final furlong, as we see colours going off for the Platinum Jubilee just beforehand. They've waited for the horses to get out the way down
lovely.
the start, and it's a real fanfare at Epsom at the moment. So I'm basically going for 2
Wow.
to beat
Look at that.
10 and to beat 15 as well. Didn't like the way he went down, but I think he'll come home very strongly indeed. Nat Green, you're 1, 2, 3 in the 2022 in Derby, please.
I've got 4 though. Desert Crown, Nation's Pride, Change of the Guard, Walk of Stars. Because I've got a Walk of Stars in there. I know money's coming in a bit.
Try and
now,
do it a bit, because people like to know about your exotics, obviously, as well.
Yeah, so I've genuinely have done an exotic.
Hold on to your hats.
And then you can do any, or you could do, if I was going to do straight, I'd go Desert Crown, Changing of the Guard, Nation's Pride. But my top 4 are Desert Crown, Nation's Pride, Changing of the Guard, Walk of Stars.
Okay, so you're sort of okay. But
Two Charlie Appleby horses. I mean, it's Charlie Appleby.
But Desert
isn't
Crown
it?
on top.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah,
all
come
got
on.
Desert Crown
Yeah.
on top so far. It's not going to change as we go down the panel, but tell me who's going to come second and third to your best horse on the planet.
Yeah, come on.
I'm on Desert Crown, obviously. Stone Age, I think, will be second, and I think that Piz Badil will be third.
Yeah, I
That's
like
my
him.
1, 2, 3.
Barry.
I'm Desert Crown, Changing of the Guard, and Nation's Pride.
So we're very similar.
There's a lot
the
of
big
money
firms.
for
There you
Walker
go. There
Stars.
are the panels. We've all got Desert Crown on top. The market doesn't like it. So Nat, you're on Crown Jewel Watch, as we were calling it.
Yes.
A lot of money for Walker Stars coming in.
A lot of money for
Didn't
Walker
like him
Stars.
going down, but people latching onto that beating in the Lingfield
But
Derby
he's
rule, including me.
powerful and
Where is the Fav? Come on, pick him up. Massacada, we can see there. A bit of a wind blowing, isn't there, down there?
God, I wonder
That'll help
how
them.
Richard Kingscote feels right now. Just like, imagine it. Just yeah.
Oh, he's stony. He's, like I said before earlier on the show, he's steely.
Yeah, but
chap.
you must feel incredibly excited.
How do they load them here? Like, who decides what goes in first? Is it just the stall handlers? Do they come and grab you?
Desert Crown.
Like, would you be saying to the stall handlers, no,
Well, obviously you
leave me off for...
Well, obviously you can
think
buy
Leicester would have
tickets,
been
can't you?
some-
No, to go in last, you
You,
can, can't
you get so many tickets a season, don't you? I think.
That's to go in last.
That's
though,
to go
isn't
in
it?
last,
No, but
yeah.
I mean, like, what determines who goes in first? Like, because you don't want to be first in, do you? And stand in the box and maybe something
there
plays
is
up
obviously
at
an
the back.
order.
and-
Is
there
it
an
odd
order?
numbers first or
I
something
reckon
like
they
that?
go anything above 20 to 1 goes in first.
Let's get the pacemakers in
I reckon
first.
they do it in price order.
Brilliant. Loads of people out there watching wherever you are on the globe. Welcome to Racing Post Live with
Can the
Sunday
Deadwood
Morton.
come forward first, please?
If you couldn't hear, and Nat Green's in the studio. Graeme
the
Rodway,
Dead-
the big bear, next to the studio. Debutant, the big hitter himself, has been over with us all afternoon. It's been an absolute pleasure to have Barry Orr with us along the way. Loads of people watching, loads of great talent in the gallery as well. The boys are loving it out there.
deal first then.
What wins the Derby guys in the gallery? Let's see if I can get through.
I think Dan's on
who's
Nation's
the gallery
Pride.
Gamble?
I think Dan's on Nation's Pride.
Nation's Pride, we're hearing. Lots of love for that one out there. All right, okay, in the gallery. Let me tell you, I can see
And
the
Will's
gallery out
not
there.
a
They
betting
jumped around
man.
like banshees. Who?
Will's not a big betting man.
Stone Age as well, I'm hearing in the gallery as well. So we're keeping it simple out
Surely
there,
everyone
basically.
has a fancy for the Derby, don't they, Nat? This is one of the races of the year, isn't it?
Of course, is Will. Can you speak to Will? Has he got a bet on? Will?
Stone Age, he's saying.
Oh,
Stone Age.
nice,
You know,
Will.
Brian and Moore we trust, so it'll be
Excellent.
an Epsom double,
Good
big
luck,
double
boys.
for Will apparently. There's a really good quote out there saying Tom O'J saying Massacada blows up the toe. He's a trumpetist, isn't he? Massacada, he's a jazz trumpet.
Yeah,
Jazz
yeah.
trumpeter.
Yes, I do think we had that conversation previously.
We
didn't
did.
We
I
shouldn't
made up
Google
a
too many
word.
names, though. We've done that before.
Yeah, I
Yeah, we're
remember-
not sure.
remember that one.
Some of the producers not sure what we make of the fireworks, by the way, going off.
Split
What
screen
do we
for
make
the-
of that?
You can't do
Oh,
that.
come on. Listole's surely got to take a back marker.
can't
hasn't it?
do
What's
that.
going on RTV?
How can we
which we're watching
see
out there.
properly them loading?
Come on, man. If we not learn anything out there.
Oh, now we all have to
Christ,
skip closer and closer to
Just
the
took
screen. It's like
another
a
step
comedy
closer to Sky
sketch.
again, didn't it? I think HRI out there won't be happy with that. I don't
Going in
think.
quickly.
Yeah, but it'd be nice if we could see properly, though, wouldn't it,
it
Giro?
would
Now
be.
I'm
We're
to
gonna
like
stick, obviously,
zoom
with,
in. Who's got the
RTV in
rug
here
on
'cause it's
there?
quicker.
I don't think anyone would miss a recording of Listowel.
Come on, man. This is crazy.
Something crazy happened before at Listowel a couple of races
Hugh
ago.
Masson
Horse
says
got
Constitution
loose,
Hill
ran
to
out
win
the
off
stalls
the
and
track.
jumped
Nice one.
over
I've
some
seen
railings.
loads of Cheltenham chat for
Mental.
some reason.
Mental.
Right, bring it back, please. All right,
what-
come on.
what?
Order to restored. I know this is a derby. I know you're getting excited.
We're very excited. We're
Right.
nervous.
I need to. I'm getting a bit nervous about the call here for people out there because I'm aware that there are people watching without pictures out there. So
Don't be
we will
nervous,
try
Dave. You've
and
got
do our
this,
best.
kid. You've got this.
Yeah, you got
greatest
this,
showman's back.
Dave.
Come on.
You got this.
Yeah,
Season
indeed.
follow.
I'm feeling like Richard Kingscote at the moment. A little bit of sweat under the saddle, I think.
The money's
at the
come
moment.
back
The
for
gelding
Desert Crown
operation
late.
is
Is it?
needed.
It's 3.7 now, is he, Barry?
Oh, 3.7.
So
Bit
he's
more
come back in
confidence
then. The
behind
3
him.
to 1 was
Right.
flirted with.
Desert
He's a bit-
Crown
he's a
is
bit
not...
sweaty.
Jesus says kazoo, kazoo, kazoo.
We'll be doing that later.
Kazoo, kazoo, kazoo. All right, good luck wherever you're playing. This is it, the big
Here we
moment
go.
we've been waiting for. That was some
Desert
build-up,
Crown
wasn't it?
is
We'll be
having
last
the
in.
blindfold on, just to load.
Who's got the tickets? Usually an Appleby horse.
Oh, it's Desert Crown.
Desert
It's
Crown.
last in.
Sir
Got the
Michael has gone for the
blindfold on.
Oh, is there
tickets.
one back there? Here we go. Desert Crown's
He's
on
a
its
bit
way
warm.
in.
Last
It looks that way.
He is a bit
Sweat under the
warm.
saddle.
he's
It's
not. Will
it's
you
a windy
stop?
day
Leave
as
him
well.
off, will you?
Are they all in then? This is
They're
it.
all
Good
in.
luck. The
They're all in.
2022
Good
Derby.
luck.
This is why we're alive.
Hey!
Hooray in the studio. Walker Stars was the last out. He didn't go down great, did Diddy.
gone nice and forward,
Who
isn't he?
Yamal
Yeah,
also
quite
missed
front.
his
Oh,
signing.
Desert Crown,
Grand
look at
Alliance
him
is going
there.
to come from the back as well, I think.
Changing of the guard,
the
gonna get to
outside
the
of the
front.
lot as well, also at the back. What's leading? We're
Changing of the
expecting
guard.
Stone Age, aren't we?
Changing of the guard.
The Dow stayer in there, as long as with the west wind blows. The novice winner is up there as well. I'm changing of the garden on the inside. Where's Stone Age?
He's
in?
leading.
He's in
Just
fourth.
on the
Desert
inside
Crown,
there.
beautifully settled. Look, G-Rod.
Yeah, he's in a good position,
Looks
Richard Kingscote.
great.
Just on the outside where we thought he might be in
it might get a
mid-division.
bit
Yes,
bumpy
he
here.
is.
Yeah.
Walker
Guard off in
Star's
front.
going all right.
Oh,
It's
look.
of course
Star of
behind
India.
his side that missed the
Oh.
break. Look,
Lawnmower action.
hang on a minute. West,
Walker Stars got murdered there.
did he? I think, okay, Westover on the inside from stall 2 didn't get great as
Getting
well.
a bit
It's
rough.
Nahani that missed the break. I
It's
said I
getting
wasn't
rough, but the
nervous about it.
favourite's nicely placed on
on
the
the
outside.
Yeah.
And if we didn't have a split screen, we could tell you they were going 30 miles an hour on the screen because that is an average pace. Royal Patronage, the beautiful Royal Patronage. Jason Hart will be happy about his chances at the moment.
You know, he's got to the front and he steadied it
That's
right
what
up.
Yeah,
happens,
yeah.
isn't it? And Stone Age is pole position. But look at this, like Chris Kinn and Kieran Fannin in the same colours of
What's that,
Desert
West Wind
Crown.
Blows?
He's making sure that he's not
second,
far
yeah.
off this pace. You don't want to be too far behind here, guys.
Starting the
Westover.
turn.
Nat, what's catching your eye? Pispadil coming.
I feel sorry there for Walker Stars next to Nation's Pride. Stone Age is looking well, isn't he? There on that rail, looking really good.
Tattenham Corner, they're coming round at the moment. Here
Coming
we
down
go
now.
then, 3 or 4 furlongs out. He's going to start winding it up soon. And all of a sudden you can tell because the outside
Royal
of West
Patronage
Wind
looking
Blows
good.
You
is
wouldn't
really
want-
starting to feel the pinch.
You wouldn't want let the one in front get it
Because
too
he's a
soft
proper
lead
star.
now.
This
Yeah,
is what
he
they
lit-
did. Star of India there
Trying
as
to
well.
steal it.
Royal Patronage
Royal
chance.
Patronage
The
is running
favourite at the
well.
moment has got about 6 lengths to make up. He's cruising Desert Crown.
Go
at
on,
the
Desert
moment.
Crown.
Now this
Stone
is where
Age
he's going to switch him to the
Stone
outside.
Age goes
Changing
well.
to the guard in trouble. Stone Age looks the big player at the moment. Westover coming
on,
on the
Desert
inside.
Crown.
The stragglers are going. Pispadil's gone out like a light, I'm afraid.
Star of
The
India,
Dolphins
big
are-
Come on, Desert!
Look at
There we
Desert
go.
Crown.
Richard!
Crown!
My son!
Come on, Richard!
He's
my
touched
son!
his go. He's
Go,
got it.
Richard!
Go,
Go,
Richard!
Richard!
This is game over. Absolutely amazing.
Richard,
Who you
man.
know second, Westover third, changing in the guards is fourth. Unbelievable scenes
Yes.
here on RP
Get in
Live.
there.
He's down at the
Easy.
finish. Absolutely brilliant. This is what you get in the studio, Barry. This is great, isn't it? The favourite wins the derby.
Oh,
Richard
Richard.
Kingscote, cool as a cucumber through the race. Half a furlong out, Barry. He's still on the bridle.
Yeah, they traded it. They were 2 each of 2 at one stage, him and Stone Age. Stone Age hit a low at 2.82, but he took it up plenty early. He was sitting there, I thought, as he got the balls here, as he got the stones, as he got the
was
stones to
amazing.
just sit, but
Yeah.
he took it up. I thought that winning post wasn't coming at some stage. He's given a fantastic
I'll tell
ride.
you
He's
what,
done
Westover-
nothing wrong on it. He's got him into a good posse all
Yeah.
the way around. He's stayed out of trouble, and the best horses won the race.
Definitely. Westover's the moral second, I think. He got Mullen on the
Who
inside.
on earth was on who?
It's a race you're gonna have to watch
Damon
back.
Moffat says, go on, Desert Crown, you beauty. Oh, the pressure is off. The beers are on you, ladies, for sure. Your professional reputation remains somehow intact.
Yeah, my reputation is intact, and he's done the business like we hoped he would, Dave. It
I
was a
think
fantastic.
Westover he has. If you watch Westover through again, they'll be cursing themselves
Why
a bit.
are
but
we
they
looking
wouldn't
at
have beaten the
Westover
winner.
when we've just seen a champion?
It is amazing.
Well, look at him here.
Amazing.
He's absolutely. Rob Hornby is against
The
a wall of
favourite's,
horses
the
here.
favourite's probably gone a furlong too early. If he
Correct.
holds on to the favourite, he wins 8 or
That
10
was going
lengths.
to be my next line. And if you're Richard Kingscote, you just can't.
You just gotta go.
You can't do that.
You got to go. You got to play your hand, don't you?
You can't be doing a Mikael Barcelona and trying to get him up on the line, can you? I mean, that's ridiculous.
And he's
But
hung all the way across as well.
a star is born. I mean, Royal
Absolutely.
Patronage has unfortunately finished at the back of the screen, and I think it was
I hope
Walk of
Walker
Stars.
Stars is okay.
He
That-
got a bad
Yes,
knock.
Sir
in the
Michael.
Escount.
Yay,
Coming
Sir
down, great to see.
Michael.
Absolutely fantastic. Of course, one of the Queen's
The Queen is going to be
trainers.
so happy.
He's added so much to this derby by being so effusive in his praise of the horse.
And coming out and
You
talking
know, now
to
Richard
us.
Kingscote obviously
Yeah.
didn't talk, which is not missed because Sir Michael Stout was so praised the horse, said that he was going to come on a ton for the run in York. Just let people know how highly he rated the horse.
You almost wonder whether he was taking some pressure off Kingscote by coming out as well, wouldn't you? That's something I was going to say.
That's an
earlier.
angle that I hadn't thought about. Yeah,
it is quite
potentially,
interesting.
yeah.
When they
It's-
got in his conservatory, we were all a bit surprised.
It's very unlike Sir Michael Stout.
Very.
Yes,
very
it is.
unlike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is it not incredibly fitting for the Queen? It's her platinum jubilee, her connection with Sir Michael. I mean, I reckon even the Queen has just got off her lovely little
crown
gone.
reigns.
Yes,
That is the result that racing wanted.
Now.
And we got it.
It's been a very difficult year for Sir Michael Stout, of course, because he lost his partner, of course, the late Coral Richard Gordon. I've been lucky enough to bump into their company before, and let me tell you, Sir Michael knows how to celebrate properly. The shirt buttons will be undone tonight. Let me tell you, he'll be talking his Bayesian accent. Mikey Holding would have been all over that. This is a great story.
Aww.
But Stouty, if he wasn't anywhere, I mean, he's definitely back in the big time now. I want to come to you now. This is the horse you thought you would see, so fair play.
Yeah, I thought we were going to see a star, and we have definitely seen a star. What a horse he is. He's gone through the race like a champion. He's put it to bed with that smart turn of foot that we saw at York.
Yeah.
And bring on all the big ones to come. The Arc, the International.
What price do you think he is for the Arc?
Definitely favourite. 3 to 1. 3 to 1, you reckon?
Well, Emily Upjohn's got the sex allowance, isn't it? Lovely to see those two later on. Oh, the sounds are alive.
It
for the
just sets
rivalry,
up the flat season
Absolutely.
now,
Look at the race. 2 to 1 favourite for the Arc.
2 to 1 favourite for the Arc we have. We're expecting it to be the King George next.
Well, me and you think the King George. He thinks he's
you think
back
it'll be
for the Eclipse.
You're going the international.
Well, I think they might run Bay Bridge in the Eclipse.
It's got to be
I think they'll
Bay
drop
Bridge.
back in Trip, but I think they'll run him at York.
The word was that they had worked together and they knew what they had. He kept it simple. What we saw in the Dante when he went 4 wide of everything else now, he knew what he had to do, Richard, didn't he? Just get him there.
Just get him there. But this is what we're on about, natural athlete. I mean, it was just a joy to watch. Like, I couldn't have gone any better. You know, when you leave a racing day and you feel just elated. Like, it's just one of those, the story, the narrative, the Queen, our monarch, to be proud to be British, the Derby at Epsom, crowds back. I mean, there's nothing to not like. And whoever had an each way on Hu Yamal, well done, Christ.
Yeah, and Massacre as well. So Baldings have got the 2nd and the 4th in the Derby. So,
and I was on Appleby and we... Balding was your man.
The no O'Brien, no Appleby anywhere. Stouty
It's kind of amazing,
that,
isn't it? Really, like
the King is here. Then, okay, unbelievable scenes, really. I mean, to see him take a pull like that.
Yeah.
Ooh, you got excited then, didn't
Yeah,
you?
it was exciting, wasn't it?
Yeah, okay.
Just
So
imagine, just how they all feel now.
Well
Richard
done to
and
Richard Kingscote. Like
pressure and everything.
Yeah, he handled
classic
it.
win and the first domestic Group 1 winner as well. 3 now at the top pile, and look, he'll keep the ride.
And if you're going to have your first domestic
Well, I mean,
win,
imagine
you win
he'll
the
keep the ride.
Derby.
That was how far. That was how we dreamt it last night.
Yeah, let's hope he does keep the ride, because of course Ryan does get usually pick
He'll
a start.
keep the ride. now.
He'll keep the ride, won't he?
Keep the ride.
Well,
Gotta keep the ride,
he's like that, isn't he? Sir Michael Stout. He won't take Richard off.
Well,
no way.
More to the point, there'll probably be a Ballydor horse in there wherever he's running as well, won't they? So Ryan will have to sit on them.
No, he's a
screen was
gentleman. That's the
bit
point.
bad. With lots of moaning about the split screen. Their back's face is an absolute picture.
I know it's a difficult thing, but I don't think anybody in racing, even the course executive in Listowel, would begrudge a full screen
Just show us
for the
afterwards.
Derby and show us the.
And we just seen a superstar. And we had to squint.
And again, watch back that Westover run. A lot of people out there going, "Oh my goodness gracious me, that would have been interesting if he'd have got a run." Well, that's what happens.
Look at that horse. Look at that horse.
We knew sort of going down, didn't we? And we said it obviously on the screen. He just looked
The way he carries himself, he's just
chilled.
Unreal.
the boss.
Yeah.
And Stouty
Unreal.
has got it. Son of Nathaniel then. Out of a green desert mare we associate with so much speed in the pedigree. Going back to mile 2, no problem, wouldn't he?
Yeah, better than Baid.
Do you think he'll go? You don't think he'll go? He wouldn't go ledger route, would he? Probably no.
No.
All
He's
right,
too good for a ledger.
This is too well. All right, okay, yeah.
Too good for the ledger.
Too good for ledger. Well, listen, fair play.
Thank you.
The credit where it's due.
We can go home. We can go and have a beer, and we can be happy for the.
You
year.
were actually on
we
the front
can.
page as well, weren't you? Do you remember you were at the Brigadier Gerard, and I said you owe me a beer because all these shows that we did have got you on the front page, and it was all about the best horse. Now, if he carries on through the season, he's going to potentially have that 125 rating. So what you said about Boyd, well, laughed at, and people thought you were mental at the time. It's going to be hard not to give him a very lofty rating, isn't it?
He's going to be up in the 130s by the end of this year.
Wow,
Guaranteed.
there you go.
Do you know what is
And
nice,
you
Dave?
think he's
as well?
mad, but he says it.
In screens now, they're all obviously in the winning closure. Stephen, that guy there, one of the stable hands, he goes travelling everywhere with the horses. He's been part of the team for ages. So you see Stephen on the most miserable Doncaster day you can ever imagine. And don't you think it's great for all the staff as well involved in the yard on this day, thinking, I've looked after this horse at home, and to come out and
no one's begrudging Stouty, are they? Everyone, we do know he's a legend of the game. Anyway, so look, there we go. That is it, basically. Derby weekend done. Still a couple of races to go. Good luck if you're playing them. Brilliant to have you with us. And Betfair on the way. Barry, it's been a good fun, hasn't it?
It's been fantastic. fantastic. I only realise now what I've been missing all these
So
years.
good. It's so good.
And you're going to be back through the final 3 days of Royal Ascot for us.
Thursday through to Saturday,
Yeah,
Ascot,
all right. It's been a very good edition. Nat, superb. Good honours as usual.
It just doesn't stop, does it? Derby, magic. We've got Royal Ascot to look forward to. Oh.
Yeah, we'll be back next Saturday, of course, previewing lots of Royal Ascot. We've got a great
The
panel
arc
that day
looks
as well.
to be amazing already.
It does. G-Rod,
Yeah, what a day, Dave. What a day.
the bear will go and toast in the thirsty bit.
Absolutely.
All
Yeah,
right,
it's going
great
to be a
stuff.
great night.
Brilliant work from our social team out there as well. The news desk is good. Don't forget your members club. 6 o'clock this evening. You'll be able to read it all, get the quotes from the likes of Westover, but also what Sir Richard Kingscote, Sir Michael Stout, of course, and Richard Kingscote. Who knows? It might be in the offing if Queenie backed it, of course. Now we'll hear a word from him. What a sterling weekend we've had. Join us back next weekend when we start previewing Royal Ascot.